Happy Tuesday here on Cody and Gold. Cody Tapp with you. Jay Binkley filling in for Alex. Drew Nixon on the other side of the glass. Got a busy 4 hours planned for you today. Plenty of Chiefs, Royals. Binkley informed me that there's early mock drafts from draft experts.
Yep. Matt Miller's firing one out.
So get that mock draft sounder ready, Drew. We got 2024 to look at.
I wasn't expecting to do this in July.
Well, Drew, it becomes earlier and earlier. It becomes a bigger deal.
I know it does.
More and more people are mocking in this country.
It's the day after.
It's really a nice trend. We got on that wave.
You like an early mock.
So after the Saturday of the 7th round, you're already fired up for the mock draft that comes out the next day.
Yeah, Chris and I will be putting the first one out here soon, I'm sure. We like to do one this summer, you know. But then you have to guess where everybody's going to finish. That's the tough part about it.
Just put the Bengals at 32 and you'll be all right.
That's it? That's what you're going to do? Put the Bengals at 32? Drew, like, part of it's
time.
The Chiefs were like this a little bit too, but man, I can't predict a team to win the Super Bowl until they actually have one in their franchise's history.
I think that's fair.
Singular.
That's fair.
It's why I always kind of make fun of Buffalo. Like, they've never felt what 32 feels like. You just never had that 32 feeling.
Chiefs got to pick 31. They got to move up a spot 1 year. Thanks, Miami.
Yeah.
They got to pick 31 even though they...
It's like Emmanuel Ogbah with Tom Brady with the Deflategate, the deflated balls and all that. They lost their first-round pick. So Emmanuel Ogbah was actually picked 32nd, which gave him the 4-year contract as essentially a first-round pick.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a first round.
The first football season, I was with my wife, or then girlfriend at the time, now wife. She was like, why did the Chiefs get to pick so early? I was like, well, it's the way that it goes. You know, there's rounds. And she goes, but they won the Super Bowl. I was like, I know. She goes, that's not fair. They get to pick 30 first.
Honestly, though, the American sports system is the only one that completely benefits the losers. Hey, be terrible. If you're just miserably bad at your job and running a franchise and being an owner, then you get the benefit of maybe just getting a quarterback to save your life. The Chiefs didn't even get that. They were a pretty good team the year they drafted Patrick Mahomes. They just traded up and got the decision right. So I don't feel bad for those. I don't like those teams, Bink, that get to just be miserable and stinky and then draft number 1 overall and solve their entire franchise.
It's why the Lions finally all those picks materialized.
Yeah, but they had the number 1 overall pick in Jared Goff. It just didn't get them where they wanted to go.
It's supposed to work how the Chiefs did it.
Or not
they were
Goff.
number 1 on the clock. And then all of a sudden, what's that?
Stafford.
Well, but when the Chiefs are number 1 on the clock, with Fisher, then the next year, they're a good team. I mean,
that's the Andy Reid effect for sure. They were the number 1 overall pick. They didn't get a quarterback because the best quarterback in that year's draft was Geno, I guess.
It was sandwiched between
a lot of people wanted to take Geno.
Andrew Luck was right before that, so
that will forever go down as the single worst draft in NFL history.
Oh,
I can't believe the Chiefs got a viable player in that draft.
Was that the draft with like Jake Locker as well, or was that
Lane Johnson turned out to be good though?
Dude, it was. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that if you drafted in the first round that year, the odds of you getting an actual decent NFL player were pretty much none. Like, I mean, just none. You had no chance. Bink. Absolutely no chance. Here are the players that were taken top 5 overall. Fisher, Jokel, Deion Jordan, Lane Johnson. At least a couple of players worked out there.
Lane Johnson's worked out.
Ezekiel Ansah. Then Barcavius Mingo, Jonathan Cooper, Tavon Austin, D. Miller. Some of these guys weren't even in the league after like 4 years. It's just a terrible draft.
Luke Jokel was extremely disappointing. He played in both the Big 12 and the SEC, so he had, both.
Tavon Austin might have been the 3rd best player on the list that you rattled off.
Dude, it gets worse from there. So we don't have to go down a 2012 or 2013. I think it was 2013. 2013 NFL draft rabbit hole. It is pretty bleak.
Listen to the 89 draft. Troy Aikman 1. Tony Mandrich 2. All right, that's the watermelon with the Volkswagen. Which one doesn't fit?
Pretty bad.
Then it was Barry Sanders, Derek Thomas, Deion Sanders. I mean, you think about that top 4 of those 5 are in the Hall of Fame.
That's a pretty good draft. Couldn't mess it up, at least on that end. Let's talk some Royals, though, as they start a series against the Tampa Bay Rays tonight, we think. Guess it kind of depends on what the weather does. A little bit later on at the K. But
it's going to rain, Code Man.
I was thinking more about both their trade deadline upcoming and their off-season moves. And I think one of the things I've heard kicked around from Vern and other people is, well, because Alec Marsh is pitching so well and Bubic will be fully back by the beginning of next year from the injury. One of the things they're kicking around is tonight's starter, Brady Singer, being a possible off-season move candidate. Matter of fact, before the Royals were playing well, he was mentioned as a possible move in the middle of the year candidate. I'm going to tell you why I've moved off of that. I think for a while I maybe landed in that camp thinking, well, you got Lugo for a couple of years. You can kind of make this work, and maybe there's some way to finagle this in a way that fits. Sorry, whose phone's playing music? Is it me?
Yeah, it must be.
I don't know. Anyway, so, and I think the audience can't hear, just me. But so when you look at where they are, I don't want them to move off of Singer anymore. I've realized that it's taken far too long to get to the point where the Royals have a top 10 rotation in baseball, and, oh, weird, they win now. Like, I do not think that that's a happy accident. So, like, for tonight's starter,
47 wins before July.
Is the most ever.
Most ever.
Yeah.
44 was
now,
record.
More games 50. Probably, but still, 47 wins is a lot of wins
before July, before they play tonight.
Dude, if they won out, they would only be 1 win short before the All-Star break. They'd only be 1 win short of last year's total number of wins.
Insane, man.
Before the All-Star break. And so, no, I do not think at this point I would be in that camp. I would try to find ways to pay players, and there'd be a few players that I would just ride out the contract on if I have a few years remaining. I understand the challenges. If you want to play Vinny, if you want to pay Cole Reagans, you can't possibly just keep handing out the richest contract in team history after the richest contract in team history. And at some point, you trade from depth in order to do it. And right now, for whatever reason, because of the Lugo signing, the Waka signing, and some moves that worked, you have a little depth. But it's not long-term. You don't have Reagans locked up. You don't have Lugo locked up beyond a couple of years. And he might have to opt out of his contract after 2 because he's pitching too well. You thought you maybe had him for 3 years. Now it might only be 2 because of how well he's pitching.
People wonder if he's a bullpen arm or a starter.
I've just moved off it a little bit, Bink. I don't want to be in a rush to get rid of starting pitching when all of a sudden it's been this team's lead. And as I look forward to Singer tonight, I think overall, and not from like the people who talk about the team, I don't think Vern's underplayed it. But I think when we talk about this team's success, we have way, way, way underplayed Brady Singer's importance to that. The fact that every 3 days or every 5 days, he shows up as the third starter and has been as consistently good as he's been this year. I think it's been way undersold, Bink. I just do.
No, it has. I like his attitude. And, you know, when this bullpen was so good in 14 and 15 and 16, HDH, it was the elite unit. Because at that point, the Chiefs didn't have an elite quarterback. The one thing that was elite in Kansas City was that bullpen. The starting pitching's becoming elite. It's homegrown, too. Brady Singer's homegrown. Drafted, developed by the Royals. It's imperative to keep him with the Kansas City Royals. I'm all about starting pitching. Starting pitching has changed this team around. It's who and what they are now. I go with Brady Singer. And the weird thing is it might rain tonight, and you know how mad he gets.
Well, he was upset during the rain.
Well,
at
he
least
gets really
once.
mad during rain.
Mm-hmm. Look, maybe
what
we'll
Merrifield
get
used to
lucky.
put the little memes, you know.
Earlier yesterday on MLB Network, they were talking about the Royals and the possible deadline deals and had this interesting thing to say about it.
You've said a couple of times that you really liked what the Royals did this offseason by adding veteran pitching presence.
They valued the middle class of free agency. They went out and
That's a great way to sum it
more
up.
teams need to do that. That's why I hope the Kansas City Royals go on to go all the way to the ALCS or wherever. I feel like you got these teams now that either give guys $40 million and the rest $720,000. Like, where's the middle guy in this?
And I just asked you in the break what they're going to do at the deadline. You said they owe it to the boys right now.
You owe it to the guys who bought into J.J. Picola's vision and Kansas City Royals' vision to sign there, to Seth Lugos, the Michael Wakas of the world. They were there to help, and they are helping. So you would want to augment that. I thought it was a phenomenal weekend in Kansas City. 3 of 4 against the Guardians. Kind of just send a little bit of a message.
Hey, we're here.
Like the idea of like, should they be active in the trade deadline because they owe it to these people who actually believed in the vision, or do you stick with the guys who believed in the vision and let them see this thing through? The Royals are kind of stuck in a spot where, I'll be honest, I don't think I'd be like devastated, Bink, if they made no moves, but I'd like them to. I'd sure like them to, because I'd like them to commit the rest away to the plan. Your plan worked. Great. You're winning baseball games. Now let's ensure you get back to the postseason in winning ways. The problem is they're going to have to get creative in how they do these trades. And you're going to have to find teams who want young players, not players in AA, not players in AAA, Players who are several years away from getting to the bigs.
You got to know when to push the chips in. You like poker. I like poker.
Yeah.
Playing poker at your house, especially like your cheese. But you have to know when the
Haven't
push
played in a while.
We haven't. With the
Been
cheese,
busy.
The cheese is fantastic. But anyway, Billy Bean. Remember that wild card game? They had pushed all in that season because they were good. And they pushed all in. It didn't work out for them. Dade Moore pushed all in with Cueto and Zobrist. They're like, you know what? The window is so short in professional sports. They got 47 wins before July. Never had that happen in franchise history. They played earlier, yes, but it's 3 more wins.
Yep.
You have to realize who and what you are. When you getting back here, because you never know in baseball. It's so uncertain whether you're going to be good the next year or not. But when you are good, and this team has shown the propensity to be a good baseball team, pushing all in, for half a year is kind of where you want to be because you're not guaranteed anything.
No,
in this
but
world.
get yourself to the postseason for the first time in 9 years. Because we know 14 taught us a lot, which is
This is a postseason caliber team.
last year's World Series was statistically one of the most unlikely World Series matchups in Major League history. If you get to the postseason, an 87-win team made the World Series last year. It's worth trying. You do not know if you get in the postseason if you could go on a run, especially because of their starting pitching.
I mean, look at the Rangers now. They're 38 and 46. With the Diamondbacks, where are they sitting right now? They're sitting at 41 and 43. So both teams are under 500. They were in the World Series last year. Again, you're not guaranteed a damn thing.
How much balance if you do make a move, how much balance do you think they need in regards to not giving up too much where you're mortgaging the potential where if it doesn't work out in this year, they might not be as good as they could potentially be, or they have to figure more things out where for 2027, 2026, is that I get the idea of we have the opportunity now, so we should try to win now, make the most of it because you don't know if you're going to be back. But where's the balance in not going so far that you're mortgaging the potential for your future in order to try to win now? If it, there's obviously
teams,
caveats to both.
They don't have the farm system like Baltimore.
But their farm system's better. And JJ Piccolo came on this show. He'll join the show tomorrow, by the way. I know normally he joins us on Tuesday, but he's going to join us on Wednesday this week. He came on the show, I don't know, it was probably like 2 weeks ago. And he said the point of the minor league system is to make the major league club win. He said sometimes that's via the players who come up and help you win, but also to move those players to get you major league players to win. I do think that there's a part of that they're just going to have to look at. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll talk about something Travis Kelce did that Bink and I both really, really like and think is probably the correct decisions. But over at CBS Sports, they put together their list, Bink, of the NFL, the biggest red flags for 20 NFL contenders. I'll be honest, I don't think there are 20 NFL contenders, but that's fine. The biggest red flags for 20 NFL contenders. Before we talk about what they answered on the Chiefs, you want to go through a couple of teams?
We go through, especially some of the divisional teams.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
See if it matters.
That's a good way to look. I mean, some of the divisional teams aren't competition. For the Bengals, they said Joe Burrow's health. So let's talk about just other teams that we think are in the AFC.
How is that risk, Drew? Because we discussed that a lot ad nauseum before the show.
I think there's...
You're buying it.
I'm buying it. I think Cody's right, though. There's a lot of unknowns because right now, he doesn't have to throw the ball 45 times, turn around a week later, and do the exact same thing again. That's going to be the test. I don't know how good his wrist actually will be until we get to the regular season where he plays week 1, and then we see the turnaround for that Chiefs game. How does the wrist hold up that week? What is it like after the Chiefs game when you get into 2, 3, 4 weeks of consistent labor on that wrist? I mean, does he have an extra off day on purpose to try to help him recover? I don't know what it's going to be like. There's the unknown for that regard. So I mean it's a concern, but I will say this: if that is the concern for the team, I think that's a good thing if he is healthy.
Can they be an elite team? Because last year I had the top line being the Chiefs, the Bills,
depends on how good the
Ravens,
defense is.
the Bengals.
Yeah,
the Bengals window. Unless you buy into the fact the window's always going to be open with Burrow.
The Bengals, I think...
Right now with T. Higgins and stuff, you're going to lose him.
I believe that Joe Burrow is right when he says the window is my whole career. The problem, though, is now that they've paid him, they have to try to do what the Chiefs have done, and that's consistently draft well, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. Last year, they were horrendously bad on defense.
Yeah, they were.
I like their draft except for the first pick.
So for the Chargers and for the Bills, they list wide receiver as being their biggest issue. The Chargers obviously stripped theirs down to the core, so do the Bills, in trading away Stephon Diggs. I think those are fair. For the Chiefs, they list cornerback depth as the single biggest red flag going into it. Last year, we obviously know they had the best cornerback duo in the NFL. Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed made up the best cornerback duo in the NFL. But a little bit of what we talked about yesterday, if that's your biggest red flag for the Chiefs, well, then they're going to win 3 straight Super Bowls, Bink. If that's their biggest problem this year, is that they lack depth at corner 2, because I'll be honest, as good as L'Jarius Sneed was, and he was great last year, Trent McDuffie's their better cover guy. Sneed does a little bit of everything, but their better cover guy is in go up against number 1 wide receiver. That's Trent McDuffie. And I understand that L'Jarius Sneed went up against and bullied Tyreek Hill into the ground and all those things. I'm just talking 1 versus 1 on the outside. The movement, the flexibility of Sneed, that's fine. But honest to God, if that is your biggest problem, like for instance, on the Jags, they say the offensive structure, that seems like a much bigger red flag. Like how the hell your whole offense works? Yeah, that sounds like a problem, Bink.
I think
versus
left tackle's
just
a bigger,
do they have enough corner? I think left tackle
bigger
is too.
concern than cornerback depth.
I'm with you.
And I'm not. Here's the thing with Sneed. I love the way Sneed played. Sneed was perfect for what they did, but the Chiefs looked at the health factor and they looked at going forward. I remember at the combine, people were talking about Sneed's injury concerns and the fact he did not practice at all during training camp. Matter of fact, they Friday practice. Like if you don't practice, you don't play. Like that rule was thrown out the window for a guy like Sneed at different times this year. But the Chiefs saw something because they saw him every day. And you can't pay everybody. But if that was truly somebody they thought was going to be the catalyst for this defense going forward, they probably would have made some kind of move to protect him and keep him here. But I think they're fine with going with Josh Williams, Jalen Watson. The safeties for this team are unreal for the Kansas City Chiefs. And you have Shamari Connor will step in, play some nickel. This team is absolutely loaded in the secondary.
Yeah.
You didn't even mention Jaden Hicks, and Jaden Hicks probably is good enough to play on a lot of rosters.
Jaden Hicks will get some playing time.
Yeah, there's the conversation around corner 2 is the biggest defensive concern, but given we don't know where they stand at with Kingsley and Wanye, and to what Cody brought up in the bullpen earlier, a couple weeks ago on the show, we talked about whether or not the Chiefs should go and sign a left tackle, and we don't want it to get to camp. And I think that we're getting to that point where there's no definitive answer right now what the Chiefs like more than the other, at least in terms of what we've heard. They are still having the competition for both. Maybe that's a good thing, or maybe that's a concerning thing. And if we're 2 weeks in and they're still competing, that's a really, I think the concern is actually becoming a real thing where it actually is happening. It's not just a concern anymore. It's a problem.
Yeah, I don't think that, sure, but I don't know that I would think that way yet necessarily, right? I'm not
Not now.
Dug in deep thinking that's the only chance, this is the only way, et cetera, et cetera. I think there's just way more in it than that, at least on this end. Look, I like seeing what other people say the red flags are for the other teams because, again, I think sometimes it puts things in perspective. Like for, it's like the Vikings, uncertainty at quarterback. Yeah, that's a bad one.
That's a big one.
The Seahawks, the offensive line. That's a bad one.
It's always been a problem.
That's not where you want to be.
Like Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. And I was really high
that's
on
their
that
biggest red
because
flag by a mile.
This guy led the NFL in passing yardage before the whole,
it's not just his availability.
massage deal came down, but how good is he going to be? Because that defense is ready. Cleveland's got a lot of pieces. If he can be good, can they be one of the teams in the AFC to watch? Because it all becomes down to Deshaun Watson.
This is where I disagree with him. On the Browns in particular, because the Browns are the most interesting team for can they cause any problems for the Chiefs? Because, yes, they simply have one of the most talented rosters in the AFC. But the answer for why I think no, in no way do I take them seriously, is because they put the biggest red flag is Deshaun Watson's availability. That's not the biggest red flag. The question is, does he stink? Deshaun Watson might just stink at being a quarterback.
And he was so
his
good
availability
so
might not matter. It's like, well, he only played 12 games last year, or the last 3 seasons.
He was going to be the one challenging Mahomes.
The problem is not the number of games he played last year. The problem is in the games he played, he stunk. He wasn't good at being a quarterback. Availability is not the question with Deshaun Watson. This is not like the way I've described David Bakhtiari. David Bakhtiari, when he's on a football field, he is one of the 5 best left tackles in the NFL. When he is on a football field.
No question.
That's not the case with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is not one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL When he's on the field, he stinks. I just think he's no good.
I thought of Houston, he was really good.
This is not, yeah, I did too, but I don't
Early
think he's
on.
good anymore.
So
I
how
think
many-
it's the same thing that happens to any athlete. I don't think you can take 3 full years off of playing NFL football
and
because
still-
he's played 12 games in the last 3 seasons and still expect to be good. I just don't think that works for anybody.
You said that you don't think there's 20 contenders. What?
No.
What
8, maybe?
in the entire NFL? You think there's 8? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you made
Legitimate chances to win the Super Bowl. Because
If
it
you
goes
gave
down
me-
to it, who's going to be the other
yeah.
quarterback that wins the Super Bowl besides Mahomes? Because somebody's going to do it, but who is it? Because that is a tough thing to say. Is it Josh Allen? Is he
Yeah.
going to be the guy? Is Justin Herbert? Is C.J. Stroud? But who is that next quarterback, not named Mahomes, to win the Super Bowl?
I think if you
Is it Joe Burrow? I mean, we don't know.
I think if you gave me 8 teams, I could this year 100% accuracy choose the Super Bowl winner out of those 8.
Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, Ravens.
Yeah, start there. I would include the Texans probably in that list just because of how cheap CJ Stroud is.
For
And then on the
49ers,
NFC side, 49ers, Packers,
Eagles.
and
I mean, the Cowboys are always there, but they
Cowboys?
always let us down. They let everybody, not me down. I don't like the
I mean,
Cowboys.
that
but they
might
always
be your
let-
8 or that might be 9. I mean, that's 9.
Yeah.
Or-
I mean,
or-
but I'll
Green
eliminate
Bay's going to
someone.
be better. Green Bay's going to be better. Detroit's still going to be good. Tampa, look out for Tampa. That defense going to
Yeah,
be
but I mean,
surprised
they
how
win
people
the
do.
Baker Mayfield's not winning the Super Bowl. I mean, that just doesn't pass the smell test. That's probably it. I mean, I guess we got to 9, but I'll figure out somebody to eliminate. Not Cleveland, not for me. And at least, like
Pittsburgh's going to be better.
yeah, but they're not winning the Super
You're
Bowl. with
Russell Wilson.
Wilson.
Isn't that your guy?
No, he stinks.
I don't think
Oh,
he's
is that
My
you?
guy?
Is that
I
Alex?
don't-
Who's the
I don't
guy
think
was
he's either
Russell?
of their guys.
I don't think he's anybody's guy on this show.
He's working out this offseason. What's he going to do in Pitt?
Nothing.
don't think
They'll
so
be 500 like they are every year. They'll win 9 games.
Oh, they'll be over 500 with Tomlin. Guarantee it's
What are they gonna? How many games are they gonna win?
9.
Okay.
Tomlin.
I mean, that is
finds a way
over
to win.
500, but
That's
not by
one.
much, Bink.
No, but
I thought you were
It's
gonna
like
say like
clockwork.
10 or 11, but okay.
the Jets are sitting out there. Like, if Rodgers can play and play well.
Are
I
they
mean,
Super Bowl contenders though? Even with Aaron Rodgers playing? I mean, are they actually
No,
Super
they're
Bowl
eliminated
contenders?
off my list. No. Also doesn't pass
The
the smell test.
Dolphins? No.
No.
Yeah, I didn't believe in the Dolphins last year either. And they keep getting
Can't
to
beat
the
a good
postseason.
team. Defense got worse.
It's one of those teams that should be getting better,
They're not.
and they just stay the same. They're on a treadmill.
You know how I know a team's not taking themselves serious? Even they don't want to pay their quarterback. And they're like, "No, we do. Just not top of market."
What he
And you're
wants.
Like, okay, well then you don't want to pay your quarterback. Everybody else who pays their quarterback, Bink, as the highest quarterback in the NFL, they're all happy to do it. Happy to do it. The Bills were happy to give him that money. Nothing made them happier to cut that check. Oh, of course, Mr. Allen. And with Miami, they're out here telling themselves like, well, we want to pay you just what we want to pay you. That's the clearest sign that you don't actually believe in a dude. At least not to the level you think. You think there are limitations in his game. And if you think there are limitations in his game, and you think he's got to be surrounded by all this talent in order to win, I'm supposed to think all of a sudden you're going to win the Super Bowl? I don't think so. I think if you gave me 8 teams, I could correctly predict the team with 100% accuracy. Don't you?
On the matchup?
No, just like one of these 8 teams will win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Not one of these. Not
Yeah,
one of
college-
these.
it's
Not
like
one of
college
these
football.
20.
It's college football syndrome. Same thing.
I don't even need 20 for college football. Give me like 4. Alabama, Georgia,
Oregon and Ohio State.
State, boom, nailed it. One of those 4 teams will be this year's college football national champion. I could be, I mean that maybe that's too vague, but I mean that's pretty much the list. Isn't it?
As cool as it is with the expanded playoff, you're about spot on.
So who's the next quarterback to win besides Mahomes? If you were to put money on it right now.
I would say
It's tough, man.
Joe Burrow because he's my guy. But
His roster's better than Allen's.
if you took away the Bengals in this equation and you just had the other teams, I think
Brock Purdy,
Lamar Jackson.
I was gonna say
AFC quarterbacks or any quarterback.
Any quarterback.
I think Brock Purdy might actually
My answer's Purdy.
be the answer.
They still got one of the best rosters in the NFL. They've been to the Super Bowl. They've been to the Super Bowl a whole bunch lately too, and to the NFC title game a whole bunch lately too. They're
And
at least
Purdy wasn't
contenders
bad
there.
down the stretch. I mean, he's
But Shanahan's one of 4 coaches to be either a coordinator or a head coach to be 0-3 in his first 3 Super Bowls.
Then that's probably why I give the answer. When we come back, there's been a stat that people keep questioning about a Royals player that I simply don't understand. I'll tell you what it is next.
Hey, it's Brady Singer. You're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 610 Sports Radio and the Odyssey app.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Torrential rain in Kansas City yesterday wouldn't stop coming down, which means roof problems. You know if you have an issue with your roof, and the company you need to call, Century Roofing. Go to centuryroofingkc.com to see how they can give you, they should be your first call for reliable and trustworthy inspection to make sure you can get that free evaluation of your roof so you can figure out what the next steps are. Again, rain like that will tell you everything you need to know about the health of your roof. But if you're concerned because more rain could come tonight, more rain could come tomorrow, and you want to make sure between that and those hailstorms that came earlier the year that can weaken your roof that you're okay, Century Roofing will make sure they'll take care of you. 34 years in Kansas City, over 30,000 roofs in the greater Kansas City area. They are the experts who can handle your claim. Not somebody who's just going to come fly by your door and be like, hey, I'll take care of it. Can you trust that they've been in the area this long, that they can handle your needs, that they can handle your needs long term to make sure everything they did is right and correct with your project for the long haul? That's what you get in Century Roofing. Don't hesitate. Don't work with other roofing companies. And know the one in Kansas City to be with is Century Roofing. They're working on my roof. I've got some repair coming up myself. So we're all in the same boat as the hail hit us a couple of weeks ago. Schedule your estimate today from KC Basin, female owned. Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength. CenturyRoofingKC.com and tell them that Cody sent you. Hey, it's Cody and Gold, and our friends at Centric are offering one lucky listener an exclusive $5,000 scholarship. If you apply by July 19th, you'll be entered for a chance to win that scholarship to cover a portion of the tuition. Don't like your job and want one that offers more growth and money? Talk to Centric and start a career in tech. Centric's next in-person online and flex cybersecurity programs start at the end of July to help you make a change now. Go to Centric.com, fill out a form, and tell them that Gold and I sent you, and Russ will talk you through everything.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I got hurt in a car wreck, but I don't know what lawyer to hire. Which one should I choose?
Choose Mike. His firm has a great reputation. I looked at their website, and they've got tons of great reviews.
They could deal with your insurance company, your medical providers, and help you get your car fixed.
Mike's got this.
I'm confident my law firm is the right one for you. Call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this. All you need to know, 816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
As you know, summer is right around the corner, and for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Help fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Sounds like you heard about a July 4th sale. It's a great chance to red, white, and do that job you've been putting off. Like an oil change with full synthetic motor oil. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for just $34.99. Save on oil, wash and wax, and more this weekend at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
As school messes return, rest easy. Clorox has got your back to school.
Oh, no. I'm back. That messy science experiment. And I brought baking soda, cornstarch.
And you're due tomorrow, right? Well, at least I stocked up on Clorox disinfecting wipes, because you're not messing up my kitchen counters like last time.
Ooh, smart. Got any food coloring?
And off to the store we go.
Stock up on Clorox disinfecting wipes that clean 3 times better. Then wet paper towels and kitchen grease and soaps come. Use as directed.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Celebrate July 4th with savings at Lowe's. For a limited time, save on the essentials you need to make your garden pop for summer, like Miracle-Gro 25-quart potting mix. Get 2 bags for just $16. And get up to 40% off, plus save an extra $50 on every $500 you spend on select major appliances. Hurry, these deals won't last long, because Lowe's knows summer savings. Valid through 7/10. Miracle-Gro excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details. While supplies last.
It's the dog days of summer. Baseball is in full swing. And unfortunately, so is your work schedule. Stay connected to your local team, even while you're working hard, with your favorite station on Odyssey.com. Get the best in local sports talk, listen live, or jump back to what you missed with Rewind. It's all here, all just a few clicks away. And I'll tell you something, it makes the workday go that much faster. Listen at work. Visit Odyssey.com today to get started.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold, and our friends at Centric are offering one lucky listener an exclusive $5,000 scholarship. If you apply by July 19th, you'll be entered for a chance to win that scholarship to cover a portion of the tuition. Don't like your job and want one that offers more growth and money? Talk to Centric and start a career in tech. Centric's next in-person online and flex cybersecurity programs start at the end of July to help you make a change now. Go to Centric.com, fill out a form, and tell them that Gold and I sent you, and Russ will talk you through everything. Were you a big wedding dancer back in your day? Did you get down on the dance floor?
Not a ton. It wasn't the tie on the head guy. Maybe once.
Maybe once? That's it?
With the tie on the head?
One time?
We saw it one time at Rob's wedding. The tie on the head. Came out one time.
It did? Who?
Somebody, I don't know who it was. It wasn't a 6'10" person.
I mean, we were all having a good time. So
Drew's a dance at a wedding guy.
He didn't dance at the last wedding. I mean, I'll dance at a wedding.
You danced at Rob's wedding, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were.
Drew did. He got down
in the room.
You didn't see it?
Oh no, I didn't see it.
I apologize. Drew was jamming,
I was out there.
I apologize. I didn't see it.
There was a moment where, me and Sam.
Yeah, you and Sam were. Okay. That's when people were looking at me going, "You're riding with him?"
Really?
They think you're loaded. I was like, "No, he's just having fun. He's just."
Oh yeah.
That's not an alcohol-induced dance. He's having fun.
No.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Sam's probably the biggest one around here from KMZ.
He was having a good time.
Yeah.
He was the one people kept asking. We sent out the photo of who was best dressed. He was the one everyone kept asking, who's the guy in the suspenders?
Dusty was getting down with
it. He was, yeah. I danced for a little bit. Just depends, Depends on the day, depends on the wedding, depends on the mood. Just asking whether or not that was your thing, Bink. That's all.
I'm the free beer guy.
Hi, I'm here for the drinks.
I'm the wedding crasher.
At those weddings, I've given up on tipping every time you go up there, and instead I just throw a 20 in the jar for a while. At the beginning, I don't care. You can have this money now. I assume I'm coming back for some drinks.
You make sure they see it that you did it.
If I'm putting in a 20, I might as well do it while they're not turned around making a drink.
So you see that they do it, and they say, "Okay,
thank you so much."
They've got to see.
Well, it's more just about
because then you look
so
cheap.
They know this guy doesn't suck. I come back up and nobody else up at the bar. I don't want them thinking I suck. I don't really care if they're like, "Wow, what a tipper." I just think they, it's nice that they're like, "All right, this guy's pre-tipped for some drinks." If I go too much, and I feel like I got to tip again, I'll tip again.
Did they have a Venmo thing up there? I can't remember because a lot of weddings will do that.
I didn't see.
I didn't see it either.
I brought cash because for a wedding like that, I always just kind of do. I don't want the tax man getting any of that for them. I want them to just be able to take that tip money, put it right into their pocket, and the old U.S. government bank doesn't ever need to know.
Man,
Maybe I'm
Cash is king, man.
maybe
Cash
I'm
is
wrong
still
for that.
king.
I don't see any reason for them to have to like file a 1099 over this.
I
That's why I always,
you've been in their position, Cody, where you've been, you were in the restaurant industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it's like to get a cash and a card tip. You like the cash tips are immediate. You get them right then and there.
Yeah, it's nice. It's right away.
Yeah.
It's always what I thought was a kind of an attendance problem in the beginning, like right after COVID when everything went digitals, because baseball tends to be, well,
I
it
do
doesn't
think
tend to
people
be.
carry
it's
less
an older
cash.
audience.
So.
But yeah, but a lot of people like paying that way.
Yeah.
They like to roll up to the parking gate and pay in cash. They like to go up and buy hot dogs and pay in cash.
Cashless is
the way things work. I know, but it's an older audience that watches baseball. You got to hit that demo.
I'm just saying it's going the other way. That's all. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll talk about USA's match versus Uruguay last night that did not go great from a variety of angles, including the U.S. getting knocked out of Copa America. But there's been a number I've been asked by, Big, I'll be honest with you, it's got to be 5 or 6 Royals fans in the last 2 weeks. And what I don't understand about it is where the complaints are based in when you consider the other things he's doing. I have been asked, and this is not like an example, by 5 or 6 people in the last 2 weeks, hey, should we be worried about Bobby Wood Jr. not hitting homers? Like, should we be worried about his lack of home runs? Because if you look at like Gunnar Henderson right now, has 26 of them, or Aaron Judge, who has 31, there are some players in baseball who can slug some dingers, okay? And Bobby Wood Jr. right now is at 12. He has had 2 or 3, I would say, prolonged home run streaks where it's been a long time since he's hit one. He goes on a stretch and hits 2 or 3 more, and then he goes on a stretch again and doesn't hit a home run for a while. And so people start to worry. I looked up, like I understand this like fear that is like, oh, what happens if Bobby doesn't hit home runs? I'll just tell you right now, I don't care. And this is why you shouldn't care. Bobby Wood Jr. currently is 4th in Major League Baseball in extra base hits. And guess what he had on July 1st last year, Bink? You ready? You ready for how many home runs Bobby Wood Jr. had on July 1st last year? A year in which he hit
10.
The number of home runs that you wanted him to hit, because he hit, close to, what did he hit, 30 last year?
Yep.
So he hit 30 home runs last year. On July 1st last year, he had 12. How many does he have now? 12. I don't care. Like, again, and part of this is ballpark. Someone says, oh, yeah, it's easy when you play in a park with 290 feet fence. Correct.
Switch Gunner with Bobby, Baltimore and Kansas City, and see where he's at.
He'd have more.
Much different.
Look, I don't think he'd have 31 if he was playing. I don't think he's the kind of home run hitter.
Would he have 19, 20? Maybe.
That Aaron Judge is, right? I don't think I don't think he's like that prolific of a home run hitter. But I'm just going to tell you right now, there's going to be a time in Bobby Wood Jr.'s career that he hits 40. And you're going to feel stupid for having asked the question of like, should I be worried about Bobby Wood Jr. hitting a home run? No. 4th, Bink. 4th in Major League Baseball in extra base hits. 1st in Major League Baseball in hits. 3rd in Major League Baseball in stolen bases. He's hitting .312 with a .365 on base percentage. You should have absolutely 0 questions or concerns about any parts of Bobby's game. Would I like it if he hit some more homers? Sure. Just handing them out. Why not? Who am I to say no? Be happy to have him. But am I worried about his home run totals? No. It's the exact same number he had last year.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about it. Switch to ballparks. He's wanting to get on base. The extra base hits, those things all count. Do I think he'll probably end up running 30? Yeah. He'll go on a stretch. He'll hit 4 in a week. Then maybe not. Then he'll hit another 4, 5 in another week. It's just who he is. Not worried about it at all. Again, switch the players in ballparks and see what happens.
Matter of fact, if I'm going on, I think I'm going on Vern's pregame show sometime the next couple of days. Whichever that day is, Bobby Wood Jr. hit a home run. I'm sure it'll be plus 300 or 400.
Yep.
That'll be my bet. I've been losing so much. I got nothing to lose now. I'm probably in the negative now.
Didn't we bet?
I finally got Lugo strikeouts again.
I have. I won money like a week ago on a Bobby Wood Jr. homer.
I was going to say that I think that, well, now it's not just the songs. It must be when
I
you
don't
make
have
a bet.
Well, I had a Bobby Wood Jr. song, but it was when he came up to the bigs.
You have a Bobby Wood Jr. home run song?
No, it was just about him coming to the big leagues.
What would you mix that with?
What would my song be for Bobby home runs?
Yeah. If you were to do that.
I mean, boy, it's always hard to come up with on the spot. Because sometimes I have to be inspired sometimes, you hear a song and it just like, it hits. It just feels right.
What's that song? Here Comes the Boom.
Ready or Not.
Ready or Not, Here
That's
Comes
not
the
bad.
Boom.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good nomination.
That honestly, it feels like it could be about home runs. So I don't hate that.
Here comes Bobby Wood. Get ready for the boom.
Shaggy's Mr. Bombastic. What do you think about that?
That'd be a good home run.
Can I do some Shaggy? What do you think, Drew? That's a little different style than I've done so far.
Maybe a good one. Somebody from the 816 said, dude hits triples down the left field line. That's cooler than dingers. There is something I think
that was crazy, dude. He just did a double.
He's just an all-around baseball player, man.
There's something I think that is really cool about watching a triple because it almost doesn't. They don't happen as often as home runs. I think there's a unique aspect to seeing somebody turn one and then look at two, and the outfitter's just getting the ball, and he's like, you know what, I'm sending it in. I'm going 3. There's some exhilaration there as well with triples.
But he's 4th in baseball in stolen bases. Gunner's not even close. I don't even think Gunner's in the top 50 in that. Not that they try to do that very much, but
no. And look, Gunner hits homers. That's fine. Gunner can do what Gunner does. It's not. Bobby is just as good as those players. Like if you're like, is he just as good a hitter as Gunnar Henderson? Yes. They just do slightly different things.
They play at a different ballpark.
Yeah. Gunnar walks a little bit more. He's scored a little bit more. He hits for a worse average. He has, it's always the same thing. Like going back through it, you don't need to worry yourself about one statistical category. And Bobby has traditionally heat up in the second half in that department. I would assume that Bobby's
playing
good.
in this ballpark. You never worry about home runs.
No, I would assume that Bobby is good for 15 to 20 home runs in the not even second half of the season. In the final, I guess whatever it is, 70. It's not 82 anymore. 78, whatever games it is, the rest of the way. 77, the rest of the games away. I'm assuming he's good for more than he was in the first half because he consistently is. All I'm telling you is, don't worry about it. It's not worth it because you're just giving yourself trouble, and it's not worth the effort. Coming up in about 10 minutes, I want to talk about something else in the bullpen.
Oh, by the way, he went yard in Baltimore, Bobby Witt, when they played in Baltimore.
The starting pitcher tonight has given up a home run in 9 consecutive games.
But when he played in Baltimore, he had a home run.
Mm-hmm. Of course he did. It's a joke of a ballpark. The entire AL East is kind of a joke.
And what, Camden?
Yeah, they're all easy to hit home runs in.
They changed the dimensions a bit, didn't they, in Baltimore? I thought they did.
Yeah.
I thought they did a little bit.
Someone said Casey Kurt from the 75 said you could do the dong song instead of the thong song. I
like that.
Oh my goodness.
I like that.
Oh God, do you think I could rewrite that in one day? Can I lead us out of the holiday break with the dong song for Bobby Wood Jr.? Oh my God.
That would be great.
Living the Vida Loca. God, there's just so many. I'm sorry, I'm really thinking about whether or not I could knock that out.
You're about to break out the pen and the pad real quick.
Yeah. You know what? When I said I have to be inspired, that's a pretty good one.
And then he goes out and hits like 2 that night. If you're going to go with Vern and call for a home run, you get the song to go with it.
I say I'll go and then just give him one line for what the song will be tomorrow. Even if I don't do the whole song. Just say, hey, Vern, tonight I'm going with Bobby Witt Jr. to hit a home run. Here's a little taste of a song I think works for it. He hits.
I like the Here Comes the Boom.
Vern might be your biggest supporter in regards to the songs.
He consistently supports me,
I
which
used
I
to play him
appreciate.
every night on the night shows.
All right.
Your songs.
Someone says, well, text line has ruined Cody for the rest of the day. I may never be focused again. This might be like the time when I wrote 50 Cent songs in the middle of the show about my baking. When it might be that. When I just get distracted and I can't come back to the regular part of the show. Because now I'm starting to think that song might really work. So
you're going to skip out on a bathroom break to just write
I think that would work.
Might have to go to the side studio. Is Carrington out of there yet? He was filling in.
He's still in there now.
He was filling in for Adam Shine, so I need him to get out of the way. No, he's not. You just can't hear him in there. We can get back to the Royals in just a minute, even though I'm very distracted by that suggestion. So, yes, on maybe that. But last night was an embarrassment for United States men's soccer once again.
And the camera.
Look, the camera thing, I guess let's talk about that for a second. What the hell was going on there?
They were filming for what they say Jordan loves where his mom said
What?
the one time with the Packers.
What? Okay, so soccer gets shot there, all the time. This is a U.S. men's national team game. How the hell was that the camera angle for the entire first half of the game? What happened there? Why did somebody move a camera bay?
I do think it was funny how they got bullied into moving the camera. How they got,
they should have.
Correctly.
Oh, no, yes,
Bullying works sometimes. I think in this setting, that's when it's most successful. Please, you shouldn't do that. So the camera stuff that made no sense to me. But I asked the same thing yesterday, Drew, and this still stands. Tell me how on earth? I think the FIFA rankings must be a lie. There is no way that is the 11th best team in the world. No chance. They're lost. You can see watch Panama, and we were all seeing highlights of Panama because, of course, you're hoping they were going to tie and then maybe the U.S. could tie and there'd be some way they could get in, even if they didn't beat Uruguay, a team who is 2 spots below them, by the way, in the world rankings and looks so much further ahead of them from soccer skill. It's not even close. So they're close in the world rankings, but you wouldn't know it based on that game last night or based on any style of play. There's 2 real questions I have about their ability. One is, do they have anyone who actually wants to score? Like, they seem reticent to shoot, constantly reticent to shoot. And how? After 30 years of like a soccer boom taking hold in this country, because that's about how long it's been, are they no closer to competing for a World Cup title than they were 30 years ago? If anything, they seem further. This is the first time in 20 years they haven't made it out of the group stage at Copa. Like, it doesn't make any sense, Bank. It was an embarrassment last night. Their coach, in the middle of the game, told their coach that Panama tied it up for a minute to try to, or that Bolivia tied it up for a minute to try to make them feel good about the game. In the middle of a match, is warning them. It was embarrassing.
He was worried more about what they couldn't control.
Yes. Hey, lock it down. Don't score now. It's 0-0, essentially.
If you win the match, you put yourselves in the position, you take care of your business, and then you see what else happens. And that was, I think, too, this goes all the way to the top. And, of course, there was fantastic post-game reaction, I think, across the board from Clint Dempsey and Carly Lloyd and Alexi Lalas. And we'll get to Alexi Lalas here shortly. I think it's interesting. Everybody was blaming the ref. And as horrendously bad as the ref was.
And we talked about refs yesterday. In all sports, they don't suck.
As bad as the goal was where the guy was clearly offside, it wouldn't have mattered because if the U.S. drew, they wouldn't have made it anyways because Panama won. So the idea of talking about the goal, I think, is useless. It doesn't matter because you're blaming.
I mean, it was offsides, but and it's annoying that they can't. Refereeing stinks in every sport.
But it didn't matter. I think this. If you want to, I know Carly Lloyd, I think, had brought it up, or Rob Stone might have brought it up. Is do you blame the federation as well? It goes beyond the players, Berhalter. The federation has to take it very seriously because for that. The idea, I think, of them saying, look, we want to be serious about soccer. This is the golden generation. You need a coach that is capable of coaching a group that's that good. Greg Berhalter was fine, would have been fine when you had Clint Dempsey as the guy, when you had guys that were playing
just
in the
salty
second
veteran-y.
More, yeah. When your top tier guys are in the second division in England and the Bundesliga a little bit, but you don't have any top tier players. I agree. It is the golden generation because the talent is there, but you have to have a manager that's able to motivate them enough. Carly Lloyd was questioning whether they were too comfortable. He's a player's coach. The players like Greg Berhalter. After the match, they were talking about Greg Berhalter. The vibe in the locker room is fine. We're continuing to build. That's the problem. They need somebody who will come in there and will challenge every single one of the players from Pulisic all the way down. This is not good enough, and I'm going to hold you to that standard because, again, Greg Berhalter, no offense to him, hasn't obtained anything elite in regards to his coaching career. That's why you get a guy like Jurgen Klopp. That's why you go after a guy like Pep Guardiola because they've coached at the Champions League level. They know what it's like to win the biggest matches in the world. You need that sort of a motivator to come in and give guys a little bit of a kick in the pants.
Dude, it's correctly pointed out by Legend over on Twitch. They had an open net and couldn't score. They passed it like 4 times after the open net. Someone tried to put the ball as soon as somewhere in there. They had 4 shots on goal, and 3 of those were when they were like in full desperation.
As soon as Balogun went out, that was when they lost a bit of their fire, I think, because Balogun's great. I mean, he subbed out, and they lost the fire, bringing in Haji Wright and Tim Sargent, who just clearly weren't good enough.
I thought Alexi Lalas on FS1 last night put it pretty well in postgame.
You talked about learning from losing. Okay, I think what we have learned over these cycles is that this team is not able to do anything better than is done in the past. And that hurts. That hurts to say because that was not what was promised and not what for many we believed was going to happen with this team. Because if this is as good as it gets, it's not good enough. And there's plenty of excuses, but they don't matter. You can talk about opportunities. Well, we got players that are playing all over the world. Talk about playing in Europe. Well, the entire team that you saw out there plays in Europe, so it's not MLS's fault. You can talk about, the pathways and the resources that they have. No generation has been given more. And yet this generation hasn't lived up to that bargain. And when it comes to Greg Berhalter, we heard Stu Holden say it's exactly right. I know there's a sport in firing coaches in all professional sports. And I know the knives are out, and they should be, because this is not good enough from Greg Berhalter. And you have to ask yourself, with 2026 coming barreling down the pike, it's going to come real quick.
Less than 2 years away.
All right? We can't afford to waste it. We can't afford to be embarrassed. And we can't afford to arrive in the summer of 26 with a team that has not progressed, that has not evolved, and has not improved. And I'm sure
that's pretty much it. It's just like, how have you not gotten better? This is the most talent they've probably had in U.S. soccer ever. And they're still, but they're performing worse. They can't even get past Panama. They can't even get to the group stage.
And there's no big matches from now until the World Cup for them to really take seriously enough to prepare them for that. I'm
sure they'll play Mexico like 7 more times, but that's about it.
And the Mexican team is not nearly as good as it once was either. I think we're going to learn a lot about the Federation as well. I mean, the players we've already learned a lot about, I think, anyways. They need more motivational factor. They need to figure it out. But we're going to see how much the Federation cares about doing well in this World Cup. If they go and they hire somebody, they need somebody that's not just MLS guy. That's not cutting it. We don't need another Bruce Arena. The Berhalter thing isn't going to work because Jesse Marsch, by the way, has lasted longer in this Copa America than the guy who they hired ahead of him. That's why I think you have to. We're going to see how much the Federation actually cares about winning and trying to advance in the World Cup based on who they hire. Because, like, to that point that Alexi was saying, we're less than 2 years away. Like, you need somebody to come in and assert themselves in their system quickly, and not just somebody who wants to build. We don't want to hear build. We want to hear winning now.
Binkley, are you with me now?
I thought it was brilliant when he says, if this is as good as it gets, it's not good enough. I think that,
yes.
I mean, Lexi Lawless was nailed, because a lot of guys were kind of tiptoeing. They were tiptoeing about, being critical. If this is as good as it gets, it's not good enough. Loved it.
Are you with me now that we should ban all replay? Look at last night. Perfect
Come on,
example.
Code Man.
Perfect example of my opinion.
Better. Don't eliminate it.
Get rid of it.
No.
Couldn't even get the call. Get rid of it.
You're
useless.
Multiplicity.
You're saying instant replay entirely, or are you saying replay review? Because that
replay review. Instant replay I don't care about. We can all just be like, no, they got it wrong. Replay review.
Yeah, but I think if we had no review and they would have, I know that they would have taken a look at it and everything that happened last night.
It was twice as bad yesterday because they got it wrong. We then watched them get it wrong, and then they were like, no, we were right.
Yeah, that's where you have to hold responsibility again, like we were saying yesterday. That's where I think if you got rid of replay review, though, the replay's still going to be shown.
Oh, yeah, I don't care about the replay being shown. That's fine. Calls get wrong. I've accepted. Again, this all comes down to my point yesterday, which is what I thought would happen when we got replay review, when we would get to overturn these, is I thought we would take away the human element and instead get the correct call because we have things that can show us what is right. What it has turned out replay review is you have a human element who can make a decision because they're people and they can get those decisions wrong. And those same people can still get decisions wrong because it's a human element. It's the same. I'll just take the first one. What the hell do I need a whole extra step where I got to watch them look at something?
Well, the person watching it in slow motion should get it right.
Yeah, but they don't.
They don't.
Is the problem. They do sometimes. But they also just get calls right sometimes, so I don't care.
A majority of the time, it does work. Is it 100%? Hell no.
Somebody texted in, I think the 2010 men's soccer team was the best it's ever going to get. I disagree. Let me give you some of the guys that are on that roster. Josie Altidore, very good player. He was fine. Michael Bradley, fine. Wasn't great. He was all right. Clint Dempsey, good. But again, let me remind you, he shanked a would-be goal to force extra time against Belgium.
I got to bring that up for him. He did miss an important shot.
Landon Donovan, really good, but never was on the right team, I don't think, where he could really complete a roster, where if he were on this team, it would really complete the roster. That 2010 men's soccer team was never capable of winning a World Cup. This team, I think, is. It's just that you don't have the belief. They don't have the proper coach to motivate them to become as good as they can be. That's the problem that they're running into. They've got the roster. They got the talent. And I know Alexi said it's not MLS's fault to blame. I agree, but it's not. We're not blaming AC Milan for the fact that Christian Pulisic wasn't able to raise the bar high enough in this one. It's a coaching problem that you need to address at a elite level, not just some guy that's American that's coached overseas before that hasn't won anything.
When we come back, there is a couple players that we've discussed contracts for. I want us to do an update on that list, and there's one player that's proven he can be trusted come playoff time.
Cody and Gold.
If the Royals win the World Series, I will get, and you can mark it if you want, but everybody knows this tattooed on my body.
Who gives? We're winning games.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Now is the time to call up DuraVision and schedule that free consultation at 913-491-3330. Why is now a good time? Well, number one, stop putting it off. It's what I did for a couple years. I said, I don't know if I'm eligible for LASIK. I don't know if they can put together a plan that fits my vision needs. The answer is yes, they can. That's why I don't wear contacts or glasses anymore ever since I underwent SBK Advanced LASIK from DuraVision. And the reason why it's a great time as well is because not only is the consultation free, as always, but right now they have their Friends and Family Savings event going on at DuraVision. You can save up to $1,000 on LASIK through the end of July. But you got to go to DuraVision.com, 913-491-3330, and trust the most experienced team in Kansas City. They've performed over 65,000 vision correction procedures. Frankly, it's why I trusted them with my eyes. Something as serious as your vision health, you need to go with the best in Kansas City. Go to DuraVision.com, or one more time to take advantage of that free consultation. 913-491-3330.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold, and our friends at Centric are offering one lucky listener an exclusive $5,000 scholarship.
If you apply by July 19th, you'll be entered for a chance to win that scholarship to cover a portion of the tuition. Don't like your job and want one that offers more growth and money? Talk to Centric and start a career in tech.
Centric's next in-person online and flex cybersecurity programs start at the end of July to help you make a change now. Go to Centric.com, fill out a form, and tell them that Gold and I sent you, and Russ will talk you through everything.
The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation are teaming up with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City to recognize outstanding high school sports coaches through the Blue KC Coaches with Character program. From April to September, we'll recognize 6 coaches as a Blue KC Coach with Character. Each honoree will receive a VIP package that includes tickets to a Royals game and more. Be part of honoring our high school coaches whose service is making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. Just go to bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character to nominate today.
Hey, it's Clang. 4th of July to us means getting together with friends and family and eating. And basically, I could just hit Hy-Vee for my entire 4th of July celebration. Party trays, wings, fresh dips, chips, holiday-themed baked goods, grilling favorites like Prime Reserve steaks, chicken, ribs, and Hy-Vee's famous specialty brats. I'm telling you, go try the pineapple brat. Choose from dozens of amazing sides: potato salad, pasta salad, baked beans, slaw, firecracker corn on the cob. And again, don't forget those dips like the street corn dip to dip the chips in. Don't forget the wine and spirits department. Hy-Vee with a huge selection of wine, craft beer, seltzers, and spirits in stock, and always 10% off when you mix and match 6 or more bottles. All of your paper and party goods can be found at Hy-Vee. Head by the bakery department. Get your chocolate chip cookies, your brownies, and your 4th of July themed cookies. Hy-Vee is your one-stop shop for your 4th of July celebration. Do what I do. Spend less time planning, more time hanging. Thanks to my friends from Hy-Vee.
It's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here, and let me tell you about my friends over at Window World. 816-799-0820. It is hot in the Kansas City metro. We are in the middle of the summer. And what I want to do is I want to help your home be more energy efficient and keeping the hot air out. In just over 20 years of business, Window World has improved the look and thermal efficiency of over 54,000 homes right here in Kansas City. And right now, they're offering an incredible deal. They're giving you 36 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 36 months same as cash financing with approved credit. What I love most is, aside from major holidays, they have somebody there answering your questions 7 days a week. So if you got a question right now, pick up the phone and call my friends over at Window World, get a free home estimate, and they can show you how they are simply the best for less. They're the official window managed by the Kansas City Chiefs, and they have had the same team in place for 20 years, and that team wants to help you. 816-799-0820, Window World.
The light is fading, your hands are sore, and the last tool has been put away. Now is the time to feel the satisfaction that comes with a job well done. But when you get your tools from Harbor Freight, something about the job feels a little different. your wallet. Because we believe that everyone deserves hardworking tools at hardworking prices. And that's what we have here. So, whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
Looking for a way to elevate your engine's performance? Start with Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. It provides faster oil flow for hot and cold temperature protection in the harshest driving conditions. Regular use can help your engine run cleaner and longer by defending against sludge and buildup, improving overall engine performance and fuel efficiency while increasing the time between oil changes. Make the switch without slowing down. Speed your ride Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold, and our friends at Centric are offering one lucky listener an exclusive $5,000 scholarship.
If you apply by July 19th, you'll be entered for a chance to win that scholarship to cover a portion of the tuition. Don't like your job and want one that offers more growth and money? Talk to Centric and start a career in tech.
Centric's next in-person online and flex cybersecurity programs start at the end of July to help you make a change now. Go to Centric.com, fill out a form, and tell them that Gold and I sent you, and Russ will talk you through everything.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Kansas City, this is Royals manager Matt Quatrero. Catch Vern's On Deck show 1 hour before first pitch on your home for Royals baseball, 610 Sports Radio and the Odyssey app.
KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, and Odyssey Sports Station.
I thought for sure you were going to play the thong song coming back there. I thought at least there was like a 50, because I needed to hear it, you know? You probably don't want me distracted the rest of the day.
You get inspired, he needs to hear it.
I'm fine. I can hear it later. Also, I think
a little bit later in the show. Then
I think you have to find a clean version of that song.
That's true.
I think that song came out when I was in like high school, early high school, maybe. I don't know, something like that. Text line over here. Drew's getting back and forth. Someone says they've never heard of Christian Pulisic. I was like, I don't think you watch much soccer.
And I understand people who have consistently heard Landon Donovan, Dempsey, Altidore, Tim Howard, but Christian Pulisic's been advertised as, for the last like 8 to 10 years, as this dude could be the best American soccer player ever that we've ever seen.
Yeah,
I think he's up there.
Probably the most talented.
I think he's up there already.
I think he's need to accomplish something.
Yes.
But yes, I mean he plays Premier League soccer. I mean it's pretty hard to argue.
And I think he gives consistent, like from watching the last night too, real quick, I think he gives consistent effort where it's like he's not slacking, he's not just running around getting cardio, where at times I think some other guys are. I mean, he's running everywhere, doing everything he possibly can, to his credit.
Someone says Thong Song came out in 1999. That would have been my freshman year.
Who is it by?
Cisco.
Cisco.
You don't know that song? Play it real. Okay,
Was
search
that Cisco's only song?
Search. I mean, it's the only popular song. Look for a clean version. I don't totally remember all the lyrics.
Did Cisco
I'm
go dirty?
assuming you've heard this song, Drew. Do you have it pulled up?
I'm waiting for an ad to play, but yeah, I've got it.
Okay, because somebody suggested on the text line, they said, "Hey, maybe you should make a song for Bobby Wood Jr. to hit home runs." I said, "Well, I think I'm going to probably do a pregame pick for Vern, so I could probably." Maybe I could just do like a lyric before, like with my pick for Bobby Jr. I mean, this is just so good.
Do you think you'd be able to?
Oh, I can sing this fast. If I had the lyrics in front of me, hold on. dumps like a truck. Truck. Guys like what?
Baby, move your butt.
Let me see it again. What do you think? I've never heard this song? Come on.
No,
Get out
I'm
of
not
here.
saying you haven't.
Get out of here. All night long.
I need
Bobby hit some bombs.
I feel like if you do this though, you have to. You have to have a similar tone.
Oh yeah, I'll try to make my voice sound nasally.
A little bit gaspy.
Yeah, I'll definitely go for
What are
that.
you going to put for baby move your butt? You going to say baby move your wit? Baby move that butt. She had dumps like a truck.
I'm going to have to think about those
You're
lines.
giving us drops, man.
I don't, I got to be honest. I don't fully know what I'll change those lyrics to, but if I do a whole song, I'll figure it out. But if not, maybe I can just pull that little clip from Vern.
That dress is so scandalous.
I'm gonna need you to give the ad libs as well in there.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, that song got played a lot on the radio. We'll get back to that maybe in just a minute, and some Royals in about 10 minutes before we give you an update during Trash of the Day. But I just thought, Bink, you're in. Football's around the corner. Let's do a revisit, because after the comments from Nick Bolton last week, in which he said, "Don't talk to me until after the season," Gold and I were both like, well, I guess Nick Bolton's not getting an extension before the year, but will he? So the question I want to do, because I want to revisit, before the offseason started, we all knew there were 3 players who were going to be up for discussion for the typical NFL contract extension, which is before the final year of your deal starts, let's get a deal done so we don't have to work in the middle of the season or worry about you either needing to be franchise tagged or, some sort of just let you go in the free agency market because your contract's up. Do you think of these 3 players? Who do you think gets an extension this offseason? Who do you think still gets an extension at all? And who do you think is free? Between the 3 players I think we're talking about, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Nick Bolton. Because I think Bolton's not getting an extension ever. I just don't think he's going to sign her long term if that's the way he's already talking. I think Creed gets an extension this offseason, and I now think Trey will get one. But after the year is where I think those 3 players land.
I'm with you on Creed. He's just a valuable offensive lineman. The sign of the snaps, and we had problems with snaps, but he's still the best center in the NFL. But he can play guard too. Trey Smith, I would say, but you know what happened to this market with the guards? The guard market exploded in the NFL this year. That was the new wide receiver market from the year before. So that's always concerning. But Trey Smith, I would think Nick Bolton, as much as I like Nick Bolton, it's a position you can get away with because when he was out, you didn't know he was not out. And if you're a player and you're out and you don't even know they're out, that's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a certifiable problem if that player is missing from your team and Drew Tranquil stepped right in, put the green dot on, and did his job.
That was pretty glaring. And Leo Chanel's a really good player.
But if you don't know he's out.
And your defense is still playing like one of the better defenses in the league.
But Trey Smith is simply dominating. I have no idea what his market's going to look like. It's going to look a lot better, obviously.
Guard market's pretty good these days.
Trey Smith was looked at as a 1st or 2nd round pick before he was picked in the 6th round. It's crazy. You know in the draft, when you get the draft hats, usually if you think you're, top 2 2nd round pick, 1st round, 2nd, you get the draft hat sent to you.
Yeah.
And he had the draft hat. He put the Chiefs hat right away, meaning they expected him to go early. Obviously the injury concerns and thing like that, which still, sits out there. You have to have the right training staff to work with Trey Smith, but he's so damn dominant for this football team. But you build that center quarterback combo, and Mahomes and Creed are always together. Always, every time you see him out, WWE
teams love pairing those up together. That's why it's hard to imagine he wouldn't get signed. And other than the snapping issues, which came up for the second half of last year, he plays nearly perfect center. They like everything about his run blocking, his pass blocking, there's no part of his game that doesn't grade well.
Get to the quarterback.
Yeah, and I think the text line's probably right for a couple of reasons. One, they're just saying, Bobby, don't bunt. I mean, that's problem solved there on that lyric. So
it's bunts. Yeah,
that's we're just problem solved. We're already workshopping issues here. That's problem solved there. But secondly, I think part of what happened here, and the reason why Bolton is talking so aggressively in the offseason about not getting the contract is there's got to be a significant difference in pay, is how Gold and I felt. And I think part of that difference in pay might just be that the Chiefs probably looked at this and were like, hey, discount time. Nick Bolton couldn't stay on the field last year, couldn't put up those numbers. How about a time for the old hometown discount there, Nick? Because you didn't get to put up the kind of season we thought. We still performed well without you. Of course, he's an important to their defense. All of those things. I understand. Yes, but so was Charvarius Ward. And Tyreek Hill was important to their offense. They pay the guys they want to pay. And I think in this case, if he's already talking like that, I just don't think that's been the case. Look, most of the time, you know this, Bink. Most of the time when you have a contract discussion in the offseason, like if we were to call up Creed Humphrey, we said, hey, so we got a long-term deal in Kansas City. His comment will be the same as 90% of players, which is, would love to stay here in Kansas City long-term. Nothing would make me happier. Not sure what's happening there. We'll see, but nothing would make me happy to be in Kansas City. And, and then maybe if it's getting closer to the season, they say, I don't really want to talk about it in season. So if there's a long-term deal that's going to get done, I hope it gets done before the year starts. Normal stuff.
Well,
Bolton's didn't do that. He went stronger
Bolton's
than
issue, he's not a pass rusher. That's the thing. Linebackers, they get to the quarter. It's not his job. It's not what he does. You don't do that. Sporadically, he can do it, but it's the guys that, bulk up the sacks at linebacker. But he's a middle linebacker, so he's not going to get the sack numbers, but those are the guys you pay.
If Spags if it wasn't known as much that this was Spags' guy, Spags loves Bolton. If it was just, he's really good and Spags likes Bolton, are we having this? Are we including him in the conversation of
no
legitimately getting?
Maybe. I mean, he's still a really productive player, Drew. That's tough.
Yeah, I just wonder how much of the selling point is. Spags loves him though. Like Spags, real. I know that's been part of our conversation. At least is he's Spags' guy. If that wasn't the conversation as much as he's a good player.
So was Snead.
Yeah, he was. Snead was everyone's guy. So Andy loved him. Spags loved him. Sometimes
he
you got to let players go you
everything
like.
Spags would want. Play inside, play outside, get to the quarterback. Pats is defended, everything.
I think one thing that you do have to monitor, and this is just over the course of the offseason, is the amount of money that guards are being paid.
That's
a lot.
That's what I told you. It replaced the receivers. Receivers of the year before, it was guards this year.
In particular with Carolina. And going all in with what they did.
And you don't pay your center as much usually as the guards.
So I think out of Creed and Trey, I would say whoever you think is more whoever you think is more important is going to get the extension you would hope before the season. But just see how things pan out for the other person. Yeah. I think they would end up keeping Creed. I'll be honest.
I'd be stunned if they didn't keep Creed. Some people will still get an extension here. I think what's important to note about the guard market, the one thing that we never discuss enough or under-discuss about the Trey Smith thing is, by the time Trey Smith's contract would kick in, Joe Tooney's would be gone. Like, that's just the reality. The way the contract is structured, by the time Trey Smith's actually cost you real money, Joe Tooney's contract would have then expired.
You have to realize
and
say,
so
okay,
in that case, then you go young at left guard. The constant movement and flow that comes with that is regular. I don't think that's uncommon. That would be Joe Tooney's third NFL contract. That's a lot at that point, even though he is one of the best left guards, probably the best left guard in the NFL. You'd probably let him go a year too early, 2 years too early.
Oh, he's great, but he missed the Super Bowl and you didn't notice.
Yeah. I mean, you still won the game, still performed really well. Guard is guard. I think you can pay one, but
I hate to say that the draft I think plays a big part in it. But I wonder if you looking ahead at the draft class, is there more depth in guys who, and of course there's some unknowns because it's so early, but would you rather be in a position where you have to draft a linebacker or rather be in a position where you have to draft a guard? And if you miss, which is more devastating to your franchise? And again, it's not, the draft isn't everything because you can go sign a guy in free agency or whatnot, or you can just keep the guy you have. But I wonder how much of a factor just looking ahead to the draft, or even as things progress, like Bolton doesn't want to get paid until the offseason. Looking at how things progress from the draft-wise, if you're like, hey, you know what? This guy looks really, really good. We think we could get him, and he could be a guy that pans out just as much as Bolton has, and we're paying him on cheaper money, and we can keep Trey. Is that something that you look at more than another area of free agency or whatnot? How much you'd have to pay, and if you're willing to replace them, or you think they're replaceable with a guy in the draft?
Dude's a tackling machine, no question about it. But, again, you can get good value at positions like Nick Bolton in the third, fourth round.
Yeah.
You're not getting him in the first round.
Is that enough for you to say we're not willing to pay you top 5 linebacker money?
Yeah, considering what they have with Leo's development and direction he's going.
I feel like that's the answer then.
They barely paid Drew Tranquil anything last year when he came in. He got a very affordable new contract with the Chiefs.
I feel like that might be the answer then. You pay Creed and you pay Trey, and then you just chance it on taking that guy in the third or fourth round.
He's a tackling machine, not a sack artist. We know it's not his game. It's not what he does.
He's not an interception guy. He's got 2. There's other the linebackers who get paid are typically those guys. Boy, the
One
text line.
forced fumble in his career.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's come up big in big moments.
Should have been Super Bowl MVP if that would have counted. The second touchdown would have counted.
But part of that is, like some of that is like I think players do show up in big moments, and there's times for that. I also think part of that is like a volume game, and Pat just keeps putting these players in these games so that like they all have a moment. Like every player who leaves the Chiefs on the defense has a moment because they've been in 14 playoff games by the time they're done here. So they've all had like a time in a game in which they came up big bink, but it doesn't mean that they're, more equipped or better than that.
Well, Veach is becoming a victim of his own success.
Yeah, he is.
You're drafted a Steed in the 4th round.
Yeah.
Clearly it's a first rounder at this point. You drafted a guy like Trey Smith in the 6th. That's a first rounder at this point. A Mike Dan in the 5th. You're probably looking at a second rounder at this point. Didn't even go to the combine. He's drafting these guys late, and he's getting tremendous value of them. Then you got to pay him. Victim of his own success. But that shows you how good he is in the draft. Yeah. Again, going to last year, 21 of the 22 previous picks in the draft were on this team, and it included the COVID year, which everybody made mistakes on. They didn't. And it's one thing to draft players and they play, but it's another thing to draft the players they play and you actually win. That's what separates him as a general manager.
Yep. No, it is.
In Veach, we trust.
Coming up in about 5 minutes, we'll get you an update on a viral internet story that we discussed on this show for Trash of the Day. But I was watching the Royals play over the last 7 games, right, against Miami and then, of course, against the Guardians. And in 7 straight games, Vinny Pasquantino has an RBI. And we're not saying this just because he's a friend of the show and because Vinny's done a great job as our NFL or VinFL insider, for that matter. I think the way I watch Vinny play here recently, and I'm trying to be objective about it, but more recently when I've been watching Vinny play, especially on this team as this team has gotten good, and the way he spoke when this team was struggling, not only am I been very impressed with Vinny's leadership, I think the thing that stands out the most to me right now is Vinny is turning into the kind of hitter that I think you are really going to love in the postseason. He seems like he's got the clutch part. We just talked about this in the postseason and Mahomes and all that. If there's a player on the Royals other than Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez, Salvi because I've seen him do it in a postseason game, and Bobby because he's the most talented person on the planet, Vinny Pasquantino seems to me like the kind of player that now they have 3, in my opinion, that you're going to trust come postseason time. Bink, he seems like the moment doesn't rattle him or shake him. And for the early season, I thought the whole team had those moments where it's like, hey, they need a few more guys to come through a little more often, and I'm waiting for who's going to show themselves and wants that moment and lives in it. And lately, to me, it just seems like that guy's going to end up being Vinny.
He's a student of the game. He takes coaching well. He's got that fire about him, just like you said. Initially, when the team was struggling, it was Vinny that talked. He's got that leadership coaching. He's a core guy. Like, you look at what Vinny does, that's a core guy for this team. Teammates love him. He goes out there, you know what you're going to get, and I think the hitting will be something where you're sitting around going, wow. I wouldn't be shocked if he had like a Moose-type transition. Remember, Moose wasn't hitting at all. Gets sent back down to AAA. Then all of a sudden he's hitting 300 by the All-Star break one year. Like, I could see that being a Vinny, having that Moose-type transition.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Vinny obviously is a better...
Like Moose told me it's good to be vocal. Vinny's already vocal.
He is. He's a leader of the team. I don't think there's any question about that. Like, if you say who are the undeniable leaders of the team, it's Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino, and Salvador Perez in the hitting department. I tend to think in baseball clubhouses, and I'm assuming you agree, because you've been in one. If you're in a baseball clubhouse full-time, there tends to be 3 leadership groups. The Latin American players, the American players, and the pitchers. That tends to be the split. It just is. Salvi leads the Latin American players and the whole team. He's obviously one of the most recognizable Royals of all time. Vinny and Bobby are part of that, so they're the hitting end. And then on the pitching end, it's so obviously at this point, Lugo. It's Lugo, and it's Waka to a point. It's the veteran guys who've been doing it forever. I think Singer has grown tremendously with some of the veterans around. And I think he could develop into one of those guys if he continues to be on this team, but... Like, yeah, Vinny's clearly one of the leaders of the team. Someone says Vinny feels like the new Lorenzo Cain, just has the right hit at the right time.
It's like the vintage Royals. It was always Hosmer. Win or lose, he'd talk. Salvador Perez was always that leader. Pitching-wise, when Shields was here, it was Shields. But then it became more of the bullpen guy, like Wade Davis. Wade Davis is kind of that guy, that fiery guy that you had in that bullpen. You got to have that pitcher guy that does the talk. But Hosmer, you got to have that guy that talks win or lose, no matter what. That was always Eric Hosmer. He took it. I always respect that about him. Like, he would take it. Like, he would always be the one talking. Like, he would talk every game.
Yeah.
Even if he's in a big slump
Yeah,
or whatever,
you
he'd
know.
talk. And I respect that.
That's how Vinny is. If you approach him in the locker room after, he talks.
Vinny's just like that. But that's what reminded me of Hosmer. Is just he's willing to take it. He'll take the criticism. He takes the praise, but he's always there.
Yeah, I've grown more and more impressed with Vinny the more I've seen this, because I think sometimes it's easy to be, I think looking back, it was easy for Whit Merrifield to be a good player in a bad team. He was good about erasing the rest of the team's performance around him, which is a skill in its own right. And I'm not saying that that's not impressive, but you see a player like Vinny, you're like, you're a good player. You're a good player in a bad team last year, right? Okay, I can see that. I can see you can play. What happens when the team gets good? Can you handle what the success looks like, the attention that it brings, the change in nature, the expectations that come with it? And I've never seen him alter or falter off of that, especially on the field. Off the field too, right? But on the field, he continues to come up with big hit.
Trash of the day.
Bink, I'm going to let you do a random question again today. Trash of the day, and I don't know if Binkley's caught up on this, is important, Drew, because it's an update. Hawk Tuah girl has been doing interviews. Did you see?
Yes.
She did a long-form interview with Barstool Sports. You might remember on this show, there were some rumors about her and whether or not she was a teacher who had been fired, if her dad was a pastor. Those stories were all a little too good to be true, it turns out. Here's her in her own words about the truth about who she is.
Did you delete all of your social media?
Okay, so I deleted all my social media 6 months ago due to personal reasons. I never really got on it or anything like that.
Oh, okay. So it didn't have anything to do with this?
Oh, no. I was long gone before that.
Oh, so you were already gone from social media, and everyone thought that you deleted your social media because you were scared of all of this blowing up, but you were gone.
I've been gone from it.
So are you going to come back?
I think we're working on that right now.
Because you have a full management team. You have a manager now. You have a
full management
She comes
team.
in with this big ass camera. She's the real deal. Already, this happened a week ago. What were you doing for your job?
Well, I have to sit up and get ready for about 30 minutes, and then I'll just go on and go get me something to eat for breakfast, and then I'll go into work. But I worked in a spring factory. I'm not a school teacher.
That was my next question, because
Or a
everyone said that
bartender.
you were a teacher and got fired from your job.
No, I'm not even old enough to be a teacher.
I was going to say, because you're 21, I'm like, this is illegal. Who
Exactly.
are you teaching?
Exactly.
So you weren't a
Yeah.
teacher.
Or a bartender.
So
Either one.
And also, I've heard rumors that your dad is a preacher.
My father is so far from a preacher. It's crazy.
So
a
everything
little
has just been
offended.
made up.
Oh, yeah. None
Okay.
of it's true at all.
Okay, so...
You mean things on the internet aren't true?
That apparently, sometimes. She has a full management team now, she
Yeah.
says. Says she's going to do TV, going to do a podcast. Look, I don't blame her. Get as much money. She said she was working at a spring factory.
She's
before.
capitalizing more than Boob Girl did from Edmonton.
Oh, yeah. What happened to her?
Exactly.
Is that what they
15
called her?
minutes of
Edmonton
what else
didn't
are you
win the
gonna call
cup.
her?
That's what happened.
But her 15 minutes of fame evaporated. But she
yeah.
totally took advantage of being on Twitter. But look what happened to her.
But, I mean, that girl didn't do anything but flash her... Correct. Flash her boobs at a game. I mean, I don't know if that's
But she went viral. Was very popular. What did
She
Hawk Tuah
did,
do?
but in fairness,
Jeez.
according to this, it says she joined Playboy. She cashes in on her newfound fame. So maybe she did
I
cash
thought
in on it.
Playboy was done.
She just, I'm assuming it's not a physical magazine anymore,
well, I thought
but
it
I'm
was
guessing you
done.
can.
I mean, he was gone.
I'll be honest. Somebody doing what Edmonton Girl did and Hawk Tuah, I feel like Hawk Tuah Girl...
She was just giving an innocent, well, not an innocent, but an answer on an in-person street
she
interview.
fell into
Was
that.
there a
You
big,
gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing.
was there a big difference between the two? Let's be honest.
Yes, there was.
Yeah, I think significant.
How? No, that would that makes a
Significant difference.
She was not explicit in outside. I mean, the question was asked. She gave an answer.
Yeah.
Edmonton Girl went. The line was crossed. She didn't have to say anything, I guess, but the line was
brought
crossed.
the Oilers had a nice comeback after that. I mean, they didn't, finish the deal in Florida, but they got better after
A
that.
full management team, and she's gonna bring back her social media. I don't.
Dude, she doesn't have to get on there. She
Her
said someone's going to run it for her.
Okay, well, fine.
Lean in. I mean, you could get rich. Like, Drew, if I just told you
No, I understand
that you
that.
could be filthy rich just for saying one, I'd say it all the time. I'd go on every radio interview and be like, yeah,
I'll be
whatever.
honest
What do
though.
I care?
It sounds like she, from a mental standpoint, was in a really good place up until this point, and she had and her social media had been deleted. I feel like
Yeah.
you would want to stay in that zone Yes, you do appearances and you have stuff.
If you want to
but
capitalize,
do
you need to be on
the
social media.
But she's already popular enough. She was getting interviewed without social media.
For now. It'll dissipate like boob girls. Gone.
Bink, she has the management team. She's in. She doesn't need social media, to be honest. She does not need a personal Twitter
She
account.
does, man, dude.
No.
If you want to capitalize financially off of it.
Her podcast can. That's what can happen. And that can
What
be
the hell
run by
kind
the
of
management.
podcast are going to be?
People make a lot of money off of social media.
Why don't you have her on your 249 miles of football?
Should I try? Figure out what
I'll
college
bring her on character concerns.
what college she roots for and have her on. I mean, it
I'll
sounds
just
like
tell you
it'd
right
be-
now, if you can get her on your show, book her. This is no better time.
Should I reach out and see? This is the thing. I need to know, like, since it's a college football podcast, I'd like to know where she went to school or where she's from, what team she supports. And then, I mean, yeah.
She's 21, so she's probably still in school. Said she's not old enough to be a teacher. I don't think she ever will be.
Well, yeah, I know that. I'm just saying that I think that, if you have some rooting interest, she's got the Southern accent. I'd be surprised if she didn't have a college football team.
Where's she from? Tennessee, right?
I don't know. I haven't gone that far. Oh, is she a Vols fan?
I'm just guessing.
I don't have any idea.
I could
doubt
picture
it's
her
not- I
wearing
doubt it's Vanderbilt.
singing some Rocky Top.
I doubt it's Vanderbilt.
Someone says
Probably
trash of the day. People liking this story. I was like, why? It's
I
fine.
don't think this is a
Just a regular internet story. That's all.
yeah.
I don't think there's anything objectionable about it. When we come back, we'll get to the Chiefs' red half hour. Travis Kelce did something this weekend that Bink and I both loved.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Subscribe and download the 249 Miles of Football podcast hosted by Drew Nixon on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts, with new episodes released every Wednesday. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 610 Sports Radio.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold, and our friends at Centric are offering one lucky listener an exclusive $5,000 scholarship.
If you apply by July 19th, you'll be entered for a chance to win that scholarship to cover a portion of the tuition. Don't like your job and want one that offers more growth and money? Talk to Centric and start a career in tech.
Centric's next in-person online and flex cybersecurity programs start at the end of July to help you make a change now. Go to Centric.com, fill out a form, and tell them that Gold and I sent you, and Russ will talk you through everything.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation, because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols, and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special, both for you and your partner. At Heartland Men's Health, we take great pride in providing excellent care and treatment options for ED. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and now North Kansas City.
Looking for a great job? Work at First Student. First Student is hiring school bus drivers in the Ray-Pec area. Earn up to $24 an hour and get a $2,500 signing bonus too. Great benefits and paid training. Apply now. Workatfirst.com.
When selling your biggest financial asset, you can't leave it to a beginner. You need a true expert, and that's what you get when you work with Dawn Sharp and her team. Recently, Carolyn needed to sell her home. She reached out to Dawn Sharp, and Carolyn said she handled everything for us. Carolyn and her family had already moved out of town, so communication was crucial. Dawn updated Carolyn often, and when the house was sold, it exceeded their expectations. Contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team at homesforsalenkc.com. Summer's officially here, and for the next few months, you're going to want to look and feel your best if you're spending time outside. In fact, you want to look and feel your best all year round. And I'm happy to say for the first time in years, I look and feel great. Hey, it's Bob Fesco, but I wasn't looking and feeling great a year ago. I was sluggish and was carrying around extra weight. So I stopped by Supplement Superstores and told them I wanted to lose 10 to 15 pounds. I'm now down over 30 pounds and had to have 3 inches taken off of my suit pants. Since that November day when I walked into the Ward Parkway location of Supplement Superstores, I've dropped weight, improved my workouts, and have more energy now than ever before. I'm using the Flashpoint Complex. It's a refreshing drink in the morning when I wake up that gives me sustained energy all day long without the jitters. Then right before bed, I have another refreshing drink and it helps me sleep and recover from the day. Stop into any of the 8 Kansas City area Supplement Superstores and tell them I sent you. They'll get you 20% off the Flashpoint Complex. Supplement Superstores, when you're ready to feel your best.
Looking for a way to elevate your engine's performance? Start with Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. It provides faster oil flow for hot and cold temperature protection in the harshest driving conditions. Regular use can help your engine run cleaner and longer by defending against sludge and buildup, improving overall engine performance and fuel efficiency while increasing the time between oil changes. Make the switch without slowing down. Feed your ride Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Dead battery on America's birthday? America's #1 battery destination is here to help. AutoZone has free battery testing and charging at every store, and batteries starting at just $79.99. With our 4th of July sale, we have savings to help you red, white, and do any other jobs you've been putting off. It's everything you need to get back on the road at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Chiefs Kingdom. This is Mitch Holtis, and welcome into the Chiefs Red Half Hour on Cody and Gold. Every day at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner, the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Thanks, Mitch. Chiefs Red Half Hour. Cody Tapp with you. Jay Binkley's in for Alex, who is on vacation. Texan always ask. Just to get ahead of it now, starting on Wednesday, I'll be gone for a little bit. As far as I know, I will not be fired during that time.
You're getting canned Wednesday.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm kidding.
I just won't be here for a few weeks.
Have you not heard from Hallmark yet?
No. Have you?
No.
But I'll be answering questions like that. Where's Cody? I used to do it with Lukowski. He used to say, well, I went to have
He's waiting for his phone call.
I used to tell people, did they have a snip? Whenever they were gone, it's like, well, I got snipped.
Cody's waiting for his phone call from Hallmark. Just hanging out
I'm a little
waiting.
bit worried that I have not received an email back to me.
You said
in
you
that
were a
movie.
rollerblader. I thought they'd call you right away.
I told him I could rollerblade. I might have even hyperinflated my rollerblading abilities.
I can't
in order to try to get a call.
I think we should have a watch party. See you guys, like you and Alex, walk in the restaurant or whatever.
Yes, I want to be an extra in this movie. If you've got an insight that isn't just the email.
It's going to be football, so fans of the game.
Just a fan in the back of the line of a hot chocolate line. I'm not particular about where I am in this movie.
I want to wear the wolf suit.
You want to be Chiefsaholic in the movie?
They can have him.
That'd be a funny thing to stick.
It's about super fans.
Be a funny thing to. It is about. God, that's a good point.
I'll be the wolf with the
It is about
Santa cap on.
I'll be a fake super fan, not named Chiefsaholic, but it's still wolf based.
What's the other the Chiefs super fan?
There's X Factor.
Yeah,
If
him.
you're talking about the ones we play on the air, it's
Yes.
X Factor.
You could
the
be
only one
C
you've ever
Factor.
heard of. There are some other ones.
Fro Man.
But he doesn't know all the super fans.
Arrow
He's been here
Man.
for- He's been here for a year, but he doesn't know.
I don't know. all of
Whatever
them.
happened to Belly Boy? That was always my favorite super fan. He had that big belly, and he had like Belly Boy written on it. That was back in the day, though. It's been a long time ago. I miss Belly Boy. Where the hell did he go?
Is that what his name was?
Did he lose weight? Because when
Yeah,
you
that
lose
was
weight,
his
you're not funny anymore. Like if you lose weight, you can't put Belly Boy anymore.
Oh,
You ever notice, like in sitcoms,
interesting.
the fattest people are the funniest. Like had Mike and Molly been thin, like they are now during that sick, it never.
You don't think it works as well?
Never would have worked. Never would have worked. Part of the fun was, Mike. And
So the fact that they
jokes.
were fat played into.
I do. Because
to
with
Binkley's
Mike, it was
pure
about
humor.
breaking chairs or, his partner, all the jokes, about his weight and stuff like
You've
that.
got a lot skinnier, Bink. Do we need to worry about your humor level?
I'm not as funny.
You've lost some humor over the years.
It's gone. Now I'm wearing linebacker jerseys.
I'll say this line in the movie if they'll let me.
It says that I'm a meth addict, which I'm a cocaine addict.
I'll say that in the movie if they need me. Whatever it takes to be a
C
super fan.
factor.
Whatever it takes.
C Factor.
Whatever it takes. A couple people on text line said they haven't heard back yet either. And Blair is one of them. Blair gets in everything. Blair ends up in every Chiefs-related thing ever. So, like, if someone was going to hear back, it would have been Blair by now.
It might not be a bad thing because you go away or stocking cap and a full jacket in the middle of summer. It's going to be 100 degrees.
Man.
You're going to be sitting around for 5 hours.
Yeah, it's something. Speaking of reality television, this is actually a perfect time to talk about this. Travis Kelce, apparently, there's a report out from Bleacher Report that says Travis Kelce, because of his podcast, turned down an opportunity to be on Netflix's Receiver. You might remember Mahomes was on quarterback last year. Receiver comes out in a couple of weeks, right? Doesn't it? It's pretty soon. Justin Jefferson and a lot of other receivers, and, like throughout the league, and George Kittle, so like a tight end, are in part of this because they couldn't get enough quarterbacks. And so Kelce turned down the opportunity. You're like, well, that's surprising. On Busted and the Boys, I'd be surprised that he turned it down because, well, he's doing TV. He's going to be in some series. He's done reality TV, and this is done by Patrick Mahomes' production company.
The Amazon, he's going to be the host of Who's Smarter.
Yeah, he's going to be. And so, like,
They've already filmed that, I think.
To me, it would make sense that he would do that. And he said, I don't know. I'd rather play ball, man. I'm already doing enough with the podcast and everything else. I'm way over the reality dude. I'm out of that. And I thought for a second, and I was like, and I don't care. I'm definitely not the person that says, hey, Travis, you don't do anything in the offseason. You should only care about football. I don't feel that way. I've never been that sense. But in a large way, this speaks to his growth, doesn't it? That he's just like, look, man, I'm going to choose the one or two projects I want to do. I don't have to take every check that comes through the door. And I'm not going to invite people into my private life with Taylor. I thought this was a really good decision by Travis. I think saying no to Receiver was the right call.
No, it was. I mean, he'd be perfect for it. You know why they'd want him on it. He'd be perfect for it.
He'd be their top choice, I imagine.
He would be, but you can't keep doing everything. Like, you start spreading yourself thin, all of a sudden you get burnt out on different things. But I get it. And I think the Taylor thing's big, too, because if they're going to show us private life and things like that, that means there are going to be cameras there when she's there. Now,
Yeah,
obviously,
there was a
they
lot
wouldn't
of
show
private
that,
life.
but
It was like him talking with like Kirk Cousins talking with his wife and stuff.
That ain't not going to fly.
That would have been the first question if he'd have said yes. Or that would have been the first question that they asked.
That's almost why you can't do it, though. Like,
Well,
look,
right, exactly.
I got nothing against catching Kelce. Let's tell you right now, I did a post-game show for every episode of Catching Kelce. I've seen every single episode of that show. We used to have the girls who got eliminated on the post-game show for it. I'm not against the reality TV that Travis Kelce did, even though it was silly and goofy and weird. It has never stopped him from being he was a Pro Bowler then. He's an All-Pro. He was an All-Pro then. He's an All-Pro now. Nothing's changed. It did not change his career that he did that. And he had to kind of agree to it behind Andy's back and all that because he didn't have the clout he has now. But, this just felt like one of those, yeah, you know what? If there was one to pass on, it's probably this one. Even though for the most part you get editorial control and they're not going to put you in too negative a light. Why bring that into your world when you got all these other pieces in place that are just produced television, not reality television? And as far as I'm concerned, his version of reality television now is his podcast. Every single second of it is on video. They discuss real things happening in their real lives, whether they be in London or Taylor Swift or Kylie. They discuss real things happening in their real lives. That's their version of reality TV. He doesn't have to, in addition to this, invite cameras like receiver to come in. He can just do that on his own.
And not only that, but during mini camps and stuff, he always talked. He was one of the guys. You know that. They put him up on there. He didn't have to do that stuff, but he did it. And that's who he is. He's become a team leader, 100%. He still loves football at this point. He's dedicated to this, went to the mini camps, didn't skip out and say, I got to go to a concert in London. No, he went to everything that was required of him for the Chiefs, but eventually stuff is too much.
You think he's overloaded or going to be overloaded?
Well,
If he wasn't dating
your Clyde's wedding, and then I almost said funeral because I do consider weddings funerals. But anyway, he was at the wedding, and then he flew back overseas.
Congrats, Rob.
Clyde's, congrats,
I went to
Rob.
Rob's funeral. Yeah.
If he's not dating Taylor Swift, he's doing receiver, right? I feel like that. I don't know if it's
maybe because
I think he does it. I think it literally is the Taylor Swift thing.
They're getting over $100 million for that podcast, so I don't know if he would have backed out of it. But yes, if he's not dating Taylor, he might have done it.
Yeah, and
I think he would have done it if he was. I mean, is he doing the "Are you smarter than a fifth grader" thing, or whatever the name of the show is called? If he's not dating Taylor Swift, I'm not saying that that's the reason he's got it, but
it didn't hurt.
But he did host Saturday Night Live, didn't he? Before he met Taylor,
he did.
Yeah,
he went to the Pro Bowl before he met Taylor. Everybody said, "Well, he's able to be good because he's been dating her." Well, he was good before.
The podcast was up before people knew he was.
It was
dating
before,
Taylor.
but he hosted Saturday Night Live before he.
The
even met her.
podcast helped him, I think, get Saturday Night Live. I think more than.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, look, for the most part, like Binkley, I think he said, like, hey, it's easy to get overextended. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I also think that who he's with is going to make it way easier to communicate with somebody how to handle the overextension. Taylor travels from city to city to city, would leave a city, come watch him play football, leave again, go out, have a social life. Like, if there's anyone who can handle an incredibly busy schedule and teach Travis Kelce how to manage that, it's the person he's with. So, like, if there's someone who I know can probably help Travis ferry this newfound fame. He was famous before. He was busy before. The NFL season keeps you busy and a million other things. But typically this time of year, you don't have anything going on.
He was
usually just kicking it for the next 6 weeks. Patrick Mahomes is on vacation in like some island somewhere for the next month. You just won't even hear from the guy again.
He's not playing that golf tournament. Kelsey will be in that. The
American Century.
He's going to play with Jason.
Yeah. And look, I think that you'll figure out the balance pretty quick. This just felt like a good one to be like, you know what, I'm okay. I don't need to open up my life that much. We talk about my personal life a lot on the podcast. It's become a lot more public. And those are things you just kind of have to accept about being in a very famous relationship and being of it. No, he doesn't. But it's also like, I don't have, like, shying away from it is one thing, but you don't also have to, like, have TV cameras in your life for an entire year. And look, at that time, because again, receiver comes out in 2 weeks. They would have shot him for this entire season. So they would have shot receiver, and he would have known at the time they asked him he was dating Taylor Swift. And it's like, and he would have known that it wasn't super public yet, Bink, or that he had spoken with her, and he just didn't open himself up to that. It's the foresight of it, because it's easy to turn it down now. He had to turn that down a year ago, and he still saw through it. He didn't have the FX series coming up. He didn't have Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity coming up. He didn't have the podcast growth that he had. He still had the foresight to say, I'm good. I'm okay. I appreciate it. I'm not going to do this show at that time.
It sounds like he, and I don't know if this was the way beforehand, but if he were, when he was asked that, he really took a second to think and ask Taylor, like, hey, is this okay or is this good? Where Travis just wasn't making, I don't know, I don't know if he was just making that decision, if he would have made that decision previously with who he was with, or if that was something he was like, yeah, I'll do it, regardless of who he was with. Or since Taylor was who he was dating, he was like, you know what, let me talk to her about it. We're going to figure out, because it seems like, and he's been open about it, is like, look, we're going to keep our stuff private, but it seems like he's thinking a lot more about the end game of everything now, more than just, I'm going to do it because I'm Trav and I'm able to do it and I'm that guy.
A lot of life things.
He's being a lot more, not mature. I don't think that's the right word. He's being a lot more careful, I think, about stuff that he doesn't do, and all that stuff.
Listen, Mahomes is extremely popular. Did you ever expect anybody
to be more popular than him?
Yeah.
Like from a, like, no.
Just the national perspective.
No, we went through this last week, and I was
really?
surprised at, like there have been players who have been more famous than their quarterbacks, but not that are also maybe the best quarterback who ever played.
Yeah.
No one was ever more famous than Brady or more famous than Montana. And Jerry Rice was a great player. He wasn't more famous.
To be honest with you, I think it's good for him.
Deion Sanders was the only one we could really come up with where they were like winning a bunch. Deion was more famous than Aikman.
I think it's good for Mahomes, actually.
Yeah,
he's already carrying.
Oh, no, this is exactly what we talked about. I said
it?
it's a great thing for
I think
Mahomes.
it's very good.
He gets to just lay low, dude, and kick it.
Yep.
Like, look, for instance, like right now, like if you're the New York Jets, and you find out today that we finally found out the details of Aaron Rodgers and why he missed camp. It must have been something so significant that he couldn't have possibly have rescheduled it for another time as somebody worth hundreds of millions of dollars for a mini camp that gets played at pretty much the exact same time every year. And what was it? He just wanted to go to Egypt because he likes their culture. That's it. It was an unexcused absence by their coach, and they've tried to claim that they don't care. Aaron Rodgers missed mandatory OTAs with his team for the first full year since his injury because he just wanted to kick it in Egypt to recharge his batteries. That team is so cooked.
He should have cooked, and he would have known when they had mandatory camp, and he could.
It's at the same time every year. He could have taken it 2 weeks later, a week later.
NFL calendar's already out now through next May. They put out the camp dates in March.
That's public.
There was a story on NFL.
Think about how much they know inside. They know it more than.
Well, you know it's going to be between the 10th and 20th. You know it's going to be between those dates in June. You do something at the end of June or in July. That's when you go to Egypt.
I will say, respect to Aaron for wanting to recharge, but the fact that you did it when you did it, that's the kicker. Like,
it's so ridiculous.
We want you to recharge yourself. We want you to be ready to go. We get that, but there's a time and a place. There's a time and place to do it. And the 1 week, you took a vacation is the 1 week where it's mandatory for everybody.
That's when you say, "I'll do what I want." When I want, and how I want, and be the only quarterback.
That is a loser's mentality.
I know, but he was the only one. Even Lamar went to the mandatory camp, did he? Because Lamar skipped all the other ones. But
yeah, it's just
that was a contract thing, though, wasn't it? I
no, because he signed that last year.
Oh yeah, but
he literally just missed it. He got that money last year from Baltimore, and he just like.
I thought his was contract based.
The year before is when he got the contract.
Okay, I mean, look,
this year he just flat skipped it.
There are. I mean, it's not even kidding.
That might be worse than what Aaron did.
The 3 weeks before OTAs and the 6 weeks after, any of those times are fine to go to Egypt. And Texans right, recharge. He hasn't played since week 1 last season. What the hell is he should be more.
He's had almost a full year to really recharge, right?
This is the problem. And look, and we can roll back the tape. Drew can certainly. I had said from the beginning it was a bad decision for the Jets to do this, and they shouldn't do it. And I said what they should be doing is throwing all their resources to trade for Lamar Jackson instead. That they were or just go to the draft, but they were making a bad decision. Aaron Rodgers was a bad decision in my mind, and I stand
because you got to win now.
Not like yes, but like. He also, it's not just that, like, he makes you better. And they were sick of,
he does.
And they were sick of bad quarterback play. And I understand all of that. But the problem is Aaron Rodgers holds your franchise hostage. And he does it like he's the terror. Like, he doesn't hold them hostage in a way where, like, a guy might just be like Dak Prescott, right? He kind of keeps you in limbo and you're kind of stuck trying to figure it out. It's like he enjoys it. He's like a sycophant for it. He enjoys holding it over your head. No, I won't show up to things. You can't make me. He seems to take some pride in it.
Everything goes through him.
Well, not only that, but the window is extremely small when you get a quarterback that's 40 years old. It's like, you better win now.
Just to go to Egypt?
The pressure on the organization to put the team around to win now. Because that's what happens when you get a quarterback of that caliber.
I'm not saying people shouldn't have lives. We just talked about that with Travis Kelce. Like, Patrick Mahomes is in, again, he's on a beach right now.
But Kelce still found a way to go.
Yeah, that was after mandatory minicamp, though.
Yes.
In tight end university.
I'm not saying don't have a life. I'm not saying football has to be your, not everyone's going to be Tom Brady, and just every single second is about doing this. But I'm just telling you right now, I'm glad you like the culture in Egypt. You are over 40 years old. You are worth $200 million. You have no job when this is done. You don't have to have a job for the rest of your life if you don't want to. You can go live in Egypt tomorrow. Just if you don't want to play football anymore, it's fine. You have a job, and your job, by the way, it's not even like this was a required part of your job. You are fined. You had to pay. So this vacation cost you triple what it should.
It's called mandatory for a reason.
His coach, by the way, for as much as they tried to defend Aaron Rodgers' absence, he still called it unexcused. So he didn't defend it that much, did he? I just don't understand. It makes no sense to me. Earlier in the show, Bink, we'll get back to the Royals in about 10 minutes. But earlier in the show, you had sent us a list from CBS Sports for the biggest red flags of 20 NFL contenders. And while, again, I don't think that there are 20 NFL contenders, and I think we can all agree on that, I actually think
there's teams on here that I would not say have a chance. Just like
no. I do
Seattle's
think,
one of them.
I do think the way I look at this is the Chiefs' problems are less bad than the people around them. Here's what they say are the red flags for some of the teams around the Chiefs. Bengals, they say it's Joe Burrow's health, whether or not he can stay healthy or close to 100% for the entire year after the wrist surgery. I think it's fair. For the Bills, they say the overhauled wide receiver core. Remember, no more Stephon Diggs, which means they're counting on MVS, Keon Coleman, and Curtis Samuel to get the job done this
MVS,
year.
by the way, is working out with Aaron Rodgers.
That's a massive
Honestly.
concern. For the Chargers, it's once again wide receiver. And at least, look, maybe Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnston will develop fast. And they at least have some upside. So their problems don't seem as big of a deal. The structure of the offense and whether Trevor Lawrence is going to take a step forward, Aaron Rodgers' condition for the Jets, these are just some of the teams around the Chiefs. And for the Chiefs, they list the corners. Do they have enough cornerback talent in order to do it? And I'll just be honest, if that's your single biggest red flag, that's like the guy who cares too much about his mom. It's like, he takes care of his mom a little bit too much. You're like, is that all that bad? It's like if you're dating somebody, you're like, is that the worst thing they could be? If they got a lot of red flags, is they like their mom a lot. That doesn't seem all that bad comparative to the rest of their peers. The Chiefs are still in. They have less flexibility from floor to ceiling than any other team in the AFC still. Doesn't mean they're definitively going to win their third Super Bowl, but the other teams around them got to their problems faster than the Chiefs did somehow while they were actively winning Super Bowls.
And the funny thing about it is, I think the roster this year is better than last year. I think this is the best roster.
Well, now that I know what Kadarius Toney,
it's
it's pretty close. I mean, they still have an elite level defense.
You had Hollywood Brown to it at Xavier Worthy. Yes, you might be missing Rice. Yes, Snead's not on the team. But I think this roster is actually better than it was a season ago.
How much better?
You brought back the defensive line.
I mean,
you brought back
you're
everybody else.
You're probably not wrong.
I actually think
Still
this
really
roster,
good at
top to
linebacker.
bottom, is
I would
better
say
than a year
slightly
ago.
better.
Yeah, I think it
It's
might
hard
be
to
the
do.
same.
It's hard to do in this landscape to be a better roster.
Yeah, I would say it's close.
I think the draft picks are going to help this team. I think that Jared Wiley's better than Blake Bell. At this point, he's gone. I just think they got better on. Yes, Allegretti's going to be a big miss, a guy like that. But you're counting on Hunter Norzad being that guy. Left tackle, wait, you were without Donovan Smith for 4 games.
That to me
Ronnie
is the
Moore
real
started.
question because you know what it is? I'll never be able to shake offensive line concerns for Mahomes when there are real question marks about it. When I watch that Tampa Bay Super Bowl, there is only so much you can do to completely save yourself. I've said before, and I think this is fair, Mahomes is better at sack avoidance and covering up mediocre offensive line play than just about any quarterback in the NFL. Rodgers used to be also very good at that in his younger years too. Mahomes hides some things. He protects some players. I thought he made Orlando Brown Jr. look better than he was. I thought he made Donovan Smith look better than he is because of the way his avoidance techniques work and the job that he does. But there is still, and we know this because we watched the game with this, there's a breaking point of that bank. There's a breaking point of an offensive line where you can no longer hide it. Like you can't protect it anymore. You can't. And I still think wide receiver is probably a bit of a question mark. I don't think that's unfair.
I think it's
wouldn't
better
put
than
that
last year, though.
Is it a bigger question mark than the Bills or the Chargers? Because I would still say no than that. They have more established because Travis Kelce. They have more established wide receiver
Rice
or
had a hell of a
receiving group
year.
help than that.
It's
Rice
not
had
a
a hell of a
bigger
rookie
question
year.
mark. Yeah, it's not a bigger question.
Hollywood Brown adds stability. Oh, no. Oh, no. Just guess what? I'm not going to do it now because it's Red Half Hour.
What?
The Big 12 Media preseason football poll is officially out.
Oh, man. Okay,
I'll
we're going
bring
to
it up
get to it on
later.
the other side of the
You
break.
think Kansas State's last again?
Stay tuned.
Real quick, I want to, before we wrap up the Chiefs Red Half Hour, I think the Chargers are in a worse spot than the Bills are. And I know that.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
No. First of all, the coaching is much better.
Oh, I know. I don't
The quarterback play is slightly better.
I'm talking about the room. The room.
The wide receiver.
You know,
wide receiver room.
Ladd McConkey, you lose Williams and you lose Keenan Allen. Ladd McConkey looks good, and Quentin Johnson, for everything I've heard, the drop problem has dissipated since last year. It's much more focus on that.
Yeah, but it's more of an unknown, though, I think, than where you have the Bills' room is got guys that have been more productive, where the Chargers, you're hoping that Johnston can improve. I think Ladd McConkey is the real deal, but we still don't know that because he's a rookie. Quentin, we'll see how good Johnston is. We'll just see.
I think the scheme, the leadership.
But Keon
is
Coleman,
much
I think,
different.
is the real deal. If you take out the two rookies, the Bills have a more, as bad as MVS was, he's better than Quentin Johnston, or they equal each other out at least.
Last year, Quentin Johnston was better, but yeah, they're not.
And if you put Shakir in there, Shakir better than anybody else in that wide receiver room for the Chargers. I think the Bills have a more solidified room. They have a lot of questions, but the Chargers are in a worse spot with the room.
Losing Stephon Diggs hurt them.
Or they have more questions with the room, yes.
When we come back, as Binkley said, the Big 12 media.
Look, Drew, look, it's out.
I haven't seen it yet.
Preseason poll is out. And seeing how I got Jay Binkley, one of the biggest college football fans I've ever met, and the host of a college football podcast on the show today, I think we'll get into that next.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
There is a back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and it is the Kansas City Chiefs.
On your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold, and our friends at Centric are offering one lucky listener an exclusive $5,000 scholarship.
If you apply by July 19th, you'll be entered for a chance to win that scholarship to cover a portion of the tuition. Don't like your job and want one that offers more growth and money? Talk to Centric and start a career in tech.
Centric's next in-person online and flex cybersecurity programs start at the end of July to help you make a change now. Go to Centric.com, fill out a form, and tell them that Gold and I sent you, and Russ will talk you through everything.
While you are celebrating the 4th of July with friends and family, or grilling for one, go to your local grocer and pick up bottles of Gates sauces and seasonings and experience that flavor explosion found only in Gates products. Or maybe you would rather pick up a couple slabs of ribs or a party tray for the park. Gates' 5 locations are open and ready to serve whichever you choose. Or you can purchase online at GatesBBQ.com. Make Gates a part of your 4th of July. Gates Barbecue is a Kansas City tradition.
So the body knows that it needs to heal itself, but it doesn't know how to concentrate it and target it into just one area. So that's where we come in.
By we, Dr. Ashley Caravelli means the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, QC Kinetics.
We put in those treatments, then it sends out like little signalers to your body. We're able to make the body focus on the areas that need the most healing.
QC Kinetics has gathered brilliant medical minds like Dr. Caravelli and Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, a pioneer in the field of regenerative medicine, to lead the way in these innovative pain treatments.
So at QC Kinetics, we have a whole team working nationwide with cutting-edge research to reach our patients and treat them and know that surgery is no longer their only option.
The consultation is free. Find out if you're a candidate. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
What makes for a great vacation? Depends on who you ask. Are you looking to get away or bring everyone together? Do you want to get outside and play or see a play at the plate? Fortunately, however you operate, I'm the destination you've been looking for. The name's Missouri, but you can call me Mo. And I have just one question. What's your MO? Come see me at visitmo.com.
Hey, it's Clang. 4th of July to us means getting together with friends and family and eating. And basically, I could just hit Hy-Vee for my entire 4th of July celebration. Party trays, wings, fresh dips, chips, holiday-themed baked goods, grilling favorites like prime reserve steaks, chicken, ribs, and Hy-Vee's famous specialty brats. I'm telling you, go try the pineapple brat. Choose from dozens of amazing sides: potato salad, pasta salad, baked beans, slaw, firecracker corn on the cob. And again, don't forget those dips like the street corn dip to dip the chips in. Don't forget the wine and spirits department. Hy-Vee with a huge selection of wine, craft beer, seltzers, and spirits in stock and always 10% off when you mix and match 6 or more bottles. All of your paper and party goods can be found at Hy-Vee. Head by the bakery department. Get your chocolate chip cookies, your brownies, and your 4th of July themed cookies. Hy-Vee is your one-stop shop for your 4th of July celebration. Do what I do. Spend less time planning, more time hanging. Thanks to my friends from Hy-Vee.
Have we been tricked, burdened with debt, and made to feel like we have no other options? And with prices skyrocketing all over the country, credit card debt, medical bills, and other unsecured debt that were once manageable now feel impossible to pay back. So how do we fix it? With accredited debt relief, you can consolidate your debt into one affordable monthly payment, which could save you hundreds of dollars a month. No matter if you have $25,000, $50,000, or even $100,000 of debt, a debt specialist can create a personalized plan customized to your budget. Accredited Debt Relief has helped over 300,000 Americans to get out of over $1 billion of debt. And you could be next. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of 5-star reviews, Accredited Debt Relief is committed to helping those who feel tricked get out of the never-ending cycle of debt. Call 866-491-0944 to start your free consultation today. That's 866-491-0944. 866-491-0944. Program and services not available in all states.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. The all-new 249 Miles of Football podcast, hosted by Drew Nixon, with new episodes released every Wednesday, is available now on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. 610 Sports Radio, KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, and Odyssey Sports Station. What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
We'll get to the Big 12 media preseason poll in just a minute. So number one on What's Trending, Royals back in action tonight. They were off yesterday to start their series against the Rays. It'll be Brady Singer on the mound. A little bit of rain maybe in the forecast. I've looked at a couple of different sites. It varies a little bit. So we'll see whether or not that plays a factor in tonight's game. But the Royals will start that series tonight. Winners of 5 of their last 7. Bing.
I'm seeing a hell of a lot of rain, but that means it's not going to rain.
Yeah.
It's like yesterday morning.
Yesterday,
we got a typhoon. Looking forward to it. They were 3-4 against the Rays the last 2 years. The Royals were.
Yeah.
Played them well.
It's a good team, playing really well, by the way.
Team.
They've won 8 of their last 11, I think.
Yeah, and a team, looking for that wild card. This is a team right in front of them. It's an important series for Tampa. If I'm in Tampa doing radio right now, I'm saying, hey, man, you got to win this Royal Series.
Yeah, and that's what makes it important for the Royals. Keep the teams who are below you, below you.
Keep them below you. 5-star tight end Lincoln Cure commits to Kansas State. Highest ranked prospect in program history. Keeping the in-state, shutting the borders, keeping them from Lance Leipold. This is a kid from Goodland, Kansas. 5-star tight end.
I guess this has been a bit of a done deal for the last couple of months.
Yeah,
Everyone thought he was going to go to K-State. And it depends on which site you're on, but a 5-star prospect is a 5-star commit.
5-star, man.
KU or in Oregon as well? They beat out Oregon?
Reportedly, yeah, and A&M and some other big boy
but
programs.
But you shut the borders down. That's the important thing. You're keeping a Kansas kid in Kansas because there's not a ton of, relatively limited 5-star prospects coming out of Kansas.
Yeah, I mean, that's at least some part of it.
In my opinion, our 2 best players ever, Barry Sanders and then Darren Sproles. Of course, you got Riggins and guys like that there, but I think Darren Sproles.
Can I include basketball? Michael Beasley. Next up on What's Trending, we can talk more about K-State here in a minute, along with Kansas in the Big 12 media poll. Next up on What's Trending, the U.S. men's national team eliminated from Copa America tournament last night after their loss to Uruguay. Even if they had gotten the tie on the missed offsides call, it wouldn't have been enough, as Panama went on to beat Bolivia. But a really frustrating loss. First time, I think they said, in 19 or 20 years that they've been eliminated in the group stage of the Copa America tournament. This is a team that is currently ranked in FIFA and will be lower. 11th in the world. They did not look like it at any point during this tournament.
14th, something like that?
Now, 14th. And now a lot of people are wondering whether or not Berhalter is going to be safe moving forward. Not Rick Burkhalter. He's fine.
Not the Chiefs trainer.
Berhalter is going to be safe for America moving forward. We'll see over the next couple of weeks, as probably if they're going to make a change with 2 years before the World Cup, probably make a change soon.
Is Lexi Lawless paraphrasing what he said? If you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
Yeah, that's
You're on that treadmill and you're spinning around and you're not going forward.
Bingo.
Big difference. Gavin Cross, Ben
Kuderna.
Kuderna. You wrote this out and you put phonetic spelling.
I know.
It's Kuderna.
Kuderna. I can't really say.
He's a local kid, Blue Valley Southwest. Isn't it Blue Valley Southwest? I think it is.
Mm-hmm. And Gavin Cross.
Named for the Futures game for the Royals.
Yeah.
That's
a look.
The Futures game in Kansas City. I brought that up. That's a very eerie 2012 All-Star game Futures game that they had in Kansas City.
Look, when you go back,
games.
you go back through the list. Guys who go to the Futures games, it's not all that uncommon. They end up at big league players. Gavin Cross had a nice year. He's a lot closer than Kuderna, Kuderna.
So you should have wrote that on
in
here.
high A ball.
Kuderna.
Yeah, whatever. It was currently. I'll try to get it right by the time he gets to the bigs. Who's currently in high A ball? But that's a really good accomplishment for him. It says a lot about what the people in baseball think about him. The fact that both guys are there. That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Don't forget, our college football video game tournament is coming up on July 23rd. Your chance to get registered for one of 24 spots in said tournament coming up next week, July 8th through 12th, right here on 610 Sports Radio. Must be listening to qualify. We'll have spots on all 3 shows. Winner will get a game console of your choice, Kansas State and MU tickets, and a college football jersey of your choice from Rally House. So doesn't matter which team you support. Rally's going to get you hooked up. And honestly, wearing the jersey, you have the game, you'll have the console, you'll be all set.
And Drew,
you can be playing college football on your new system in your new jersey, all ready to rock.
I told you I have an
like?
attitude problem. I have a discipline problem when it comes to these things.
Play too much.
What if you draw me in the first round and you know that if
I'm assuming you're not
going to
put
loser,
us against each other in the first round.
Wait, hold on.
I'm going to turn into a bad loser, and you know that.
He's going to punch you. He's going to fly to Florida
Drew?
to hit you with a hammer like yesterday.
If we're playing, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to be over to the side or whatever as I'm kneeling
at a swing distance.
Yeah, because I probably wouldn't catch you with my current state. All you need to do is just walk fast.
What's your upper body strength?
Yeah, I go pretty slow right now.
Are you really going to get mad if you lose?
I don't like to lose.
I'll be respectful because it's a station event and all that, and But if we were playing at home, I would totally kick your ass.
I'm gonna get annoyed, Drew. I think my general demeanor. I'm usually pretty chill or like whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think people expect me to be competitive.
You are very competitive.
I've never seen you not be
competitive
ever.
I like to win.
Just take it.
I'm just gonna say I don't have I'm not really good in the don't take this to 100 in a competition.
Everything we've ever done, you've done.
I like to win.
The combine used to do extremely well.
Yeah,
Cody and I are so
it,
competitive.
I did.
If you missed it on our social media channel when we were at the Royals game for the MacArthur game, we
crashed into a wall.
We raced, and
it might have been a dead tie.
It might have been a dead tie. My legs just gave out on me, and I fell and skinned up my knee and my foot pretty bad.
Cody's extremely nice, but extremely competitive. Just like when we play poker and it comes down, and just you and I are left in it, like everybody is folded, and you and I, it's like, I don't know.
I like to win that too.
I don't know how to read you, man. Like you're the one guy I can't read because it's like, all right, Cody's still in this. Cody's a nice guy, but yet he's competitive as hell.
Drew, do you play poker? Do you want to come to the next poker night at the house?
You gotta have this cheese. I'm not kidding.
He really likes the cheese.
Evidently, I should come for the cheese, not for the poker.
I'm bringing a straw next time.
Not a poker guy?
No, I'm not. I don't know enough about it. Never cared enough about it to get into it.
Come then.
You want me to be there?
Bring your cash
for the cheese.
Yeah. No, I want you to come and lose your money.
I'm not
having a guy like you at the table is perfect.
If I were to show up, I would probably just show up for some food and hang out for a little bit, and then I would
leave.
I would dip out.
Not play
probably.
games.
I don't think so.
No pun intended.
All right, we mentioned it before. We mentioned it before the break, but the Big 12 media preseason poll is out.
Yep. Media days next week.
And we got to discuss it. You know what? As a matter of fact, I'm going to do you both a favor. You both love college football so much. We have somebody who needs to pick up something for the garage show.
I knew you were going to say this.
Normally, I would send Drew because you and I could talk for a minute and get in there. But because you guys love college football so much, please, I will go down and bring him his stuff. Okay. You guys begin the discussion on what took place in the media poll.
All right, Drew. As we know, the Big 12 is doing their media days. Now, they're not doing it during All-Star break, which is the wrong thing to do because the SEC does that, and they dominate the headlines. But the one thing we're used to seeing, Drew, when these come out, is Kansas State hovering 6th or 7th, something like that. They just get no respect. Man, it seems to bode well for them. Utah and Cam Rising, the quarterbacks, come back for his 5th year, had a shoulder injury last year, missed that time. He's a great quarterback. Kyle Whittingham's a great coach. Matter of fact, his kid's on the Chiefs staff, by the way, and been here for quite a while, Kyle Whittingham's kid. Utah, 21st place votes. That would not have been the direction I went. Kansas State is second with 19 first-place votes. Oklahoma State garnered 14 first-place votes, and I like Oklahoma State a lot. Ollie Gordon, Bowman's coming back for his 15th year. It's going to be great. Kansas, 5 first-place votes. At number 4, Arizona with 3 first place with 3. And I won't be specific and go through all of them here, but Colorado is 11th, and that's the team that gave the 9th best
Shout out to the
offense.
87th rank, the 87 overall Colorado Buffaloes.
No question about it. But K-State would have been my choice to win the Big 12 had I voted this, which I didn't.
Man,
and I have in the past, but I would.
I think K-State would end up being my vote, yes, but
Ben Sennett's a big loss for him, but that backfield, man.
Yeah, the backfield's good. I think Avery Johnson
is a home run threat every time he touches the ball.
Yeah, Avery Johnson is that guy that can really break open defenses with how good he is. I think KU is a little bit undervalued here, and the reason why is the schedule more than anything else. Again, that doesn't mean they're going to win. I think that they've got a better shot of being in, and again, I didn't say of necessarily winning the Big 12, but they've got the best shot at being in the Big 12 title game because the schedule is so lax for them. Again, there is a caveat, of course, and that's can Jalen Daniels stay healthy? You don't have Jason Bean behind you. It's time to come and save the day.
That's the issue because last year was like, you can play this week? Nah, it's
if
he gloves on him.
To give you the toughest games that
Did you already deliver that? Yeah, because we're still chatting.
The toughest games that they have,
I'm back.
The toughest games that they have, Bank. They have West Virginia on the road. They've got Kansas State on the road,
which is a good team because West Virginia won 5 of the last 6 games last year, won their bowl game, but that's one of my sleepers.
And their third toughest game is maybe Iowa State. That's probably it. But there's a legitimate shot for them to go 9-3, and I think 9-3 might get you in this conference. 9-3 might get you into the title game. That doesn't mean that they're the better team because again, I think K-State. I would vote for them to be the better team overall, but they play Oklahoma State. They play Arizona. They play Tulane on the road in non-con. They play at West Virginia. They play at Iowa State. I mean, their schedule is tougher than KU's is. So while K-State might be the more talented team, I think that there's a legitimate reason and an argument for KU to be in and maybe win the Big 12 title game because of the schedule, factoring in. I think that West Virginia, you mentioned them, 7, a little bit undervalued there. I'm surprised that with how well they finished, and returning the guys that they do, Neil Brown's doing a really nice job.
Sure.
I thought that they might be a little bit higher on the list. I think Utah makes a lot of sense because Cam Rising's back, and Kyle Whittingham has been so freaking good as a head coach. It's weird, too. The Big 12, if you look at the coaches in this conference, you can make a case that if they were at better programs, they would be higher ranked on a lot of people's totem pole, whether that be Leipold, whether it be Chris Kleiman, whether it be Kyle Whittingham, even Mike Gundy.
They've done a really good job with it.
Been at Oklahoma State for a long time. There's been a lot of really good years. There's been some bad ones, but the coaching in the conference, Matt Campbell was a hot name. Brent Brennan just getting the job at Arizona. And no, Arizona is not a non-con for K-State this year. Arizona is in the Big 12.
You lose your coach. Is there one team on here though? Is there one team on here and you say they're disrespected?
Texas Tech in West Virginia, I think.
See, West Virginia for sure, but there's another team on here, UCF. This is a team that KJ Jefferson transfers, good quarterback at Arkansas, transferred to UCF this year, so he'll be down there this year. One of those guys who jumped in the puddle. But UCF was the second best offense in the Big 12 last year. The only team better than them was Oklahoma. It's almost 500 yards a game they average. Great offense, like the head coach. UCF, I think, is the team getting slided.
So someone did mention, and I think this is a good point, I brought it up in the podcast a couple weeks ago, is why is no one talking about KU not having a true home venue? I think that factors into their final standing. I think it does, but it would factor into it more if they played Oklahoma State or Utah and it was at Arrowhead. That would factor in a little bit more than them playing against Colorado. I mean, the Colorado game will be packed, but it factors in more against them if they play Oklahoma State or Arizona or somebody other than rather than Colorado or TCU or Houston, where they're supposed to win those games anyways. It's not that big of a deal.
Text line's asking, and I do think it's a fair question as it comes to Kansas because, the part of it is, I think K-State is I would have voted K-State as the number 1 team in the conference. I don't think voting Utah is crazy. The Kansas thing is difficult for 2 things. One, Daniels, right? We just don't know. So you're just taking a guess. Does he stay healthy? Well, then they can win the conference. Does he not? Well, then they can't. Problem solved. But also, nobody else thinks it's weird that they're just going to play at Arrowhead for the entire season? That might not impact something.
Yeah.
They're not even going to be in their building. it throws off like the normalcy of the season. I feel like that has to factor in some
I will say this though: that Arizona Kansas State game, Arizona kept their non-conference. So even though they're in the same conference,
they kept this a non-conference game.
It's considered non-conference. Even
So
though
they're playing like essentially an extra conference game,
which I hate. I mean,
That
you're in
makes
the
no
conference
sense.
play, but it's considered a non-conference because it was scheduled.
Are they allowed to do that?
They are. That's what they're doing.
Hang on. So that means. So does that mean they
In 2024 and 25, K-State and Arizona to keep non-conference schedules.
And the reason why that might be a little bit unfair, I'll be honest. If K-State would be 6-2. Say they lose to Arizona, but it doesn't count as a non-con game, so they're 6-1.
I know.
Percentage-wise,
Gene Taylor, their AD,
but they lost a team in the conference.
Percentage-wise, K-State gets the nod. Then
welcome to realignment. I don't know what to tell you. Like that's just reality. It's technically not a conference game because the conference games are scheduled.
Thank you for the text line who brought that up. But that's it. I would have a little bit of a gripe if it comes down to that point where K-State say they get into the title game because they're non-con.
They would have played an extra conference game though. You know.
Well, no.
Everyone else's record hypothetically, I think, right?
Say Utah makes it, but Utah's 6-2, and KU's got a 6-2 record as well. K-State's got a 6-1 record. K-State is is jumping both of them in the standings then
Big
because
12 had a hell of a time figuring out their champion last year. Remember?
I know, but I'm saying
this year when you got non-conference,
they've had a problem the second
I'll
they
be
said one
honest,
true champion.
There might be a little bit of controversy if because K-State does not play Utah. K-State plays KU. So let's say K-State beats KU. They're in there. Or let's say, KU beats Kansas State. So KU is in.
No, they play 9. This is the point I was making. They play 9 conference games, Drew, not 8.
K-State plays 9.
No,
you're saying.
Yeah, like the way, because of the non-con game, K-State plays 9 conference games.
They're covering to make it 8.
So like the 8 games that count are the 8 games that count. Arizona's a non-conference game, essentially.
Which is ridiculous.
They'll still have the same number of, it's stupid. I don't disagree with you.
I'll be honest.
What are you going to do for tiebreaker? Like if there's a tiebreaker situation, obviously you go that, but it's a non-conference game.
This also might be another reason why it might be another reason why K-State also is not likely to make the game because they have to do that extra conference game. If anything, it makes their case better a little bit.
This isn't this year; it's 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of what factors in is the scheduling aspect. I know, like Jalen Daniels, you bring up a good point, Cody. That's the ultimate thing for KU.
Biggest swing.
If Jalen Daniels is healthy, I think KU is in the Big 12 title game. I might go as far as to say that now because the schedule is so light for them.
I think if you told me he was going to play every game, I think that might be the college football playoff.
If he is in there every game, and that's why ESPN's FPI has KU favored to win the conference.
Yep.
The schedule is so light for them. If we know going in everybody's healthy, KU has the schedule and the talent to get the job, and the head coach to get the job done.
Someone says K-State plays. Everyone plays 9. K-State technically plays 10. So it's like
people keep saying it's a non-con game. Isn't that what I've been saying for like the last 5 minutes?
That makes it tougher because if you look at the K-State's 2 non-con games, they play UT Martin, that's a win, and then they play at Tulane. Tulane's no joke.
They've been a top 25 team.
They've been a top 25 team. John Summerall comes over from Troy. Really, really good head coach. That's a little bit of a tricky game there. It makes it harder for K-State where maybe if they get through the gauntlet, they find themselves in a position. I don't, to make for this argument as well, this conversation, I don't know if K-State, or I don't know if the loser of or anybody else in the conference makes the college football playoff. There's nobody on the outside. Whoever, I think there's one team that makes the playoff, and that is who wins the Big 12. I don't know if there's anybody else because the conference is so tight and so competitive, they're just going to knock each other up. And I don't think a 9-3 Big 12 team is going to jump a 9-3 SEC team, even though the conference is more competitive because the SEC and Big 10, given how tough those conferences are always going to get that nod.
The only other thing that stands out in this poll is that the media does not like Colorado, not like the NCAA football game, and not like the odds makers. I think they're just tired of the
mock
attention.
drafts like them too.
Look, if you're other media members who cover other teams, of course you're going to bag on Colorado. Of course that's going to be the team you bury further into the conference. Of course it is. And also, I'll be honest, the media poll has not been historically accurate for the Big 12. They chose K-State to finish second to last like 2 years ago in a year in which they won the Big 12. So, I'll take it with a grain of salt, certainly, when I look through their list and decide which.
They are always disrespecting K-State. This year, we're just one vote away from winning the conference.
Really, really, really close. Makes sense, at least on that end. Not surprising, at least there, that would be the case.
Last year, it was Texas selected the top of it, which They selected, it was Texas, K-State, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, TCU last year was the top 5.
Meanwhile, the Royals back in action today against the Rays. We'd mentioned it earlier. And Brady Singer goes on the mound tonight. Bink, I had told you earlier, and I had mentioned it to Vern when he joined the show last week. I think Brady Singer has been, honest to God, the least heralded player of most importance for the Royals. We know the guys who've been important for the Royals. Not a mystery. We've talked a lot about Lugo and Bobby Witt Jr. and Cole Reagans and Salvador Perez. Earlier today, we talked about Vinny Pasquantino. We have talked about the important players for this team. Hell, we got out there for our guy, General MacArthur, for the save stuff. Brady Singer has been incredibly important to this team's current record and where they stand. And I feel like it's gone a little unnoticed. More of the conversation I hear around Singer is like, well, is he going to be here around long term? And I think they go back to last year when Singer struggled, and they forget about just how good he's been. Having a number 3 starter who is performing at this level in your rotation
and homegrown
is what speaks to your depth. Yeah, and he cost you nothing. He makes like $900,000 this year. So essentially a free starter in your rotation performing at this level should not go unnoticed. Brady Singer has probably been the least appreciated, I think, of the important players for the Royals this year.
I agree with you. It's like his attitude, the way he's going, but embrace what you have. Embrace what's great. That's why when I always look at the Chiefs, it's like, you have Mahomes. This is going to be the best quarterback you ever have. Built a team around him, give him receivers, give him weapons. It's going to be the best quarterback this franchise ever has. HTH, the bullpen was elite. That was the elite opponent with the Kansas City Royals. And they paid the bullpen. And other guys started getting paid around the league because they were 7th, 8th, 9th inning guys. Mm-hmm. And they credited the Royals for doing it. This pitching staff right now, this is the key cog to what this team is outside of Bobby Witt Jr. We like Vinny and all that, but this pitching staff is the reason why they're sitting where they're at. Because you can withstand, hitting slumps and everything. If you're pitching well, you can break long losing streaks by going out and just pitching well and pitching dominant. But this is what this team is. Homegrown guy and Brady Singer. He always brings that attitude. He's feisty, 100%.
The rotation is a really good mix because Seth Lugo was the free agent, mid-tier free agent who was pitching, way better than he's ever pitched at any point in his entire career. So you unlocked it, or you saw right before he was about to unlock it. Cole Reagan's the trade, okay. Get after the part-time reliever in Aroldis Chapman, flip him for a trade. So you got, all right, 1 free agent, 1 trade. Homegrown guys, Brady Singer and Alec Marsh holding things down. And then I call it the cheaper free agent pitcher. So you've got 2 homegrown guys, 2 free agents, and 1 guy you got via the trade. To me, that's how most rotations in a small market that work are probably built. Odds are, unless you're the Rays and you've got it all figured out, you're not rolling through 5 guys that you built through your system and going to do it, especially where the Royals were starting rotation-wise. Singer's just become an incredibly important player for this, and it's why I want this team to kind of go for it in the trade market at the break. It's not just because I miss winning baseball and I miss playoff baseball in Kansas City, because I do, but because I think Brady Singer is the perfect example of why this team could make a playoff run if they get there. Their rotation of we throw Reagans at you, we throw Lugo at you, and then just when you're getting to the weak part of your rotation, we're throwing you Brady Singer, and we're going to really challenge you. I think that is stronger than most teams' 3, especially when he's on. And so there's just this flexibility that if the team could actually just get to the postseason, and they're in a spot right now, that can maintain where they are, Bink, and actually get there. It's why I have so much hope for this team of just making another sneaky 2014 run where they're not supposed to be the team, Bink, who does it, and they could have easily lost the wild card game and whimpered quietly into the night, but the pitching this year in particular could carry him.
Especially when you go into this playoff series, like you're saying, you're game 3, you're throwing out Brady Singer in the series. His development, what he's doing, he continues to be good. Yes, he took a step back last year. A million different reasons might have happened with that. But that's like his potential and what he does. And not only that, this guy's become a team leader on this team as well from that pitching staff standpoint.
Yeah, most of these
when
guys,
he's out there, he brings it.
Their whole pitching
meeting
meeting thing is really funny.
Well, yeah, it is.
Great.
But you know what you're getting from this guy.
Yeah.
That's why I hope it doesn't rain tonight because he gets really pissed when it rains. So we'll see what happens tonight. But, homegrown guy like a Brady Singer. But know what you got, who you got, when you got, and know your window. You got it. Window's still open with great pitching, starting pitching.
Have you changed your mind on the bullpen? You still want a bullpen arm or an outfielder? Like if you get to choose what to trade for.
I I'd say dominant bullpen at this point because they've been so high in the pitching. Renfro's starting to
They got
come around.
Bubic. You know, he's going to go to the
Melendez
pen.
turns it around. Renfro's starting to turn it around a little bit.
Renfro's been fine.
Yeah,
and he's on a multi-year deal, so I'll just.
And they're scoring runs. You know, lately it's been the offensive slump, but we know they're capable of doing it.
No, I sang a song, so it's fine.
Song, yeah.
4 games post, they're scoring 5 runs a game. 10 games before, 2.1. So problem solved, Bink. I don't know what they're getting tonight, but at least that. And Vern has asked me to be on pregame tonight, so.
You've been asked.
So
I'm Sunday guy every Sunday.
Every Sunday?
Every Sunday.
Locked in?
Locked in last 2 years. Sunday guy.
That's nice. That's a nice
You
day
can have your
for you.
song to go. Your
You
butt
know,
song?
I tried to see how it would work in there, and I do think it works.
Really?
I had to
Good.
just like sing over the top and be like, "What will this sound? You know, how
that
does
bump,
this
bump
sound?"
was really creative.
I think if I could just
That was
get
what
like,
you were doing in there. I thought you were recording a commercial.
no,
potentially.
I just wanted to see does it work. You know,
You got to test it, man.
that's so. Again, my
the
system,
flow.
my system for songwriting is inspiration, then listening to the song a bunch typically to make sure that it works. I don't have that option to me like I normally would. Sing the song a bunch to make sure it works, and then I do like a trial run. Like, does it actually work? In my head, it works, but over the speaker, does it work? That's I've got a process.
And will it work for multiple home run game?
I mean, I think it's going to work for at least a 1 home run game. We'll talk about Bobby Wood Jr.
Are you really going to call Bobby Wood home run tonight?
When we come back, I'll tell you why
gonna see
you
the
shouldn't
odds
worry
are.
about Bobby Wood Jr. home runs so far this season.
Hey, it's Vinny Pasquantino. Don't forget to follow Cody and Gold on the Odyssey app so you can listen on demand to my terrific football takes throughout the year right here on 610 Sports Radio.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold, and our friends at Centric are offering one lucky listener an exclusive $5,000 scholarship.
If you apply by July 19th, you'll be entered for a chance to win that scholarship to cover a portion of the tuition. Don't like your job and want one that offers more growth and money? Talk to Centric and start a career in tech.
Centric's next in-person online and flex cybersecurity programs start at the end of July to help you make a change now. Go to Centric.com, fill out a form, and tell them that Gold and I sent you, and Russ will talk you through everything.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
It's the 4th of July sale at Midwest Marine Boats. Become a boater and get a free Yeti cooler or Old Town kayak, plus $1,000 in in-store credit free with your new boat, and no payments for 90 days. Midwest Marine Boats has the best brands, including Bennington, Crown Line, Sea Arc, and Vexus. But hurry, the special offer ends on July 4th. Get out to Midwest Marine Boats in Grandview at 13800 South Highway 71. Midwest Marine Boats. We take pride in your fun.
Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about Dan Dan the Wedding Man. Why rent a suit or tux when you could buy one from Dan Dan? Only $250 gets you a custom tailor suit or tux. And as always, Dan Dan has free alterations for life. It's the day your partner will remember for a lifetime, and it's a suit you can use for a lifetime. Best day, best look with Dan Dan the Wedding Man at 97th and Quivira. Online at dandantheweddingman.com or call 541-1192.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And we cut to size, because just like taxes and BS, we think metal is better when cut. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Find a store or shop online at metalsupermarkets.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Sounds like you heard about a July 4th sale. It's a great chance to red, white, and do that job you've been putting off. Like an oil change with full synthetic motor oil. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum with an STP extended life oil filter for just $34.99. Save on oil, wash and wax, and more this weekend at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-973-7809 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-973-7809. That's 800-973-7809. What do you have to lose? Call 800-973-7809. Again, 800-973-7809.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
People talk about trailblazing, but how do you really blaze a trail? With all-terrain tires, tubular roof rack, a lifted suspension, and a rugged build that craves adventure. This is the Off-Road Unlocked. Find your path in the Nissan Pathfinder Rock Creek.
That dong, da dong, dong, dong. That's what we're going to do. Just isolate that so I can send it in with my pick later, if you don't mind, Drew.
He's got to dump like a trunk.
Bobby's dong, da dong, dong, dong.
But,
man. Bobby, don't need to.
Don't bunt.
Just isolate that little part there for me, Drew, if you will. That way I can include it in my pick, you know. Can't wait, man. Can't wait. Bobby Jr. is going to hit a homer tonight, and then we're all going to feel
Well, let's talk about this for a second. I hate to inform people, but I have looked at the weather.
Okay.
Because I do like looking at the weather. Now, you can't always rely on it.
By the way, what age does that kick in? I just want to know so that I'm prepared for when I get older.
About 40, actually. It started with me. But weather, here we go. All right, so if you just want to go away, weather.com.
I turned 40 this year.
A lot of times they're wrong. 5 o'clock, partly cloudy, 13% chance of rain. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Vern comes on at 6. Scattered thunderstorm, 50% chance of rain. 7 o'clock, thunderstorms, 83% chance of rain. We're not talking 40% chance. We're not talking 35% chance. We're talking 83% chance, Code Man. 8 o'clock,
big percentage.
80% chance of thunderstorms. 9 o'clock, 73% chance.
Should we reach out to an actual meteorologist? I got a couple of numbers. Do we need like a...
Yes.
Because, these weather apps, I'll just tell you, like, whatever app Gold uses for his weather, we consistently get different answers for how much rain to expect this evening. So, for instance, the one I typically use, if I'm like, all right, what are we going to do? We're going out tonight. We don't want to get too wet. What does the weather say tonight? Mine says 47% chance at 6, 40% chance at 7, 50% chance at 8, and then 70% once 9 o'clock hits.
I'm going by weather.com.
But it doesn't, I don't go to weather.com.
I was using that one.
Well, that's not the one I use.
Here's what my weather app says.
Mine says less bad than yours.
6 o'clock, 57% chance. 7 o'clock, 79% chance. 8 o'clock, 70% chance. 9 o'clock, 73% chance.
Sounds dicey.
Well, that's what my app said.
Sounds dicey. I'm not going to lie. But I'm still on pregame, and I still have to make a bet. The game gets canceled. The game gets canceled, and I'll go tomorrow. Vern, if you're listening, I'll go tomorrow. And we'll do the exact same thing if that's the time. So
Just replay it.
Yeah, I'll just play the same.
Put it on loop.
My bet won't change. So, whichever it needs to make you feel better about it. But look, Bobby Witt Jr., I think, is an important case study in you're focused on the wrong thing. I've had no short of 5 people in the last 2 weeks come and tell me, hey, do you think Bobby needs to hit more home runs, or why isn't he hitting more home runs? I thought he was going to be. I think one time J.J. Piccolo on this show said that Bobby Witt Jr. had 40 or 50 home run potential, right? So, where is it? Where are the 40 home runs? He only has 12. Last year on July 1st, which is a day later, July 2nd, it was the same. He didn't home run that day either. Exactly 1 year ago today, Bobby Witt Jr. had 12 home runs.
It ended up with
30.
Yeah.
And so what the answer is maybe this isn't the year that he hits 40. Maybe that comes later in his career. I actually think what's happening with Bobby Witt Jr. is he is in the Carlos Beltran early stage of his career. And I'll tell you right now, the way that this works is Carlos Beltran, in the early part of his career, didn't hit a lot of homers either. And then his agent told him one day, hey, Carlos, real quick, before you hit the free agency market and you want to get a bunch of money, you need to slug some dingers. And he was of such talent that was not a problem for him. I think what's happening right now is Bobby doesn't have to hit homers, Binkley. He just needs to take it the other way and get on base. The man leads the league in triples and is 4th in all of Major League Baseball in extra base hits. He doesn't need to hit the ball over the fence right now, so he's not gonna. And I know that sounds silly, but I'm just telling you right now, I think Bobby Witt Jr. has enough talent that if he wanted to hit 45 home runs and drop his average and drop his on-base percentage a little bit, the man has more than enough talent to do it. I'm also here to tell you, I think he's going to finish with 30 home runs, and that you shouldn't be worried about the home runs of a player who is one of the 5 best players in the entire sport doing things exactly the way he does it.
In extra base hits, 4th, in Major League Baseball now in stolen bases. He gets on base, going to get great defense out of Bobby Witt. He's his guy. Now, do I think he's got that potential? Yeah. It's not like Ichiro. They always said Ichiro could hit 20 home runs if he tried, 25 home runs if he tried, but he didn't try.
Yeah.
Remember, they always said that because he bombed the ball in the batting cages before the game. I think he can get that way. And again, it might be streaky, 4 or 5. I think the pitchers are kind of. I think
he's streaky sometimes.
I think the pitchers pitch around him a little bit at sometimes. I think you start to get that great bat treatment when you lead Major League Baseball in batting average like he did a few weeks ago. I think you start getting that kind of treatment as well, where you're not going to see as great a hits as what you've seen in the past.
Yeah, I think that's probably, and again, but some of that just comes from the, the way teams are going to treat you going forward. And so, I just don't care. Like, how could you watch a player playing at his level all the time and then be like, well, I sure wish that he just hit a few more homers. And I think some of it is because of the All-Star vote, Bink. And by the way, vote Bobby. If you vote for Bobby Witt Jr. using hashtag vote BWJ and at 610SportsKC, you get a chance to, I'm sorry, I forget what the prize is all of a sudden. What's the prize for their vote Bobby Witt Jr.?
Diamond Club.
Diamond Club tickets to a future Royals game. Bobby Witt Jr., by the way, will be on the drive in the 2 o'clock hour.
Oh, that's right.
today.
Bobby did it. Yeah,
he's on the drive.
By the way, I know you're a Vinny guy, but Vinny was
Very much so.
Sunday. Vinny was hitting behind Bobby Witt. Who's hitting behind Gunner is Adley Rutschman.
Yeah.
Who's hitting damn near 300.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to see a little bit different.
Yeah, well, but also, time will come where the more and deeper this lineup gets, they won't be able to avoid Bobby forever. For now, they can. Salvi and Vinny and whatever, and they'll try to, and they should, right? Like, Barry Bonds walked a record number of times when he was on his seat because they're going to avoid him and let somebody else do the damage.
And it was frustrating.
But because of that, because of what you're describing, hey, they're going to be a little more careful with Bobby. They're not going to give him the same pitches to hit because Vinny's hitting behind him, not Adley Rutschman, to your
You've got
point.
a 240 hitter behind you instead of
Vinny Pasquantino just got named the Royals Player of the Month
He did.
because he
Vinny,
led
you're
the
right. In
team.
Lugo.
Because he led the team in RBI with 19, has 7 straight games with an RBI. So
you know
they're
how good he is in doubles too, by the way.
Yes. So if they're going to keep
he's a double
avoiding
machine.
Bobby to pitch to Vinny, it's not going great.
He actually has more than Bobby, doesn't he? Doubles.
RBI? Or doubles?
I think he
I don't
does. I think Vinny might.
The ballpark is also part of this, Bink. Let's be honest.
Vinny's a double machine, man.
Yeah, he's good. He would hit more home runs if he played in a different park. It's his home runs. I don't know if he's like Bobby, like in the sense that I think Bobby could hit 40 home runs if he so chose.
In a different ballpark.
The Royals,
switch ballparks with them and see what happens.
But the Royals are 8th in Major League Baseball in doubles, and Vinny's got a bunch of them. Vinny also has a bunch of RBI. He's had a very, very, very good year, but I think sometimes we get hung up on the parts of the game that don't really matter, and instead...
Actually, Bobby's got him by 1. He's 22. He's got 22, and Vinny has 21. So Bobby's now past him.
Yeah.
But Vinny was leading it for the longest time.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me. Just the level of player that they are. And we can talk about Vinny here in a little bit, but the level of player they are, I'm just going to be honest, I'm not that surprised. Are you...
Yeah, congratulations once again, Vinny Pasquantino.
Bink, you're the... I just saw the thing come out, the clip. You're obviously a massive NFL fan. Are you going to watch this off-season Hard Knocks? You watching Giants Hard Knocks?
I'll answer this in several ways. Am I extremely interested in the Giants? No. Will I watch it because it's football content? Yes.
You are a sicko, Bink.
I'll sit and watch rerun of games that are like, yeah.
That's not worth. That is better than this. What do you think they're going to review?
Of course I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, but to what level do you think they cover anything? They're not going to talk about the draft very...
I can't stand Brian Daboll.
The one clip they showed was the two GMs standing next to each other and be like, hey, you want to go up to 6? And then the Brian Burns trade between the Panthers and the Giants. That was the big nugget. I don't know, man. Look,
I'm not a Brian Daboll guy. I can't stand him.
This is, I'll be honest. The college football game from a gameplay standpoint does interest me. But I think the reason why I wasn't into that game as much as everyone else at the time that game came out is I'm not trying to be a GM.
Too detailed is what you're saying.
Yeah, dude, I'm not trying to recruit and hit the transfer portal. And, it's just a lot.
There was part of me when
it's exhausting.
We were thinking about doing the online dynasty together with us and listeners. You can't because of the cross play. Everybody's got to have the same system or whatever. And after seeing the details come out today about Dynasty Mode, I thought to myself a couple of breaks ago while reading through it, Cody's not going to like this. If we did do it, you would not like it. You would.
Can we automate that part of it if we were doing a show Dynasty?
You would have simmed through all of it if you could.
God, yes. I'm not having an individual conversation with some kid's parents. I'm not doing that.
You're not DMing a player?
Playing through. No, and again, some of it is I tried. I think I rented a Blockbuster at the time, probably, or Netflix games, or whatever the hell it was.
The head
coach game from EA at the time. And I got a couple of days into this. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? What the hell? I don't care about it. I just want to play the game. Fast forward to the game part. That's the part I want to do. I barely, even in the Dynasty mode, if you're doing the create a player in the Madden over the years, Drew, I barely want to, if you're just I just want to play quarterback, so I'm just going to, Cody's going to come through the draft, and I'm going to draft him and put him on my squad. I barely wanted to I just would sim through the, weekly practice. And that's only, 5 passes. You barely had to do anything. And I'm I don't want to do this.
Do you guys know the guy that'll tell you about his video game? I mean, it's kind of like that fantasy football, people don't care.
It's worse than that.
I used to have a neighbor, and he was playing the coach mode, and God, he thought he could coach because he was winning Super Bowls. But he would sit there and I said,
but he thought he was coaching the NFL.
Finally, we told him, we said, dude, man, we don't give a crap, man. We just had to be blunt honest, because always you heard about is how his offense was doing. All this. We don't care. Almost said his name. We don't care. Call him Larry.
You're not comfortable to name drop this person, but they know who they are, is what you're saying.
I'm sure they know who they are, but the thing is, I'm not gonna call them out.
I think if
they know who they are,
they know who they are.
If it were the Chiefs, obviously for show show purposes, we would watch it as well as just pure interest. I think if it's your team thing, maybe you're a little bit more interested.
Yeah.
But even still, if the Chiefs.
If the Chiefs did it, I guess I'd watch some. I don't know.
But you would. But how interested would you actually be in it? Is there any I wonder what this is about, or it's if it's for any other team, I'm not watching.
How about this? I would watch it. If the Chiefs did it, and I am currently employed in the job I'm in, I would watch it because I do think that there's value in it for the line of work I do.
Yeah.
If I had left this job and now I'm just working at a bank, I would not turn it on. It's not hitting the screen for me.
Yeah, I don't think this.
But that's also I think people consume sports differently, and I tend to be, I think, more casual with it.
Remember how cheesy it was when Herm Edwards had a little sign? He drove up to River Falls. Remember he had a sign?
The in-division one, I think, is going to be a lot better than the off-season one. The in-division one will be much better from a content perspective, from a
the in-season
Hard Knocks in general.
In-season are just better.
Do you like the in-season one more than the training camp one? More
I do,
than the
because they're already
regular?
established players. Because I think they waste a lot of time on guys that have no chance of even making the roster or whatever. But I like the in-season ones better.
Interesting.
Because it's got how the rest of the flow, the season's going, and how much losses impact these guys. And I like the in-season better.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I mean, I don't watch either anymore. I told you once they stopped showing stuff, I just gave up.
Random question.
For me, for Drew, for the text line, 913-586-7610. I remind you every single day, we live stream the show, 610 Sports KC on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. So if you want to see Bink's lovely face, you can do that over on those streaming platforms. But for the second straight day since Alex is gone and I've been handling trash of the day, I hand the random question over to Bink. What do you got for me, Bink?
You hand the random question over to me. My random question is this. Text line, you can chime in as well, 913-586-7610, J Southland Tow Service text line. You want autograph, and you've got none of these in the past. Like, you don't have that Mahomes picture on the wall with the autograph. You have none of it. You've got no autographs from any Kansas City athlete ever. And you had every Chief lined up, every Royal lined up, every sporting player lined up, every current whatever, every athlete in this town, and they had a line to go get their autograph. You get one. You only get one. You have to pick which line to be in.
Okay.
Who would be the top three in this city with the longest line?
For us or for us
anybody? Just who would have the longest line? Not for us. Just who's going to have the longest line?
I think the answer is different if you're talking just me individually or what do I think everybody else is going to do.
What do you think it would be?
I'm assuming the longest line right now would be Travis Kelce. Am I wrong for assuming that?
Yeah,
Broader
'cause the
audience.
Swifties would all be out and stuff.
I still think Mahomes would be 2, and I think Bobby Wood Jr. would be 3.
Hold on. Is this a just... This is a PSA to all Kansas Cityans. It's like on the news and everything like that.
Yes, you had every athlete
Travis Kelce, 100%. Because you're going to reach
They're going to be in
fans-
5 different parts of the city, 5 people all signing. Who has the longest line?
Because the Swifties will probably drag,
Yeah. If this was something like Chiefs Twitter and all the station's Twitter accounts posted out, or all the team's Twitter accounts posted out, I think Mahomes is actually first because you're getting the sports demographic more than you're not hitting as much of the Taylor Swift demographic. Where if it's a PSA that's coming out over the news, I think Travis Kelce, I'm with Cody. I think Kelce is.
I'm with you guys.
The longest.
I think Mahomes is 2, Bobby Wood Jr. is 3.
Yeah.
And then I don't think there's anyone that draws a significant.
You know what?
line.
I think
maybe?
I think Andy Reid's got enough
think so?
cachet, and people would like to sit there and talk to Andy for a second or whatever. I'd probably put Andy Reid 3rd, to be honest with you. Now, personally, I'd rather get Bobby Witt, but if I had to say what do I think's going to happen, I bet Andy Reid.
Let's flip your...
Then Witt, then Chris Jones.
Let's flip your question. If you're doing personally...
Salvi for sure.
If you're doing...
for sure. He's very,
If you were to personally do it, who is your top 3? I think that's...
Oh, whose line would you go to?
Yeah. If
it's
you
hard
had,
because in this business, it's like,
none
I
of
feel
them.
like if I needed a Bobby Wood Jr. autograph, I could probably get one. Mahomes, if I wanted a Mahomes autograph, in which I got one, I
if you
think
weren't
really
in the
early
media,
on,
you weren't in sports,
it'd be a lot harder to get a Mahomes autograph. I'll just be honest, or a Kelce autograph probably at this point than it would be to get Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt's still early enough in his career. I mean, he was signing stuff at a Whataburger last week. I haven't seen. When's the last time I went to a Mahomes autograph session? His rookie year. That's the last time I think I've for Coca-Cola, you couldn't pay him enough.
Right.
To sit in that building. So I assume Mahomes. I'll just be probably him. He'd be the most difficult one to get. And even in my current job, because that's part of it, right? Like if I really wanted a Bobby Wood Jr. and I wanted to break rules, because as a member of the media, we don't really ask for autographs, right? It is an unwritten rule. It's not firmly established. I think it is written on the back of your credential, like you couldn't do it in the clubhouse, but let's just say you knew him. Let's say I could text Bobby and be like, hey, Bobby, think I could just get an autograph from you real quick? That'd be neat. He'd probably give it, right? Or if you wanted to get it for a family member or like a little kid or a charity. Yeah, we've asked Creed Humphrey to autograph stuff for the garage sale. So there are people I think I could get it from. Mahomes is probably the one I couldn't. So if it's me, it's probably Mahomes. And Salvi is probably on that list.
Yeah, because I consider him the biggest sports star in this town. Bobby Witt would be on there as well as 2. Third, somebody like defensively, like a Chris Jones, something like that would be awesome. I even like, the Creed Humphreys, the Trey Smiths of the world.
If you had to guess about who my top player is
for the Chiefs or the Royals, I'm guessing Bobby Witt
for any KC athlete.
For you?
Yeah, for
Tom
me.
Watson.
Well,
we're throwing Tom on there.
Pretty good.
Tom's on there.
He's a Kansas City athlete.
You think so? Okay, if we
he's
throw
not
Tom
actively playing, but I think it counts.
If we throw Tom on there, Tom's
Believe
one
it
of
or not, it would
the
the first player I would go to would be a Kansas City Chief. Actually,
oh, that is surprising. Who?
Isaiah Pacheco.
Oh,
I think he's a fun player to watch play. I would say Pacheco is one.
George Brett could be in the mix too.
Yeah.
I feel like,
If
but the
we're
thing
including guys that are done playing, honestly, what would
if
happen
you
then?
want a Brett autograph, you probably have one by now. Right?
I know, but what if you incorporated the guys that have already played and are done? Like throw Watson in here.
Here's the problem. Everybody's a current
George Brett in there.
There's no former Chief you would choose over a current Chief. This is the glory day of the Chiefs. You're
Unless
never
you're a big Bobby Bell. Bobby Bell is one of the most
never.
Bobby Bell. Bobby Bell's one of the most accomplished football players in the history.
Fine, but I don't think
finished
people are
third in
like
the
dying.
Heisman. He won a national title in college, won in the pros. He's on the all-decade team. Bobby Bell.
Dude,
carries that cash.
If he's going to be like 30.
He's one of the greatest football players in history.
If we're talking all-timers, I think all-time KC players, I would say, I think number one I'd go to is Eric Berry. I loved watching Eric Berry, one of my favorite players when I was growing up. Eric Berry would be one. I think Pacheco, I think, is still in there. And then I would say Bobby Witt is there. Tom Watson's in the discussion as well.
Watson has to be. Eight majors, man. Come on.
Well, I know.
That's insanity.
I would get Tom Watson's autograph.
You're just
more.
such a huge golf fan.
I know. I would get Tom Watson's autograph more for my brother, I think, than I would for myself. And I love Tom Watson. Tom Watson's great, but I think I would get it more for my brother. His more for my brother than for myself.
Sure. Look, I don't think I own a single piece of. I don't think I personally own a single piece of autographed memorabilia, at all. So like, I'm not saying
I don't
like
think I do either.
I don't think I own.
I had Lynn Dawson on a football Hall of Fame football.
So I had Mahomes. I did an event and Mahomes signed something for, and I gave it to my nephews. So like I've owned or for the garage sale or for other things, I've been given autographed things over the years, but they tend to end up in charitable endeavors, or I ask them to like my nephew. He just turned 8. He's the same age as my daughter, and he was like, Do you think like he was asking my brother if he could get his Vinny Pasquantino card signed? And I'm like, you know what? I can probably get that done for you. You know?
Tony Gonzalez is another
Like,
good
you
one,
know,
obviously.
Gonzalez would be good. I'm probably an idiot because I had an 82 Cardinals baseball signed by all the world champion Cardinals.
No.
I gave it to Greg Hamsinger one time in at the 2012 All-Star game or whatever because he's a big Cardinals guy. It was like, here you go.
What's the answer to this if it's just oddball Chiefs guy? Like guy you just liked but is not deserving to be
What if
in this?
Dawson was still alive?
Yeah, but what's your answer to like, let's say we understand like the biggest names in Kansas City history. What's the guy for the Royals or the Chiefs or the Current or Sporting? There was like a lesser player, but that you just genuinely enjoyed watch. Like Bob Hamlin, I don't care. Whoever, I watched him hit a walk-off home run.
Aaron Guile.
Yeah, like who's the guy that you like so much that you're like, I kind of want the autograph.
I haven't lived here for a year yet, but it was David DeJesus.
David DeJesus is a great player.
I liked playing with David DeJesus in the MLB The Show game when it was. I mean, this is a long time ago. I guess you got to go way back to like the MVP baseball days. I enjoyed playing with the Royals, and David DeJesus was always the leadoff guy.
Someone's missing Piscatelli, Dexter McCluster, Ken Harvey,
Larry Moriarty.
I like
Stephen
Dexter McCluster.
King.
That's a good answer.
I mean, there are
Herman Hurd.
Look, there are so many. Like it's just
Dino Hackett.
Like I always liked Mark Tian. I loved watching him play. He was a fun player.
Mark Vlasic.
You know, Vlasic. Oh man,
He
Jeff
still lives
King.
in-
Sorry, someone said
Jeff
not
King.
Steven. Johnny Morton for them. Like there's probably some people probably have these in their collection, but
Shout out to Barber.
Sean Barber.
Sean Barber.
Big old John Tate. There's a.
We can get you Barbers.
Well, Barber signed.
We can get you Barbers.
No.
You're just offering up his autograph now.
Barber gave me
Barber would sign it for you.
when the Bengals played the Chiefs this past year. Barber brought me it was like a program, but it wasn't. It was like a lineup sheet, a lineup card, and he signed the card.
Someone said, like, see, I think if I had him to sign it, I want him to sign it for a moment that is memorable. Like Mike McDougal, somebody mentioned. I would want him to autograph the picture of the curveball that he froze Albert Pujols on, because I'll never forget that pitch. It was the biggest 12-6 breaker I had seen in my young baseball watching life. And that thing, he froze. Pujols jumped out of the way like he thought that ball was going to kill him and caught him on strike
Wade
3.
Davis.
I want him to sign that.
I would get
Sean LaChapelle. There's so many good answers.
So it wouldn't be because he was on the Chiefs, but Glenn Dorsey, my guy Glenn Dorsey, LSU.
Ryan Sims.
He was that man at LSU. I would bring it. If I had an LSU helmet, I would bring it to
Dwayne
Glenn
Bowe.
Dorsey.
What about Dwayne Bowe?
Dwayne Bowe's great.
You can get the Bows, though, you know?
Glenn Dorsey was the guy at LSU. I mean, he was unstoppable.
My buddy Mitch Kelly over Kelly says he would go Tamarick Vanover.
Oh, Tamarick Vanover.
Somebody say Coco Chris.
Hey, let me
Coco
Hey,
Chris.
listen to this, Drew. So Bobby Bell used to have a barbecue restaurant, right?
Okay.
This is Bobby Bell. Tell me if this is not one of the most accomplished football players you've ever seen in history. Won a Super Bowl. He was drafted in the AFL and NFL. 5-time first-team All-AFL. 3-time Pro Bowler. 6-time All-Star. NFL 100th anniversary all-time team. 1970s all-decade team. National champion playing at Minnesota when he played. Outland Trophy winner. Unanimous All-American. First-team All-American. And he also... So he's college champion and was third in the Heisman Trophy playing defense. Third in the Heisman Trophy. That is one of the most accomplished football players in the city's history.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
At any level.
You know,
and he made great barbecue.
So winning twice. When we
The
come
sauce is
back
still good too, huh?
here on Cody and Gold, there are some things that Kelsey didn't agree to in the backseat. Plus, I think Vinny deserves some credit for something he can do in the postseason.
Hey, it's Brady Singer. You're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 610 Sports Radio and the Odyssey app.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Now is the time to call up Dury Vision and schedule that free consultation at 913-491-3330. Why is now a good time? Well, number one, stop putting it off. It's what I did for a couple years. I said, I don't know if I'm eligible for LASIK. I don't know if they can put together a plan that fits my vision needs. The answer is yes, they can. That's why I don't wear contacts or glasses anymore ever since I underwent SBK Advanced LASIK from Dury Vision. And the reason why it's a great time as well is because not only is the consultation free, as always, but right now they have their Friends and Family Savings event going on at Dury Vision. You can save up to $1,000 on LASIK through the end of July. But you got to go to DuryVision.com, 913-491-3330, and trust the most experienced team in Kansas City. They've performed over 65,000 vision correction procedures. Frankly, it's why I trusted them with my eyes. Something as serious as your vision health, you need to go with the best in Kansas City. Go to DuryVision.com, or one more time to take advantage of that free consultation. 913-491-3330.
I feel like I'm constantly cleaning hair off my bathroom floor. At least my Swiffer Sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair is gone, all thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
It's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here, and let me tell you about my friends over at Window World. 816-799-0820. It is hot in the Kansas City Metro. We are in the middle of the summer. And what I want to do is I want to help your home be more energy efficient and keeping the hot air out. In just over 20 years of business, Window World has improved the look and thermal efficiency of over 54,000 homes right here in Kansas City. And right now, they're offering an incredible deal. They're giving you 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. What I love most is, aside from major holidays, they have somebody there answering your questions 7 days a week. So if you got a question right now, pick up the phone and call my friends over at Window World, get a free home estimate, and they can show you how they are simply the best for less. They're the official window managed by the Kansas City Chiefs, and they have had the same team in place for 20 years, and that team wants to help you. 816-799-0820, Window World.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I got hurt in a car wreck and I see all these lawyers on TV. Which one should I choose?
Choose Mike. You could get a free consultation and his team will start working for you for no money up front.
And you don't pay them a dime unless they win your case. You've got nothing to lose. Mike's got this.
I'm confident my law firm is the right one for you.
Mike's got this. All you need to know. 816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
If severe weather hit you this spring, then make Century Roofing your next ring. We have extended our free material upgrade sale on all roof replacements. We'll provide an in-depth inspection to determine if enough damage exists to warrant filing a claim with your insurance company. Century Roofing has been voted Best of Johnson County for the second year in a row. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold, and our friends at Centric are offering one lucky listener an exclusive $5,000 scholarship.
If you apply by July 19th, you'll be entered for a chance to win that scholarship to cover a portion of the tuition. Don't like your job and want one that offers more growth and money? Talk to Centric and start a career in tech.
Centric's next in-person online and flex cybersecurity programs start at the end of July to help you make a change now. Go to Centric.com, fill out a form, and tell them that Gold and I sent you, and Russ will talk you through everything.
Are you getting ready to escape on a summer adventure? Make your summer travels easy and stress-free with Casey's #1 airport parking destination, Park and Go. All spots are covered so your vehicle will stay clear of the elements. Quick and easy shuttle services pick you up right at your car and take you straight to the terminal. Always the best service and always the best price at bookparkandgo.com. Open 24/7, fast and hassle-free. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated.
If you owe $25,000, $50,000, even $100,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, you may be feeling overwhelmed, filled with anxiety, even embarrassed. Well, stop. That's right, stop. It's not your fault. Life happens. People lose their jobs, get sick, get divorced, and many other things that can lead to financial stress. So, don't feel bad about it. Do something about it. And join the over 300,000 people who worked with accredited debt relief to pay off their debt. A company with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They're here to help people just like you. Get out of debt faster and feel the relief that comes with financial freedom. So stop delaying. Make the call to learn how much they can save you. Time and money. There's no pressure, no obligation, just a call. Call 877-272-8115. 877-272-8115. That's 877-272-8115. Program and services not available in all states.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Be listening between July 8th and July 12th to qualify for our College Football 25 tournament for your chance to win college football tickets plus a game console of your choice. 610 Sports Radio, KCSB Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Back in here on Cody and Gold, an hour left. Cody Tapp, Jay Binkley with you. Drew Nixon on the other side of the glass. Binkley in with us for tomorrow as well. Binkley was asking me, Drew said, should we do Club 610 tomorrow? Wednesday before a holiday, off the rest of the week.
Could be a 4th of July edition.
4th of July. Maybe we get someone to bring
a hot dog eating contest.
maybe a listener will bring by a firework for Drew to actually shoot off.
You know what? We should do this during
Come
Club 610.
on.
Right here. Right outside the window.
Just right outside the window. One firework.
One right here.
I was at the car dealership this morning, and there was a story on people blowing their hand. Somebody blew their hand off.
Blew their hand? Do you know it's a Jason Pierre-Paul? We get you a punk. You know? Do you know what that is?
No.
Like the stick that lights the fireworks.
We're not going to give you a 3/4 stick of dynamite. I'm sure.
Yeah, dude. I want you to fire off a Roman candle. You know? A single bottle rocket.
Okay.
A fountain.
You can shoot it. You can shoot it out of a bottle if it makes you feel better.
Some Saturn missiles.
What's the most dangerous thing you've seen someone do?
As long
with a
as
firework?
all my fingers are intact and I'm good to go after this, then fine.
I've done some dumb stuff like the rolls of black cats and stuff where you light one in and all of a sudden you go to light the other one, it won't light, and you sit there and you wait and you're getting all that stuff flying up in your face.
I think the worst I ever did was like the half sticks of dynamite. We would do some pretty dangerous
I've had those
stuff
too.
with that,
You try to blow things up like barrels and stuff, and they didn't quite,
Sparklers were good enough for me as a kid.
We got to get you a firework tomorrow.
Sparklers
Who's
were
going to
good
bring
enough.
Drew a firework tomorrow? 913-586-76.
You want a firework or a loaded handgun?
I have never. Look,
People shoot those sometimes.
Well, there's some things that I've never held a gun of any kind in my life. I've never held one.
Well, we got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow.
I don't think we can do that one outside the
I don't
station
think
tomorrow.
we can either.
Who will bring Drew a firework and let him hold a loaded weapon? We don't need the second part of that sentence.
Just an empty one. It doesn't matter.
We don't.
M80's too advanced for it. Just the black cat.
Not an M80. I think
with the long wick.
I think
Give him
either.
a long wick.
I think there are several things that
Slow
are.
wick.
I don't know what you're talking about, but
quintessential.
sure.
I think a Roman candle, a bottle rocket, a black cat, just something that is just like a quintessential stock, no questions about it. Like firework, like one you would think on the 4th of July.
Question. You think all this rain, this rain and humidity, it kind of dampens fireworks and the wicks? Like there was a lot of rain yesterday. We may get a lot tonight,
I
too.
don't know.
The
It's usually, they
10:30
usually say it's good for fireworks. You don't want it to be too dry before we shoot off fireworks,
Yeah, but you make sure that wick, just hope they're not ruined, some of them.
That's all.
When are we going to get Drew?
I don't know. I'm gonna count on the text line.
Somebody said I need to live.
We can do this during Club 16 tomorrow. It'll be fun.
Yes, I'm down. I just there's things that I have done that I feel like I've lived a very exciting life. There's just things that I haven't done because I don't feel the
Drew
need to do
doesn't sound
them.
like it.
Someone from the 816 says, I will bring him a Roman candle tomorrow.
Yes.
And we can just look outside the window, down here onto the backside of the sidewalk as he, fires it off.
Somebody's got to go out there with me. I'll be honest.
Oh, you need supervision?
Yes.
Fine, I'll come out
Have
there
you ever
with you
done a
and
fountain?
hold
Have you
down
ever
the
shot a
fort.
fountain?
No, I don't know
He
what
says
that
he's
is.
never shot a firework.
I don't know what that
He
is.
doesn't have a Saturn missile.
A fountain would be safe for him.
Fountain?
He's
Come
not
on.
going to hurt himself with
You gotta
that.
get him a real firework, dude. That one's not bad, but like,
You're not giving him a 3/4 stick of dynamite.
I'm not gonna make him do
Not giving him an 80.
I'm not gonna make him do a mortar tomorrow. A Roman candle.
You should do a mortar. You know what I used to shoot mortars out of? I had a basketball goal that fell. And so I still had the pole, like it was on a little stand. He put water in or sand, right?
Someone texted in, they will bring
Cody?
me a Roman candle tomorrow.
Sweet.
Okay.
That's a good idea. But
Alan says he'll bring you one.
You're seeing like a cracked basketball goal and you the ram on everything off. And it's that big like cannon almost. I used to put mortars in there and shoot them out and hope they would actually shoot out.
I've seen people shoot bottle rockets out of their ass, Bank. I don't know what to tell you. I've seen
Roman candles at the ass.
Roman candle? Yeah. That's way
I've seen someone
riskier.
shoot a Roman candle out their butt.
No thanks. No thanks.
I
just be honest.
Do that, Drew, and you win the day.
We've lived some...
You win the day.
You win the day.
You come in all scorched earth, scorched Levi's.
Okay. Scorched the Levi's.
Man, good stuff.
Jeez.
What were you outside doing? Well, I was lighting a Roman
At the very
candle
least,
on
we
my
can
butt.
bring in some beers and make the attitude light around 1 o'clock tomorrow.
That sounds good.
I like that idea.
We can have bomb pops.
Or hot
Red,
dog?
white, and blue bomb pop.
You
hot
must
dog
be
kind of-
taking whoever's advice it was across the way because someone said, y'all are going to get me arrested.
What? One firework? I don't think the cops are coming to get... Someone did in this building tell Drew to get arrested to live his life a little bit. So it would be funny if he shot off one Roman candle in the first time
But
his
they
life
have to
gets
see you lighting it.
popped.
No. In my defense, if you're out there with me, I'll be totally honest.
I'll take the heat.
Well,
you can
no.
hand it to me. This is like, I'll take the
If
heat.
I'm going, you're going as well.
Fine. I haven't shot one off in a long time.
Let's
so
shoot
sure.
Roman candles at each other.
No.
That's what we used to do. They burned my clothes. My parents would be so
How
mad.
about a bottle rocket?
I just have like holes in my clothes.
How about a bottle rocket for Drew?
We used to shoot those at each other too. Actually, those are less dangerous than Roman candles to shoot at you. Not because they would hurt less, but the accuracy people had with with bottle rockets was significantly less accurate versus those like missile ones. Those had a little bit of heat on them. You couldn't do those. You couldn't shoot those at people. Next, we'll talk about this more tomorrow or later in the show. I don't care. I'm open to whatever. But last night was it is almost America's birthday, Bink. And last night was a disgrace to America. They got their ass kicked by Uruguay. They got their ass kicked by Panama the week before that. They are supposed to be one of the 15 most talented teams in the entire world, and they never feel like it.
What about a tank?
They have to start over. That might be okay. They might have to start over with their coach. I don't even know where to start from here because right now, every team they play seems more organized with better effort. I'm not saying they're all more talented, but every team the U.S. plays in a big high-level game over the last 4 years doesn't make it feel like the U.S. is any closer to competing on the world stage despite their population and their status as a world power. in soccer. It seems like they should be closer than they are, Bink. They've never actually gotten closer. You watched the match last night, other than the TV part of it, which was a mess too, and the missed replay, in my opinion, which was a mess. I'd care more about those things if it actually cost them something. They cost themselves something.
Oh, they did. But Alexi Lawless's point on when he says, if this is as good as it gets, it's not good enough. But to some of our conversation yesterday, some of the great athletes are going into other sports for the money. Like they're going to the other. I can't imagine soccer nail money is even like baseball nail money in college baseball now, because college baseball is just blown up. And
no, but that's become a like some of this is like, I'll be honest. Some of the problem with soccer is it's become an elite, as in you have money as a parent sport.
Well,
it has not been
like baseball.
Like baseball. It has turned into that in a lot of ways, which makes it more difficult to recruit a lot of different people to come play your sport.
You ever had a couple grand to go up to Iowa and play in a baseball tournament with your kid, your 12-year-old? Yeah.
No. I mean, it's expensive, and it gets worse as time goes on. We were in soccer. My kid was 6, and they were trying to go to, like tryout teams. You're like, she's 6. Like, I mean, she doesn't even understand the rules.
And that's an inexpensive sport to play because it's soccer ball. Baseball, you get the bat, you get everything else that goes with it.
I'm laughing.
Football is the cheap one.
Somebody said Drew should shoot a gun at a firework.
Oh, even better.
That's a great idea.
I'm just laughing.
Even better
at the notion.
So to give you a little bit of figures,
you can shoot a tank.
Top end soccer money is very, very is a lot of money. The bottom, like even mid tier though, is not at all like the level.
There's a lot of money in soccer.
There's a lot of money in it, but there's also a lot of discrepancy in it. For example, the club that I root for in England, they're in the second tier, QPR, one of their best players. He makes about £7,000 a week.
Yeah.
So he makes about £364,000 in a year, which doesn't sound, that's nothing. That's nothing compared to, I mean, that's like NBA player minimum.
No, but
the chances of making big money.
But that's like
sports.
that's like down a league or two. In the top leagues, the money is.
Well, you could be average in other leagues and make big money.
From the text line, from the 312, hey, it's not just that they lost. It was the most stale and lifeless performance in a must-win match in their history. They seemed lost and desperate and unable to dig themselves out of the desperation. I'll be honest. There were 2 moments that really stand out. One, I assume you guys all saw that Pulisic reportedly pretty much took a shot at the ref at the end of the game and said, no, go celebrate with your boys. Yeah. And that's why he wouldn't give him a handshake after the game. So he called out the referee for it, which is not great, right? No. But also, I understand why he was mad. He's the best player on what is supposed to be a good team, and they looked lifeless. But Berhalter telling his team live in the middle of the match that Bolivia had tied it in like the 60th minute.
Loser mentality.
With that's it, Drew. It is a loser's mentality to be like, hey, guys, they're tied for a minute.
We're okay.
Maybe we can tie. And that was when we never were even sure that was going to be a choice, and it wasn't a choice.
It was like a minute later that they scored or whatever it was.
Sometimes you, in a coach where you already think they might be fired, sometimes one thing, if you were on the fence, one thing in its own right is a fireable offense. If you knew nothing else about Berhalter, if you had no idea what kind of coach he had been, what he had done with the USA Soccer, if you know nothing about him and the only thing you knew is that in the middle of a match, it was important and that they needed to win against one of the other 15 best, most talented teams in the world. And in the middle of the game, he was playing loser's mentality as, hey, for a half a second, not that they had already tied. That's different, right? There's a strategy in that. But for a half a second, a team was tied. Maybe we can tie. And he told his team in the middle of the match, that's fireable, in my opinion.
You don't hear about it in football at all, saying, the Bears just tied him up. You don't hear this stuff because they just want you to focus on the game.
No, Andy's never told his guys in the middle of a game, like when they needed to get home field advantage.
The Fitzpatrick game.
The crowd started to find out and people started to cheer, but Andy wasn't relaying that. He wasn't like, hey guys, Miami might beat the Patriots. We better win now.
Fitzpatrick's. No. Fitzmagic.
Yeah. Take care of what you can take care of. Somebody from the text line, 913 area code said, our country's best athletes don't play soccer and everyone else is due. When we will never compete on the global scale. I think that's part of the problem.
Sure. We play in the lesser league and always will.
It's part of it.
But some of the best players now play in those leagues.
Correct. Which is why I think it's not necessarily that it's, if you took the best athletes, if you took LeBron and he played soccer, how good is LeBron going to be at soccer? I think he would be pretty good, but I don't know if he's that sort of an athlete to play soccer. Like, he would be really good. He'd be really good at football.
Well, it's a great point because these other nations, their best athlete, their main sport, they play it.
It is a good point along the lines of that. Plus, you look at the competitiveness of MLS and the other leagues. Nobody takes the MLS seriously. Nobody takes the U.S. seriously because
they never won anything.
They never won anything. The coaches are not at the level of these guys that even like as bad as England is, as embarrassing as England is. I was talking to Rob Rob Breton the other day. Like, would you take Southgate or would you take Berhalter? Southgate in a heartbeat came out of his mouth. He didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
If you're talking about two bads and England is ready to get rid of Southgate ASAP, and it's a quick answer for us, and we would love Southgate, that's a big problem. I don't know where the commitment is from the federation to lay out the paycheck. Like, I get that there's priorities. You want to have somebody who's an American and have that. I think it's great, but at the same time, the best coach that we've had in the last 2 decades was Jurgen Klinsmann. He was not American.
Yeah.
He was German.
Forget it. Doesn't matter. Just get the best coach.
Get the best coach. If you want to win the World Cup or have a shot to win it, the roster's good enough, but you need a coach, I think, that has got that experience where he can make the players feel uncomfortable and push them to a level that Berhalter is not going to, because, as Alexi Laus pointed out, if it hasn't happened yet, when is it ever going to happen? Because this has been his second chance because they re-signed him. They brought him back.
So, like, I understand the notion, be like, hey, our best athletes don't play the sport. Their best athletes do. Uruguay has a population of 3.4 million people. The U.S. has over 300 million. It doesn't have to be the best athletes playing soccer.
Our athletes are as good as them.
We're 1,000 times their size.
Yes.
That's not the problem.
The pool is so much larger for us to pick between us or literally anybody else.
Yeah, it's just silly. It just doesn't make any sense that the U.S. is so bad at this.
It's because I think it's because the federation doesn't take it seriously enough.
Yeah,
youth soccer, I don't know what the youth soccer landscape is.
It's grown and grown and grown and grown in this country.
It's
Every single year since 1994, it has grown and grown and grown and grown.
Sport.
And it has not turned into success. That is what's really confusing. That's what's the most frustrating.
Is that coaching? Is that training? Like, if you, I don't know if this was an NBA comparison more basketball, but I wonder if it's the same way for soccer. In the States, we do individualized training more than team training. It's more of a specific focus on a player. We don't see 3-sport athletes that often anymore. In high school, it's individual training. I want to play football. Okay, we're going to train you to be a football player, and that's it. You want to be this position, we're training you for this position. It's not the overarching theme of, hey, youth soccer, high school soccer, we're going to play, and you're going to do a variety of different things. We're going to pick what you're best at, but you train for everything. Instead, it's more particular, where I don't know if it's the same way overseas for soccer.
You know what's so bad about youth sports?
Good.
Youth soccer?
What?
I was actually a head coach for 2 years.
The worst thing about it's the parents, probably.
I literally went to Barnes & Noble and got a Coaching Soccer for Dummies book.
Did you really?
It was like 5 and 6-year-old girls.
So first, my daughter's in dance. They'd never asked me to teach that. Not in a million years.
I'm shocked they asked me.
But, like, they briefly, as my daughter was leaving soccer, were like, maybe Cody would want to coach. And you're like, my daughter's leaving. Sorry. She wants to dance more. See ya. I don't know, man. I might coach one of these days if my kids ask me to coach something. She gets back into soccer, or Desmond gets into baseball or soccer or basketball or whatever. But
what would you
the
prefer
parents,
to coach?
Baseball. It's the sport I know. It's the sport I grew up playing.
You're also a wiffle ball home run king.
I did hit a home run in wiffle ball, which also felt good. Nerdlum over on Twitch had said it's a country club sport. I do think that that's part of the problem now. Again, the expense that goes with it. We can talk.
That's everything.
Youth hockey's definitely like
every sport has kind of turned into that in a lot of ways. Just way too many ways. It's
Except
like
for
it's
football.
crazy. Like, I'm getting ready to go out of town for my daughter's dance competition. I'll just be honest. We spent a lot on dance this year, and she's not even in like. She's in a nice studio.
What, 8?
It's pretty. She's 8. She's in a nice studio with a good group of kids.
You haven't even gotten serious yet. You just wait till she's 10.
But she's
10,
technically
maybe,
on the
or 11.
competition team. So this is like, I mean, this is serious, but like some girls are in twice as many dances as her, or some studios are bigger and require more and go
Well, that's
on
what I'm
more
talking about.
trips.
You get to 10 and 11, I feel like it grows even further, maybe.
Or go to Orlando, or go to like New York, go to different cities to do these things. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's absolutely nuts. I've scared Drew off from having kids. Well, he one time, I think him and Bree probably thought about it for a long time, and then I started talking about just how much kids cost, and he was like, excuse me? Like I told him once, just like what we pay, Like what daycare cost? And he's just like, I'm sorry? You're like, yeah, true. It would save you money to quit your job and just watch your kid, then go to school.
There's different levels, too, when you have kids, because when they're in diapers, that costs you money. When they get out of the diapers, it's like a victory. Then when they go to public school, when they hit 5,
if you send them to public school. Some people
don't.
don't.
That would be what I do. I love public school. Public school is great.
Yes.
So my kids go, but.
Well, yes, mine did too. But the bottom line is when you get to certain levels, it doesn't cost you anything. You celebrate those moments.
Until they want to do AAU.
Man, I ran into a guy one time in a Suburban. He had all the, soap paint on the windows and everything. He had Iowa plates or something. I was at McDonald's. I said, he had a full Suburban. I said, thinking about it, and I'm going to talk to him. I said, you spend a lot of money on these trips because they were down in Kansas City and a couple grand on the hotel. All the food you have to go eat for the week or whatever. In the hotel rooms you need and stuff like this. He's like, yeah, we don't have a lake out. We don't do any of this stuff anymore. This is our recreation, the traveling baseball team.
Someone said the soccer player in my high school was like the 30th best athlete at the school. We just don't care. No good athletes play it. I mean, it is one of the most played sports.
Again, though,
it's hard.
Football's the cheapest.
It depends. I think
basketball's the cheapest. All you need is a hoop and a ball.
Yes.
But the tournament, you play a lot of tournaments. And those cost money.
Sure, but you can get good at versus baseball and I know you can get good, but you can get good at basketball by still playing rec.
From somebody who played
in football, a lot of guys wait till they're in high school and it's free equipment, free helmets, shoulder.
From somebody who played AAU. I played AAU, and my parents. It's cheaper than other sports. It's still obviously expensive because of the tournament costs. in terms of what you need, the jersey's not.
There's not a lot of
expensive.
Costs.
Yeah. It's one big bulk payment essentially, and then you just pay for tournaments.
With baseball, there's the new bat. Kids got to get the new DeMarini. I don't know what a cool bat is anymore. That was a cool bat when I was a kid.
DeMarini sounds.
That was a cool bat when I was a kid. So I don't know what a cool bat is now, but let's just say that for now. But in basketball, there's not the cool new basket. There's just it's just a basketball.
It's a Wilson.
It's not, there's not. Yeah, I would say maybe you need the new shoes or what. There's probably some parts of it.
Football, you might not need it if you're a lineman. You don't need a football or anything. You just block.
It does help. The fact that people have pushed their kids to play tackle later is probably going to make football more and more accessible.
Yes, it's going to help
going forward because less and less people want to put their kid in tackle early. That will push less kids to have to own the equipment
Which is funny because it's the most popular sport in the United States.
Well, and to that point, the more people who wait to play tackle football, they might go play soccer because they don't want to do flag. They might get involved in another sport instead, and that. Somebody said youth hockey is expensive.
I bet. That just seems like from an equipment standpoint. I don't even know where to start.
Expensive
I lived
hockey.
in North Dakota briefly, and the amount of travel that some of these kids do and the equipment, it's pretty nuts.
Someone said just have your kids run cross country or track. It's cheap, new shoes. No one else runs anyway, so you'll make the team. My nephew just got a full ride scholarship to Northwest, Missouri State.
Video games. There's video game scholarships in college now.
Yeah,
for gamers,
esports.
There you go. Just have your kid play video games.
Man, now it's just turned to parent stuff from the 816. I have 7 kids, 3 full. 4-step, we spend at least $1,200 just on food a month, and that's with eating leftovers.
Imagine you just go to McDonald's with 7 kids.
I'm gonna create a PowerPoint or a spreadsheet
of this is why we shouldn't have children. Just be childless, dude. It's not that. It sounds. We honestly considered it. It seems.
Get a dog.
I love my kids, but
get a dog. Brianna really want a puppy.
There you go.
Can't do it now though, financially. Can't do it yet. But yes, we.
What if we just got you one? What if the puppy was free?
A goldfish.
It's still I don't think would matter.
Get a goldfish.
My parents would get they would be fine with it, but they'd be really irritated. What are you doing?
Excuse me?
You're gonna take care of it because you're good, and we had dogs growing up, and it would be fine. But why are you doing this?
Why
are you making this? Yeah,
that seems fair.
A hockey stick is $200. That's nuts. That's more than basketball shoes.
That's probably less than what it really is. Or high school golf, the golf equipment.
That's more than a baseball bat, correct?
That hockey stick's got to be more than $200.
How much is a baseball bat now, Cody? Would you say?
$200 probably.
A DeMarini about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what a nice. My kids don't play. My son doesn't play baseball yet.
People spend more than that on recreational softball.
But looks like more than. It looks like you can get some bats for it's like anything else, $90, but the really nice ones are $350, $400.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So,
have your kids run track.
Easton Hyper Fire. 2 3/4.
Actually, football
inches.
I think is.
I ran cross country in high school, and The person who texted in is correct. Everybody makes the team. You're on the team regardless. You get the singlet, you get the shorts and stuff. It's not much. You just buy the spikes.
Is it fun though? Is it fun?
What?
For me,
running your ass off like that
doesn't seem like it.
I mean, seriously, they're just running around.
Some people do seem to enjoy it.
I'll be honest.
Not for me.
I think it is. It depends on the camaraderie of the group because I have some of my best friends that I still keep in touch with from high school because of cross country, and we would have a great time. We would hang all the time, and it created that sort of a bond. I think it's good for that. And also, if you want to stay in shape, why not? I used it as an excuse to get in shape for basketball. I wasn't particularly great at it by any means. But
their athletes play other sports.
I do still go on runs. Like if I work out though, if I exercise, I go on runs and I'm good with it. I'm down. I think it's because I ran cross country. It helps. I don't mind.
Did you run a marathon, Drew?
I've never run a marathon. I've run a mini marathon twice. One of them.
Little sticker on your car.
What's a mini marathon?
One of them I broke 2 hours on a mini.
What's a mini marathon? How many?
13.1 miles.
Oh, so a half. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
They call it
You see
mini.
those stickers, 13.1, people on the back of their cars.
Pretty good.
Well,
you can get those. Dude, I can't run 13 miles.
I guess the one that they
I
call
just put a 26 on mine.
I guess the one that they call the mini is the one that's in Indianapolis, where you do 2 laps around, or you do a lap around the racetrack, and that it's become a thing. And they've always called it the mini. Other ones are just called halves, I guess.
What about your kid doing NASCAR?
My parents
Seems like
have
that'd be expensive cars.
I
mean, I guess that's not cheap.
Bink, racing is, you want to talk about privilege, golf being a country club sport. Racing is maybe the most expensive sport.
I can
it
see
is
that.
more country club and connections than anything else.
I would
have no chance of making it anywhere big unless I was like the best racer on the planet because my parents didn't have enough connections or they didn't have enough money to afford for me to be able to do it.
When we come back here on Cody and Gold, we'll get you what's trending around the U.S., but also Vinny Pasquantino deserves some credit, and I want to talk about it.
Cody and Gold.
If the Royals win the World Series, I will get, and you can mark it if you want, but go.
Everybody
this
knows you said
tattooed
it.
on my body.
Who gives? We're winning games.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
I'll keep telling you, one contractor, all things parking lot. That's what Gann Asphalt and Concrete can do for you. And more importantly, for your business. It is the first thing anyone sees as they pull up to your parking lot. We're just talking about all these youth sports. My daughter used to play youth soccer in the winter. Boy, we drive to that parking lot. It was like the Grand Canyon in there. I was afraid I was going to ruin my shocks in their parking lot. Doesn't give you the best idea of what their business can be, and you don't want people thinking that about your business. It's a streamlined project with Gann because one call to Gann can handle the entire project, from crumbling curbs to uneven sidewalks to brand new parking lots, certainly if you need them, or just new striping or ADA ramps. Gann can take care of every single part of that project for you. If you want a full from the bottom build up to little repairs to keep your parking lot going, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is a company who has been in Kansas City for 30 years. I love working with companies who have been in Kansas City that long because then you know it's a product you can trust and a company that's proven to you they're going to stay in this area, be around your business, get your business in the future so you can make sure you're doing this. So if you're a small business owner, a business owner at all, and you're tired of making those maintenance decisions or figuring out who to call, what to do, call one company. Call Gann Asphalt and Concrete and make sure they take care of those needs for you. Go to GANNasphalt.com, see what they can do for you, and tell them that Cody sent you.
Hi, it's Trey Smith, and in order for our team to get a victory, we need honesty, teamwork, work ethic, humility, and the golden rule. That's why my truck is from the dealer that embodies all those values, Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram also supports Giving Hope, whose sole purpose is to feed and clothe the needy in Wyandotte County and beyond. Giving back in the highest integrity, that's how Jeff and his team do business. For your next vehicle, visit or go to victorychrysler-dodge-jeepram.com.
Men, low testosterone causes a host of problems. These include a low sex drive, bad sleep patterns, unproductive workouts, decreased energy, brain fog, and more. But many men just attribute these symptoms to aging and don't consider that there are medical treatments that can give them back their vigor and vibrancy. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling like I just described, it's time for you to treat that low T and change your life. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. We've successfully treated treated many men for low T and seen the amazing difference that those treatments can make in a man's life. If you're like the vast majority of men who are low T, within just a few weeks, you'll feel your energy return, that brain fog will go away, your sleep will improve, as will your workouts, and your sex drive will be significantly enhanced as well. So make an appointment and make a true life change. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and now North Kansas City.
Hey, it's Clang. 4th of July to us means getting together with friends and family and eating. And basically, I could just hit Hy-Vee for my entire 4th of July celebration. Party trays, wings, fresh dips, chips, holiday-themed baked goods, grilling favorites like Prime Reserve steaks, chicken, ribs, and Hy-Vee's famous specialty brats. I'm telling you, go try the pineapple brat. Choose from dozens of amazing sides: potato salad, pasta salad, baked beans, slaw, firecracker corn on the cob. And again, don't forget those dips like the street corn dip to dip the chips in. Don't forget the wine and spirits department. Hy-Vee with a huge selection of wine, craft beer, seltzers, and spirits in stock and always 10% off when you mix and match 6 or more bottles. All of your paper and party goods can be found at Hy-Vee. Head by the bakery department. Get your chocolate chip cookies, your brownies, and your 4th of July themed cookies. Hy-Vee is your one-stop shop for your 4th of July celebration. Do what I do. Spend less time planning, more time hanging. Thanks to my friends from Hy-Vee.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold, and our friends at Centric are offering one lucky listener an exclusive $5,000 scholarship.
If you apply by July 19th, you'll be entered for a chance to win that scholarship to cover a portion of the tuition. Don't like your job and want one that offers more growth and money? Talk to Centric and start a career in tech.
Centric's next in-person online and flex cybersecurity programs start at the end of July to help you make a change now. Go to Centric.com, fill out a form, and tell them that Gold and I sent you, and Russ will talk you through everything.
Ever been held back from reaching your goals because you're dependent on others to do their job? It's a frustrating roadblock. When it comes to real estate, reach out to Dawn Sharp and her team. That's what Charlton did when he was looking to buy a home. One of Dawn's agents helped him through the process, and he said, "We have multiple issues with the seller, and it could have been a nightmare." The Sharp Homes team was knowledgeable and dependable. You deserve the same service when you're looking to buy or sell a home, so contact the only agent I would trust, the Sharp Homes team today. Check them out at homesforsaleInKC.com and start packing.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And we cut to size, because just like taxes and BS, we think metal is better when cut. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Find a store or shop online at metalsupermarkets.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Sounds like you heard about a July 4th sale. It's a great chance to red, white, and do that job you've been putting off. Like an oil change with full synthetic motor oil. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for just $34.99. Save on oil, wash and wax, and more this weekend at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Summer's just getting started, so fill your cooler with the smooth and refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. It tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. And with a 5% kick of alcohol, Twisted Tea is perfect for the beach, the lake, or wherever you're hanging out and day drinking with your friends. Look for the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
As school messes return, rest easy. Clorox has got your back to school.
Oh, no. I'm back. That messy science experiment. And I brought baking soda, cornstarch.
And you're due tomorrow, right? Well, at least I stocked up on Clorox disinfecting wipes, because you're not messing up my kitchen counters like last time.
Ooh, smart. Got any food coloring?
And off to the store we go.
Stock up on Clorox disinfecting wipes that clean 3 times better than what paper towels and kitchen grease and soaps come. Use as directed.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
Number one on What's Trending, the Royals are back in action tonight, at home tonight at the K, weather permitting.
Yes.
They'll start a series against the Rays. It'll be Brady Singer on the mound. They announced their pitchers and players for the month of June. Seth Lugo, not surprising, was the pitcher of the month. Vinny Pasquantino, who hit .276 with a .375 on base percentage, was the player of the month.
3-4 against the Rays the last 2 years. Time to turn that around as they did in Tampa. 5-star tight end Lincoln Cure commits to Kansas State, their highest-ranked prospect in program history. Big deal because you're shutting the borders down. Climbing shutting the borders. Kids from Goodland, Kansas. So what a nice get for Kansas State.
Yeah, it really is a nice get for Kansas State. I think they've got 2 5-star kids coming in next year. I mean, I'm guessing that'd go down as their single best recruiting class
Bill
ever.
Snyder was all about the 2s and the 3s and the 8s and 5s
but look,
and put them in the NFL. But
look, that was Bill Snyder's way. That doesn't have to be Kleiman's way.
Hey, the nail money in Manhattan, Kansas, growing, man.
Yeah,
if you look at what they just paid their one of the college basketball players, highest ever in the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. That's going to go down as one of the better recruiting classes, but you can do it 2 different ways. People have won in a lot of different ways over the years. Some guys, Calipari used to just get all McDonald's All-Americans and roll them out on the court, and Bill Self used to take guys who'd be there for a couple of years and then work through them. Everybody can win a different way. I'm glad that Kleiman's found his way. Next up on What's Trending, the U.S. men's national team, as we just mentioned, eliminated from Copa America last night after their loss to Uruguay. No word on whether Berhalter will be able to maintain his job. Imagine that'll come a little bit further down the road.
At this point, he's still got his
But a
job.
bad loss. I mean, they were not favored to win that game or win that match, but they were favored to win the match before, which eventually cost them a chance to advance.
Also, what is trending, the Futures game for Major League Baseball. It's always a lot of fun. See the stars of tomorrow. Gavin Cross and Ben Kuderma on the Futures game for the Royals. Of course, Ben's a local product.
Yeah, he is. Good for the local kid. I kind of knew Gavin Cross was going to be in the mix. You and I,
Gavin's
before
a stud,
it came
man.
out, I told you maybe Gavin Cross will be in there, but hey, he's only in high A ball to get invited to the Futures game.
They're
It's a pretty
like
good sign.
7th and 10th or something like that in the Royals prospect list. They're high up there.
Yeah, they're way up there. Blake Mitchell, I still think is the number 1 prospect for the Royals. That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Don't forget, coming up July 23rd, it's a Tuesday. Starting at 2 p.m. will be our college football video game tournament at Hy-Vee Arena, thanks to Level Up. 8 610 Sports Radio personalities against 24 of you listeners. You must be listening to qualify on the week between July 8th and July 12th. The winner will receive a game console of your choice, plus K-State and Missouri tickets. And Rally House is going to supply a college football jersey of your choice for the winner of the upcoming thing. Again, of course, brought to you by Hy-Vee Arena and Level Up. I mean, Drew was really excited. He was just telling me in the break that apparently when you're recruiting, you can follow a kid's social media to try to learn more about them before you recruit them to your university.
You can DM them.
Dude, I don't know.
Kids
I don't know.
Kids can verbally commit and then flip.
Do you want to be in that deep?
Yes. Look, I think that the reason why I want to be in that deep is because I've been there. I've been there before with the game, but not to this detail, but like NCAA football, 12 or 13 or 14. I got into it, and if you're in, I think if you're going to be in, you might as well be in 10 toes down and not have 1 foot in the water and not all 10 of your toes. I feel like if you're doing it, you got to commit all the way to everything that they offer, and it's way more than I was anticipating. It does not sound like anything that you would.
What's weird is like
enjoy,
I'm not. Well,
though.
it's
in
it's
terms
just,
of time. It would take Cody.
Time is tough for me. It would take me a really long time to play.
From what you've said about stopping movies halfway through and getting to it later, it would take you probably it might actually take you a legitimate, if you dedicated time every day, not a lot but a little, it would take you probably a week to legitimately get through an entire week of the game.
I think the last game the games I used to play like longer RPG stuff, right? And so like I bought Fallout or like a Red Dead game.
Yeah.
But like what happens is like I do run out of time or it takes me like a year. Like, now in fairness,
the game or whatever.
Yeah, but in fairness, I don't know. At least I guess I'm getting my $70 worth. Yeah. I got a whole damn year's worth of entertainment out of the thing because
I saw a great tweet from somebody.
I think
that
it's
said,
different as my kids get a little older.
I saw a great tweet said, "Do dudes really think they have the time like they did when this game first came out now in their life to apply to?"
I guess they're going to try to get the younger people too.
I think you can in your 20s, like Drew, And I think you can when you're my age, when your kids are grown.
Well, I think it helps when you're.
But in between, you get the stuff going
Bink,
on.
if you're single, I think it helps you. Like me in my position, there are when in the convenient times where my wife is working.
Be careful not to get single.
I'm not going. I
try to prevent that.
I've told my wife, and she's like, "Yeah, I know you're excited about it, but there are going to be times where, like, if she's home, I'm probably not going to play the game at all. Where if she's at work, I'm diving in.
Or she's reading the book or doing something else. Dive in and play it.
You don't know my wife very well.
She
does
goes
not
to
read
sleep,
books.
you sneak out, you start playing games at night.
I would be that type of person, wouldn't I?
Just sneak out.
Stay up late is the easiest solution to that, in my opinion.
She's going to bed.
Unless
you're like,
you. And wait, hold on. This is a real question.
I got to work on the show.
Everybody's relationship is a little bit different.
Bree
Certainly,
plays video games a little bit, so I think that helps my argument.
It does, but this is a very serious question about like if I would have the time or not. Every relationship, I would say, a little bit different. Sometimes at different times of the relationship, all those things.
Yeah.
Does she or do you care if you go to bed at the same time? That's a big one because you can just stay up later. Who cares? Some people care, Bink. You know this. Some people care if you guys like, it's time to go to bed. We need to head up there together. My wife and I do not go to bed at the same time. Sometimes I go earlier. Sometimes she goes earlier. It doesn't really matter.
I think so sometimes it depends in the moment. There are times where I'm that person where it's like, yeah, let's go to bed. And it's the both of us. Bree is not that type of person where if I was like, hey, I'm going to hang out and you can go to bed and I'm going to play the game, she'd be like, all right, fine. I'll see you in the morning. So as I think for people who would like to play the game, it's like, yeah, I'm in. There are times where she'll go to bed and I'll hang out.
How long you been married?
Watch TV. I've been married for a little over 2 years.
That'll change.
We've been together.
Still in his rookie deal. Still in his rookie deal, Bink.
Yeah, rookie deal.
We've been together almost 8 years, and we've lived together.
Franchise tag you.
And we've lived together 6 of those 7.
Okay.
So we're in the boat of we know a lot about how we function from that standpoint.
I'm a night owl, so I've always stayed up later.
I do like staying. There's a point, though, now for whatever reason, and I think it's just that I'm getting...
Depends on the day for me.
I want to be careful in saying this. I'm getting a little bit older.
You're being careful. This is like me when I was complaining about being golden here. I'm about to turn 40 this year. Big, you're older than me. And he's like, I'm getting older.
I am 28.
Actually, when Kling leaves, I'm going to be the oldest.
Oh, no. Kling's hurting your status.
Yes.
Well, no, you're going to be the new
I always
king.
point to Kling, He's older.
But I notice now that I'm like if I get to a certain point like 1 or 2 in the morning, I'm dead. I'm dead. Even before then, like if I'm watching a game late, I'm like, yeah, I'm staying up for it, but I could really go to bed right now.
Someone's saying I can tell who wears the pants. Like, God, you can't play the game. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying some people have established relationship norms that include going to bed at the same time. I am not currently in that type of relationship. We do not go to bed at the same time. Sometimes she stays up and reads for a while.
I was married for over 20 years.
Sometimes I stay up and watch. Like, varies. But I've dated people in which they would have, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I've known people where that's the case. I'm not saying that's that uncommon. Because, like, we do go to bed sometimes at the same time.
So
it's not like that never happens.
I don't
You
look.
have kids.
Yeah.
I think the who wears the pants in the family question is funny.
I also don't care. I don't need to be the boss.
Exactly. For that exact reason. And number 2,
Does
normally,
Bree wear the pants, Drew? Is that what you're trying to say?
no, I don't. I think we both do.
They both put one leg at a time.
She'll let you shoot fireworks.
If I'm at home, I normally don't. I want to hang with my wife normally because the way our schedules work, we don't have that great amount of time if she doesn't have an off day, to hang out because she's working on the weekends. Sometimes.
Hey, watch me play with Alabama versus Georgia.
She does not want to watch me play video games, so I will not I want to hang, so I'm not gonna play video games in that mindset. Somebody said I never go to bed at the same time. I stay up and eat ice cream and watch Seinfeld.
Hold that energy before the tournament.
I will be honest. As I've had kids, I feel like we don't go to bed at the same time as much as we used to because
I'm
with
sure
kids, you need a little bit more you time. I miss just me time. I like some time to myself.
Everybody needs some time to, decompress.
Someone said spoken like someone who does not wear the pants. Look,
watch some TV.
I'll be honest.
Sports Center.
If I told my wife to buzz off because I want to play the video game, I can tell you right now I would not be married.
That's what happened to me.
Very simply as that. And you
like to communicate with your wife. That's nice.
Yeah. I would rather be married and everything like that than play 2 hours worth of a video game. It's fine.
Oh man.
I was actually playing my video game. No, just kidding.
That's really good. I mentioned in What's Trending that Vinny Pasquantino was named Royals Player of the Month in June. In watching him over the last month, but actually this entire year. Like, we've gotten to know Vinny pretty well over the last couple of years, right? He's our VinFL insider. He came down to Radio Row with us. He's been very generous to the show with his time. So we've gotten to know Vinny pretty well. But he was on a bad team last year. The team won 56 games. They were, and he performed well despite that. But it was like, well, I think sometimes it's a lot easier to be a high-performing or even performing player on a bad team because people notice the bad players more than they notice you. They're not worried about you. Teams aren't pitching around you. They just exist because they're not worried about you. They squish you like a bug in a way. And so until Vinny got in these high-leverage games in which a lot of games have mattered every night for this team a lot, I have seen him grow tremendously as a leader, but also as a clutch hitter. He's got an RBI in 7 straight games when this team desperately needed to start getting some wins.
Top 10 in
Vinny
doubles
showed
in
up.
Major League Baseball.
He led the team in RBI this month, even though there's trouble. He's top 10 in doubles. I think Vinny proven to me that I'm confident that if they get to the postseason this year, and I think that they will, Vinny's the kind of playoff performer you can count on. Maybe I'm way off base, and maybe I rose-colored glasses because of, I like Vinny, but I think Vinny Pasquantino's a playoff player. I think guys, depending on, some guys show up in the clutch moment, some don't. I think he will.
He's a core guy. He's a leader. I like his attitude. But not only that, them winning early, it helped, man. When they built that cushion, when they go into July with 47 wins, more than any Royals team in history. I know they played earlier, but still, it's 3 more wins than the 15 team, 47 wins before July. They learned how to win, and that became kind of who they are. His training wheels are gone now.
Yeah.
This team's about winning at this point.
And they had to do it like immediately, by the way. They went from winning doesn't matter at all, even conceivable or nothing,
Like
and then win every night.
And all these, voices, guys that have played in the league a long time are gone. And so now it's the younger voices carrying the team. I think that helps.
I just and I think that's I think that you really learned a lot about some of these players. Because, look, some of the veterans just came in and helped him win, right? Lugo's been the best pitcher in the American League this year, statistically. And so some of these guys just, they got better players. Let's just be honest. They got better players. They brought in veterans. They made trades. They got Cole Ray. They just brought in better players. But some of these guys were with the losing teams. Remembered what it was like to lose. Vinny, Massey, Singer. These are the players I give a lot of credit for they didn't get used to the losing. And when they had to win, they didn't crumple under the pressure of now you actually have to perform for this team. This isn't just go out and get numbers for you. And look, Vinny last year when the team was bad was talking about how he wanted to win in Kansas City. So I think it was always important to him. And that's probably why we should have known that was the case. But it's easy to just to become about you, Bink. Mm-hmm. That's a very easy place to be, especially if you're not winning.
How many World Series?
And someone said Vinny was hurt last year. I know, he just talked about the winning in the first 60 games.
How many College World Series was Singer team? Was he on one of them or two? Was he in
at least one. I don't remember if it was 2 or not.
I know he was on one, but you learn to win there, and then you come in.
But he came up for the Royals, and they were mediocre his first year because he came up in the COVID year in which they were a little below 500, but not significantly. And then he was on a bunch of bad teams.
You got to learn to win again, and right now they're learning to win again. It's amazing what that does in their performing. Which remember Moose, he wasn't very talkative, and then in that against the Astros in the playoffs, remember who the most vocal was? Moose, because he was hitting well, he's performing on the field, and that translated to his leadership. And then you got guys like Salvador Perez that not only help with the youth. He was one of the youth of the Royals. They're up and coming.
We've seen him do it in the big moments. I never had any questions.
And now it's really amazing because now he's seeing the second class of it. He's been there through both.
Yeah.
The team that won the championship, but he's still here.
His career is going to be kind of fascinating to look back on because the NFL doesn't really have this because nobody stays with the team that long and nobody plays the NFL that long. There's not a comparable guy who was other than maybe Travis Kelce. But Kelce, when he was in the league, the team was still good. Andy drafted him. They were always competitive. They just weren't winning a Super Bowl. Salvador Perez was on a World Series winning team. Then on one of the worst 5 teams in baseball for 6 years. And now he's back on a competitive team. And it's you really kind of ran through it a little bit. His career would be fascinating. We've talked a lot about this where I think that it's going to help him get into the Hall of Fame, that he stayed with the Royals, stuck it out with the Royals. If they make a little noise and one more postseason run with Salvi,
and then he's been on 2 runs.
By the way,
2 different runs.
He's going to end up with 300 home runs. He's 40 home runs away. He would be Every other catcher who has ever hit 300 home runs in Major League Baseball history is in the Hall of Fame.
Isn't he one of three catchers that have over 250 home runs? And
it's just not.
He's like, it's Pudge and Johnny Bench and Sal Perez. Like he's in that category with the certain numbers he's created.
Yeah, I just think that. I think it says a lot about the team that they're there. And look, maybe I'm just excited because the Royals are winning again, and at a time where their season, like going back to a week ago, or a little over a week ago, the Royals season was truly at a crossroads. They were at a fork in the road, Bink.
Mm-hmm.
And had they continued to not win baseball games and struggle for that final week of June, maybe you get into the let's do nothing, let's keep it easy, and we'll just, we'll stay the course. But if you go the other fork of the road and you start winning baseball games, well, then you're right back to, is the division in play? How much should we buy? Like they were stuck because they're only 2 weeks before the All-Star game. We didn't know which way it was going to go. It has gone in a good direction.
And it makes going to work more fun. It makes going to the ballpark more fun when the games mean something. It's different if you're buried, 15 games under 500 and you're going out there to the ballpark, whatever. But when you're winning and you're chasing, you're in the playoffs right now and you show up at the ballpark, it's a different attitude.
Yeah, but sometimes it eats people up. You know that. Some people can't handle pressure, Bink. You watch sports a long time. I would say, Kadarius Toney might actually be an example of this. I'm not trying to pick on him, but Kadarius Toney, by all accounts, is one of the most athletic people on the entire football field for the Chiefs. When the lights come on, he drops the ball, he runs back, he stumbles. Things screw up. Quarterback is a really great example of this, or starting pitcher. You can see the guys who just have it. Daniel Lynch has talent. Now, he doesn't have the velocity anymore, but some guys thrive. When that moment turns on, I think Vinny's going to be one of those guys. Vinny's one of the, what do we think? The leaders of the team are Salvador Perez, Vinny, and Bobby. Bobby is we used to talk about this with the old Royals team, the 15 Royals team. There was the spoken leader. Mm-hmm. That was Eric Hosmer. To me, that is Vinny Pasquantino out of those two. And then there's I am a leader because I am so good at baseball, you have no choice but to follow me. That was Lorenzo Cain.
I always thought Alex
Gordon.
Alex
Gordon was
work ethic.
He's the work ethic guy. I'm not sure who's the.
And when he speaks, you listen.
Yeah.
But it wasn't very often.
Yeah, and I think Bobby sometimes is that way. He speaks, but I don't think
Seth Lugo kind of is that way too, because the way he gathers the pictures afterwards and describes, way things are going.
Lugo's he seems to me like the way Davis, just a killer right now.
He does. He just seems like such a a guy that to count on with the pitching staff. Yeah. By the way, Johnny Cueto is now opted out of the Rangers, so he's available for other teams. Speaking of the 15 Royals,
you want to bring Cueto back?
No.
You don't want Cueto back?
He's opted out of the Rangers. He's do whatever he wants now.
Remember that time he posted
John Heyman put that
a photo of his dead horse?
Yes, he did.
That was weird.
It was on Instagram. Wachowski and I used to look at those because it was all about his dead horse.
Such a weird photo.
And some of these guys get horses in their contract. Remember, Rougned Odor wanted 2 horses in his contract. The Nebraska baseball coach said he wanted a horse in his contract, his next contract. Yeah. But Johnny's.
Should I ask for a horse in my next contract at 16?
100%.
That would actually be.
Do you guys?
Really funny.
I dead serious. I will ask and see what they say. If you guys really want me to, enough people have to want it on the text line, and you guys have to want it. If you guys really want me to, or what's slightly worse than a horse, since I'm not a professional baseball player.
A donkey?
Could I just ask for a dog? Would that, or a cat?
What would we
I'd like
name
a
it?
cat in my next contract.
What would we name the dog?
It's a great question. Don't know.
I think you should go horse.
Well, okay, yeah, but you know how much horses cost?
A lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what Cody's saying is that
horse is expensive. I get a dog for a few $100.
It might take out your salary a little bit, lower
if there's
the
a lower,
salary.
that's what he's saying. If there's a lower option, are we going?
Maybe I could get a peacock since we were trying to get one in for the Peacock streaming game.
That would be
a bird.
A good expect to pay. This is according to Google. Expect to pay $600 for a quality registered Boer goat. So if you want I don't want a bad goat.
No.
I want to, nobody's looking for some poor quality goat. I want a good goat.
Wouldn't you like to tie one up in the backyard with a big leash and mow the lawn? Just get it a goat, just eat the grass. I've always wondered how fun that would be.
Just get it a goat and name it Patty or Pat or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, that's a good point.
I permanently own a goat in Gladstone, Missouri.
Goat could mow your lawn.
Whatever it works.
Yeah, right.
All right, we're back tomorrow. I think we're going to do Club 610 because we're both off Thursday and Friday. The whole station is because of the holiday. So maybe a little Club 610 tomorrow. Josh Vernier tomorrow. We'll also have our guy, J.J. Piccolo, the general manager of the Royals, on tomorrow. Bobby Wood Jr. coming up in about 20 minutes on The Drive. Thanks for joining us.